But we got plenty for you folks. The anime awards just happened. We'll discuss that. Feel free to ask.
Yeah.
JJK is dropping. We got Maki. People are writing with her. She's about to fight Sukuna. After Yuta did his thing, Yuji did his thing. Obviously, RP Gojo did
Oh my
his
god,
thing.
my key scales to Sukuna, Toji.
Yeah, I see all these Toji agendas on Twitter, like, oh my god, Maki's doing work. But apparently, I saw a spoiler alert, that Sukuna's still holding back. So there's that. And I like Toji. I'm not hating on Toji. I'm just saying he's still holding back, just to give you that. And he's injured, and he's dealt with a bunch of people coming at him.
Yep.
So imagine being purposely nerfing yourself and having to engage in combat for that much time.
Yep.
Just keep that in mind.
Like, bro, he's fighting the whole fucking war, bro. Like, and he doesn't give a fuck.
He's
like,
backpacking.
Like, what people don't understand, he fought Gojo, who was the strongest. The only guy that could actually scale to him and have any fucking chance remotely. And then in the end, we find out that he was even holding back against Gojo, and even Gojo can see that he wasn't, whatever, blah blah. Then we find out he has other forms. So it's like, like that means all these side little fucking bitch ant characters, bro. All of them would get clapped by the form that fought Gojo, basically. The one with no arms, whatever, just going. Yeah. Like, they would all get clapped. You know what I mean? So, like, imagine if he went, like, full power, like fucking perfect Susanoo. And, like, basically, like, how Madara, like, fights the 5 holding back, but he doesn't do perfect, whatever. Basically, if Sukuna did full perfect Susanoo, bro, all arms, whatever you name it, he would slam everybody at the same time. Gojo, it'd be like, side characters, it'd be a massacre.
It'd be like the 5 Kage versus Madara if he went all out.
Literally. And he's not doing that. He's just having fun. He's enjoying. He's similar to Madara. He likes to fight, right? He likes to experience and enjoy it while it lasts. Because then overall, he's going to kill him in the end, right? Very similar to Madara.
Yeah.
But he won't go full fucking power at all. He hasn't been pushed to that point. They haven't.
He likes evolving. Like, you see it in the Gojo battle. After he defeats him, he's like, Mahoraga gave me this sort of paradigm to evolve, and I was able to utilize an attack to cut through your infinity, and now you're dead. Like, he enjoys the taste of blood, kind of like Madara. They have that parallel in a way. Speaking of Madara, and he enjoys evolving. Like, he enjoys combat, and he enjoys the improvement aspect, which is why he's so dominant. He never stops improving.
Yeah, and that's another thing too. It's like, what people don't understand is, like, he could literally, like, speed blitz Gojo if he, like, transformed further. Now, in, like, that first form, I don't think he obviously I don't think he would have been able to speed blitz. He did say he was holding back, but even if he went full, I don't think he would still be able to do that. I think he'd have to transform, and then he could. But overall, like, bottom line is, he did, no matter what, need that adaptation ability. Like, he needed the
he definitely did.
Because that's just how broken Infinity is. It doesn't even matter how fucking powerful you scale, whatever. It's literally hacks. It's like the fucking Totsuka Blade or the Yata Mirror. So, like, that is absolutely a given. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, if we're still being objective, Sukuna still scales over. It's just, once again, how do you beat fucking hacks when it's automatic and it's always on? You know what I mean? Like, it's not like comboing.
It was kind of like, exactly. What's going on, Terion, Marcus? What's going on, Steven? Love your streams, man. Appreciate you, brother. By the way, make sure to hit the... Oh, shit, give me a second. I was just right there. Make sure to hit the like button if you haven't already, folks. Really appreciate it. Shout out to all you guys. We're speaking to JJK today because, we've seen some agendas being thrown around. By the way, just to keep it clear, I love Toji. The only guy I love more than him is Gojo.
He's my favorite.
He's like my second favorite guy.
Yep.
Yeah, so him and Gojo are top two in my.
For me, he's my favorite. Like I understand why everyone picks Gojo. Don't get me wrong. But for me, number one is Toji. I'm sorry.
Toji's just cold.
Yeah, I'm a Taijutsu lover, bro. All day, every day. You know what I mean? I fuck with that shit. That's why Rock Lee back then, the part
he's
one was like my guy, but...
Yeah. He is kind of like my guy. He's like the top physical combatant.
Nothing. And there's no hacks, no ninja, nothing. He just straight with hands and just
literally.
Like being built
just
different.
Straight hands. He has a heavenly restriction, enhanced physicality.
Exactly. No aura, right? You can't even detect it or some shit, right?
Yeah, you can't. So that's why he kind of snuck up on Gojo when they first fought, because he couldn't detect him. His 6 eyes couldn't, like, detect any cursed energy because he has 0. Like Maki too. Both people, and apparently, if I'm not mistaken, you can't use domains on them because they have no cursed energy to triangulate.
Like, he's just cracked. That's because he's pure fucking normal taijutsu, bro. Like,
you can't really hack him. You have to kill him.
So that's why I love Toji. Like, he's the guy that, like, sure, he was given those unique traits. You can argue that too. Like, it's still like kind of like the born genius trait he was given. but at the same time,
Yeah.
he earned all his shit as well. He still
Yeah,
had
he's
to
an assassin.
train and yeah, like he's an exception
Yeah.
and he's just fucking built different. And most importantly, if you guys don't know this already, but the way it goes is Gojo. Oh no, it goes Gojo when he like way back in the past, right? That loses to Toji. Then it's Toji
Yeah.
above that Gojo. Then when Gojo evolves and gets his next form and he's way more powerful and shits on Toji, now it's that Gojo over Toji. And then it's Sukuna, right? And then fucking Sukuna be over that Gojo. And then it's very simple chain scaling. You know, that's like the peak
Yeah.
level of
It's much more
powers that
simple.
we see. So it's like when people start
Yeah.
pushing these weird agendas with Toji, and they're like, "Oh my god, he can fight fucking Sukuna or even a full power Gojo." It's like, motherfucker, did you not see him lose to fucking to full power Gojo? He got shitted on. You know what I mean?
He lost. He lost to a, not to hate on Toji, but he lost to a delirious Gojo. Gojo was in the sky like high
Yeah,
as
he
fuck.
wasn't even
He's like,
mentally
oh my God.
competent. He was fucking Gara. Like he was fucking losing his mind, bro.
Yeah.
Like
He was like in the skies, like I'm awake, and then he sniped him with his.
Oh
With
no!
his hollow
When you
purple.
said
Like,
when you said the noodles, he was like, "You're right. You're so right."
yeah, he's like the battle's just begun. And Gojo's like, "You're right, dude. Holy shit!" And then he snipes him.
and then he
with
just
purple.
shits
I
on
was
him.
like, and then Toji stands there like, "Fuck, man, the fuck happened?" Like
Yeah,
he's just standing
he's
there
literally
like,
like thinking don't get me wrong, he's still being a badass, like cold and collected. He's pulling like
Oh,
a
hell
Madara
yeah.
and Sasuke, and he's like like what the
Yeah.
fuck? But he literally concedes and says this guy is just different. I can't do shit. Basically, like he
Yeah,
was
he
dodging
kinda-
all his
yeah, he-
attacks casually, effortlessly. That's how much he
Yeah, he took it on
scaled
the chin.
over.
Yeah, he definitely took it on the chin. He was like,
Ugh.
like I remember like he's iterating to himself like, this mindset is what got me killed. Like he like had like he admits like his ego maybe might have been what it
Well,
was.
see, that was the
Like, he's
crazy
like,
thing
this
too,
sort
though,
of
Jay. When he
mindset.
got shitted on by Purple, he was still just
Yeah.
unfazed, standing there with half his body blown the fuck up, and he
Yeah,
just,
blown
and
the
he
fuck
looks
up.
at his blood and he grabs it with his hand and he's like, okay. He's like, well, that sucks. Like-
Yeah, he just like he puts his hand like where his arm used to be. He's like, well,
Yeah, he's like, well, that's it. GG's. All right, yeah, you got it, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so it's like overall,
Yeah, like,
we clearly see his fucking limits, right? You know what I mean? And then when we see
Yeah.
him revived, it's once again blatantly demonstrated. We see him fight a special grade that was shitting on grade 1 sorcerers. Now, they were relative, right? But it
Yeah,
was way
no.
more powerful, and they were all gonna die. They all even conceded that, you name it, and they were like basically saying if someone needs to break the domain from the outside, otherwise we're fucked, right? You know. So, but then he shows
Yeah.
up, breaks the domain, gets in there, beats his fucking ass. But and he didn't like one shot in speed blitz or anything. But he did scale over that special grade. So that special grade was at least relative to Toji, right? So either way, if you connect all those dots, it's blatant like exactly where he would be, and that's basically where Gojo would have been in the past too. Okay, that's one way
Yeah,
to
way back
comprehend
when.
that. So overall, then we see the next big bad, the next level, which is Sukuna, who's not even at max power, right? He comes along and is just shitting on everything, blowing up a fucking city, having a big crazy battle with the Doomsday creature. You know what I mean? So like that Doomsday creature and Sukuna would have shitted on that fucking Toji. You know what I mean? Like they were
hell
just
yeah.
way more powerful,
Yeah.
blatantly emphasized. So it's like
Yeah.
he has his limits, you know?
Yeah, there's certainly like more like me and Batman were talking about before the stream. There's just more direct, blatant scaling in JJK, which is what I
Yeah.
like. Obviously, there's enough to like make it interesting. Like obviously, the author's not going to give it away. Kind of
Yeah.
like what Toriyama said, why he stopped power levels, like numeric power levels, because he doesn't want to give it away.
Facts.
But it is more blatant though. Like, oh, okay, this guy scales over this guy. Gojo's over the rest of these guys. Sukuna's just above him. Toji's like the top assassin that
Yep.
can kill most people, but can't kill Gojo or like obviously
Sukuna,
Sukuna.
or-
Probably not
yep.
Mahoraga
Yep.
either. But it's definitely more direct though, which is I enjoy it. Like this is what we said too. Like the author Gege just takes more risks, which I like. He lets people die. We've seen fucking like main cast people die. Like Mahito fucking killed a couple people that we fucked with, right?
Yeah.
Nobito, like we fucked with him. He got slaughtered right in front of our eyes, like.
Crazy.
And that made Yuji have this moment, like where he kind of let go and he fucked up Mahito, and obviously we saw that one.
Yep.
I enjoy the risks that are taken because obviously, I mean, this is a criticism to be honest, and I love Dragon Ball, but obviously Toriyama is very hesitant to let go
kill
of
anyone, yeah.
Vegeta, Goku. Like they die, yeah, but they come back, right? So it kind of delegitimizes that sort of like
It's like
emotional
Marvel and
appeal.
DC. The heroes die, they come back.
Yeah.
Every time Batman dies,
Exactly,
comes back,
and
you know?
it's even like the Gohan story where the rumor is that the reason Gohan didn't take the mantle after the Cell arc was because people were adamant about keeping Goku at the top, and Toriyama kind of listened. Right, he's like, all right, I'll keep him at the top of the, as the main, like the MC. While conversely, Gege killed Gojo off, who,
Yep.
let's be honest, was probably the main character to most of us for the majority of the time until he got killed. Even though he won supporting character this year, let's be honest, most of the time before his
He was
death,
literally the
he
main,
was the guy.
yeah.
Like he was
Any
the
time
fucking
it was
guy.
drawn on him, it was always the main event, the main story, and it was always Gojo, never
Yeah,
Yuji.
exactly. So it's like that's why I fuck with. I think that's why most people fuck with it, because the sort of climax and the odds
It's
that are
unique, different.
against the protagonist, it's
Yeah.
real. Yeah, it's real shit. Like if you
It's kind of
fail, you're
like
gonna
Attack
die.
on Titan, but on top of it as well,
Yeah,
like changing it and not making it the same predictable anime bullshit or manga, where it's like,
exactly.
oh, you have a main
Yeah,
character, he has this crazy power, this, that, you know what I mean? So it's like they really did their
yeah,
own thing and it worked beautifully.
exactly. And the reason why Gojo's death was brilliant. Again, I love Gojo. He's my favorite character. I'm
Yeah.
still grieving to this day. Is because Gege hyped this guy up so much, like he was a fucking untouchable, right? Everyone's like, "Oh, there's no way he's gonna lose to this kid. Like he's the prodigy, he's the six-eyes legend." But he lost. He fell to Sukuna's hand, right? And obviously, it just hits more that way because the whole time he was being propped up to be this untouchable, immovable object, right? Because you can't hit the guy. But then this Doomsday figure comes in, but literally with Sukuna and Mahoraga, and they take him out. So it was brilliantly done. Literally, and it hit, and that's the point. Yeah, we were all p yeah, yeah, exactly, like, yeah, we were all pissed. Yeah, we were all like, "Oh, what the fuck," but that's the point. I think they want us to react. If we were just like, "Ah, whatever," it wouldn't hit the same, right? We're interested, which is the point. And sometimes bad emotions being stirred sells manga too. It's the same thing with, like, Gojo's death. Yeah, shock value, exactly. So Gege's brilliant in that aspect. Like, he just knows how to build up the sort of suspense and then, like, just rip away our hearts after with like Gojo's death or Nabito's death, Nanami's death. It's really well done. And like you guys see on the screen here, JJK is for sure anime of the year. Let's be honest, it's not even close. I know Bleach came out, I know fucking One Piece came out, but JJK is just different, man. It's just different. It has this sort of unique aspect about it. Just we haven't really seen before, or in a while. So definitely fuck with it, man. It's doing well. Just saw your thumbnail. I thought it was Itachi. Yeah, this thumbnail is pretty goated. I have to bring out Guaki and Boruto. Is Boruto above Baryon mode yet? Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I saw. I saw on Twitter. I think it was Six or someone posted that shit, and I reposted. I was like, dude, why are you doing Tokyo like that, bro? Yeah. Bunch of like fucking 10-year-olds whipping his ass. I was like, bro, that's fucked up. Yeah, yeah, literally. Yeah, that was fucked up because those kids would beat his ass. If it was cross first. Let's be honest. So yeah, fucking slaughters him. That's we told you, unfortunately. If he was fighting that verse. Is Boruto above Baron mode? Have you seen the spoilers yet? I'm not gonna spoil it what happened in
My
the most
bad.
recent chapter. I
For
would
YouTube and
say
chat, I didn't realize I was
there's a
muted. My
bet
bad.
each chapter there's a better and better argument that he is, but there still isn't enough for me to conclude that he's above Baryon mode. He's definitely above his father at his best. Besides that, he's definitely above Sasuke and
Yeah.
Naruto at their best. But I don't know about Baryon mode just yet. So
Yeah, because
okay,
Barrier Mode
yeah,
was fucking shitting on Ishiki, bro. Like, it wasn't even
yeah, that shit was fucking
like the fact that he
yeah.
actually got over Ishiki was insane of an amp that it
That was
was.
cracked as fuck. Like Ishiki in that level, that like Ishiki and Baron mode, I don't know yet. We'll have to see
Now,
more.
like he would, like I will
No.
say this in defense for Ishiki, he was faster than Ishiki blatantly, right, and just beating his
Yeah.
fucking ass, and he was even overpowered him to an extent as well. But his AP wasn't greater than his durability. That's obviously a fact because he wasn't able to
Exactly.
one shot
Yeah, yeah.
Ishiki either. He was using
Yeah.
hacks to like drain him and like even weaken him and fatigue him as well. Yet he still couldn't one
Yeah.
shot. So The AP with the barrier mode is kind of problematic. It's weird in a sense, but the power
It's weird.
and
Yeah.
speed is still like ridiculously explosive to the point where he was just dominating
Yeah.
him. So
It's beyond Rene Sharingan
yeah.
Sasuke. Let's just say that.
Oh, even
And he had, like,
Sasuke said like such
yeah.
enormous, insane.
He couldn't
chakra.
even.
Yeah.
He wasn't able to perceive
Yep.
the sort of microscopic rods that Kwaku and excuse me
Yep.
that Ishiki
And
was throwing.
Naruto
And as
grabbed
soon
it.
as yeah, he grabbed it, and Sasuke's like, I couldn't even perceive that. What the fuck? Like
Yeah,
that's how good
man's
his
perception
reaction
blitz
time was.
above Sasuke, bro.
Yeah,
you
that's
know what
pretty
kind of
cracked.
reminds me of, Jay? It's back in the war arc, or in the part 1 where Naruto gets his QB shit, and then Sasuke's like, what are you? You know what I mean? Or, oh my god, all
Yeah.
that chakra, and he clenches his fist. He's like, how far will you go?
Yeah, literally. That's the same kind of moment. He's like, what the fuck?
He's like, fuck you for
like,
being the main character, bro. I'm tired of it.
Yeah, facts. It was pretty. It's pretty apparent the wide gap that Naruto
And they
had.
had
So as far as
to.
Boruto,
They had to, because Boruto would never
yeah,
be the main.
they had to.
Yeah.
Exactly. There's no way that they would have defeated Ishiki in the first place without that. Like,
Yeah.
they needed a ridiculous amp. Like that's what they needed. So, what's going on, Syrinx? 8 minutes late.
Even Boruto would kind of be problematic for scaling in a sense. Like I wouldn't really care because let's be real, I just love Naruto, right? I don't think anybody wants Naruto to
Yeah.
go, even Sasuke either. Like I'm pretty sure if we could all vote, we would still want them to keep their shit. But you know the story has to progress. Boruto needs to be the next generation vibes, right? You know. But
Yeah,
like,
passing the torch,
if that
yeah.
never happened, like Naruto would continue to train, you name it, all that shit, and yeah, Boruto would get strong, but fucking the problem is Boruto wouldn't really ever be able to catch up. Like he would have to basically use his karma in order to have any chance remotely to that Naruto. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
exactly.
So like
And his development has been immense. Like from
Insane.
the plot twist to now. Yeah, he
the
went from
the most
below.
insane growth I've ever seen out of it. Like we thought Heavy Sasuke was crazy. Like when they thought he
Yeah,
was on steroids and shit. Nah, Boruto takes that to a whole
this
other
guy-
level.
This guy went from below base Naruto in his prime to
Literally.
above Jigen. Above Jigen.
Yep.
Like what the fuck? Yeah,
That's
he's fucking cracked, dude.
base.
In
No
base, by the way.
Jogan,
Yeah, in
no
base.
like whatever
above
the fuck
Jigen.
it's called, no Jogan or no Karma, no
No
Sage
Jogan,
Mode.
no Karma, no stage mode. Like, dude, in base, he's above Jigen, the guy that slapped Naruto and Sasuke
Like,
around.
bro, like
fucking-
three, like the man has
Yeah.
3 extra fucking amps, and he's that strong.
Oh my god.
Like that's
Exactly.
ridiculous.
So there's an argument that maybe at his best he could be above Baryon, but we just
Yeah.
haven't seen that yet. We'll have
Yeah,
to
like
wait.
let's say
Maybe
he
when
like
fights
stacked like
these,
Karma, Sage Mode, and Jogan. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. If
maybe.
he starts to use, if he fights the Shinju, then perhaps. But we
Because he
haven't
does
seen
it
that
against
yet when he fights
Kawaki
them.
in the end, during like way when everything's
but
destroyed.
we know for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. By then, he's definitely going to be using that.
Yeah, like he doesn't use Sage Mode, which is interesting. So maybe like we
Yeah.
don't know until we were able to see the fight. So this could be bullshit. But what we do know so far, he can stack the Jogan and Karma, but we don't know if he can stack
Yeah.
Sage Mode with Jogan and Karma either. I don't see why he wouldn't be able to. Let's be real. You know what I mean? Like we've seen many characters still
Exactly.
be able to use Sage Mode with all that stuff too. So I'm pretty sure he could do that as well. But then again, unfortunately, Boruto might be Minato 2.0 in the Sage Mode aspect or ballpark, to where he might not be nowhere near as effective either. And that could be maybe the case
Yeah.
too, which is why he's never using it, you know, or stacking
Yeah.
it. But we'll eventually see. Who knows? So
Yeah, we'll definitely see how that fight goes. Mr. Streams, man, Thunder God streams at the same time. You know, I got to rep. Oh, shout out to Thunder God, bro. Shout out to you. It's all good. Yeah, Thunder God's a goat. And shout out to Gamabunta too, bro. Shout out to Gamabunta.
yeah, facts.
Yeah, death isn't permanent. It's not useful. Yeah, exactly. That's the problem with some animes.
Facts.
Sometimes, you know. Byakuya was supposed to die as a note, but Kubo got death threats, so he spared him. Damn. I know people, dude. The weird death threat shit, like with Gege when Gojo dies, like, bruh, come on, man. These guys are writing great stories, and you're fucking sending them death threats. Like, what the fuck is that, bro? If you do that, you're pathetic. I'm sorry. That's sad as fuck. Dragon Ball and One Piece are the only major shonen I recall where death is consistently meaningless. Yes, Dragon Ball for sure. Other ones have occasional fake outs, like Naruto. Yeah, like the Pain arc, you know, with the fucking Rene Rebirth shit. Yeah. Who's the artist of the thumbnail? Shout out to the guy who drew this. I found it on fucking Google. His signature is right there. Let me move this out of the way. Right there. I don't know who that is, but shout out to that guy. He drew this, whoever that is. Who's the artist? Oh, I just read that. I like how Akutami did a gotcha moment where he gave the Gojo arc and took the camera completely off of Ichidori, but at the same time Gojo's death was supposed to be like a torch passing. The guy's brilliant with the sort of roller coaster narrative he has. I definitely agree with you there. That's why Giga's brilliant. That's why he won Anime of the Year. The guy's brilliant at what he does. Honestly, we all saw the fight between Gojo and Sukuna all the way from season 1 when Gojo told Itadori he wasn't the main guy in charge. And Sukuna was like, "Oh, you're not the main man in charge, really." Yeah, we all knew it was coming, that's for sure. Obviously, we all know the famous panel where Gojo said I'd win.
Yeah.
We all still, people flame him to this day about it. But,
And
Gojo's that
to be
guy.
honest, he wasn't
Yeah.
like what people really really overlook it. Like they try to dog him so bad, and I get it. Like it's funny, whatever, whatever. But then you have the weirdos that are being like really dead ass about it, and it's like, bro, if you really analyze it, though, he would have actually beaten that Sukuna that he fought. Like the normal like base form, right? You know what I mean? Or obviously even lower fingers. And why? Because of Infinity, because of his hacks. Because Sukuna wouldn't have been able to land anything. He would have just outlasted, right?
Oh, hell no.
And then that's it.
No, no,
You know what I mean? So it's like, and so overall, it would make sense for why he would win. Because if he keeps spamming purple, I haven't seen the fight, but I think if he would spam purple enough and while using Infinity, eventually Sukuna would lose. So.
Yeah, he was definitely, and he was just wrong, man. I mean, everyone's wrong sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, fucking, that was the Sukuna he fucked up was one finger Sukuna. Like, it wasn't like he fought off 20 finger Sukuna.
Yeah, no,
obviously
no.
he would be.
And that's the thing. And he didn't.
Like,
I'm pretty sure he didn't expect a fucking summoning on top of it either.
Yeah, he didn't expect fucking Mahoraga to fucking be Mr. Doomsday in the corner. Like,
Literally, so that's what I'm saying. So
he was just wrong. I mean, yeah, he's a 6 eyes, prodigy, but he was wrong. It is what it is. And
now I will say this too. There's still an argument for Sukuna where Sukuna probably still could have still won even without the summoning.
Yeah.
I mean, you can go along with all the statements where even Gojo conceded and said he wasn't going, like he was holding back, still whatever, blah blah. Now the problem with that's where it gets contentious, where we, because it's like quantification and like and it's arbitrary. But so it's like if he was going fully all out, like what, like would it just be a very very competitive match? You know what I mean? Or would Sukuna actually be able to be more dominant and be the other way around? Like, at the end of the day, it's really interesting. But what I will say is, the reason why I say it doesn't matter regardless is because he always has Infinity on. So the fact that he has it on, even if Sukuna was slightly over, not holding back, or if he was over, he can't hit the fucking guy. You know what I mean? So the only way Sukuna could win is if he could also outlast. You know what I mean? And then basically just, Gojo gets gassed, and then he just kills him once Infinity's off or some shit, right?
Yeah, and even in that fight, Gojo was burning out. They had like multiple domain clashes. His brain, like he was trying to heal his brain while fighting it. Yeah, he was starting to burn out, and eventually, if he was full power, trying to like fucking snipe him or splits him with Mahoraga, like the argument is that more than likely Sukuna would win with full power even without Mahoraga. Obviously, there's arguments that exist, like, oh, he wouldn't have adapted as quickly or wouldn't have adapted Infinity. Fine, that's sure, but more than likely what would have happened anyways, he would have burned out.
If that's the case,
from
facts.
even having cursed energy. Yeah,
that's
at that
like
point,
that's like
Obito. Anyway.
That's like Obito with his MS, with Hashirama cells and Kakashi. Yeah. Like, come on, bro. Like,
yeah, exactly. So it's like the way I look at it is he would have lost anyway. I think he would have burnt out. If more than likely, they would have kept fighting domain clash after domain clash. His brain would have had to keep healing up his wounds and with reverse curse technique, and eventually he would have ran out of cursed energy anyway.
Yeah, like
so I think that's what would have happened.
If we're being objective, Sukuna would just win due to outlasting, whatever you name it. Yada yada. Like it's either like they would be equal, but he can outlast him, right? Or two, he's slightly more over Gojo since he was holding back. And then meaning Gojo would just like basically once his affinity is gone, he just gets fucked up, right? You know what I mean? So it's like that's basically the two ways it would go, even if he didn't have the fucking summoning. And that's just kind of what you're working with. Or if you want to be really generous to Gojo, okay, then maybe somehow, some way Gojo could kill him, whether if it's with purple or he could somehow miraculously outlast, But then again, if everything Jay's saying, I think there's just to the contrary. If he's struggling when it comes to curse energy and output and he can't even hang, whatever, it's like, come on, you know what I mean? So
exactly. Like, I'm not an expert on JJK yet. I think I have pretty decent knowledge, but I'll say this. The Gojo argument exists, but I think it's just less likely.
Now, Gojo would clap any other form, though. I'll say that. Lower?
Oh, yeah. 15 finger, he'd clap 9, he'd clap anything below probably he'd clap all. The one that fucked up Jogo would probably lose to fucking Gojo. I know he fucked up Jogo, but he wouldn't fuck up Gojo like that.
Because that was 9 fingers only? Or
I think he had like 15 at that point when he fought
Yeah.
Jogo.
And he
Jogo,
was
even Jogo,
yeah,
like
he was struggling with
yeah, Jogo
the
was like
summoning beast. Like he could not beat it. He
yeah,
was going all out and he could not beat it.
exactly.
Yeah.
And even Jogo was like assessing himself. He's like, I thought I. He's like, man. He's like, I'm probably like 8 or 9 finger level, but I can't beat 15.
Yeah.
You know, and fucking Gojo slammed him too, and that was early
Oh,
Gojo.
he
He
no diffed
slammed
him.
his
He
ass
wasn't even
too.
trying effortlessly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he didn't even touch him. He didn't even fucking touch him. So I mean,
Yeah, you connect
yeah, I
all
think
those
he'd beat
dots,
15.
it's like yeah, he would be massively over. He would just shit on Sukuna. Yep.
Exactly. So he's still like, there's still an immense gap between him and everybody else right now. It's
And
just
we
Sukuna's at
see
the
it with
top.
the beginning Sukuna too, when he first appears and what he only has like a finger or
Yeah,
two, and then Gojo just
yeah,
effortlessly dominates, and he's like, "You fucking sorcerers," you know, like.
yeah, exactly. At that point, yeah, Sukuna had no chance, but
Yeah.
obviously he only had fucking one finger, so I mean, it's being fair, but
Huh.
yeah. Choji, Warwick versus Shikamaru, Warwick.
That's speedless.
That's an
Yeah.
interesting matchup. Um, Shikamaru is obviously more intelligent.
Wait, did they say
Um,
Choji in Shikamaru?
yeah,
Oh,
Choji
I
the
thought they
Warwick
said
versus
Toji. I'm like,
Shikamaru
wait,
the Warwick.
Toji just dies.
Fucking Choji? Yeah, he gets speed blitzed.
Yeah.
Choji, it would depend. Obviously, I would probably lean. Shikamaru would have to catch Choji in the fucking shadow possession immediately to
Yeah,
not let him
and
like use
immediately
the
kill him.
butterfly
Like
shit.
if Shikamaru
Yeah,
has prep time, I'd say he could probably take it. You know
Shikamaru.
what I mean? Like something
Yeah.
would just happen conveniently for him, and then he wins. Because let's be real, I don't think he would ever beat head on without prep. You know, I'm just saying.
Oh hell no. Yeah, no,
And
no,
th- and,
he
that, and
wouldn't.
they were equal to each other, remind you. You know what I mean? Like so,
Yeah.
Choji. Mind you, I like Shikamaru more, but when Choji has butterfly mode on top of it, he's also faster. You know what I mean?
Yeah, his physicality is just
Yeah, like
above.
his physicality,
Yeah.
everything is fucking cracked. Like he was able to go blow for blow, like not blow for blow, but he was able to be relative to the Ghetto statue, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
He was able
Pretty
to
impressive.
speed blitz
Yeah.
Asuma, you know what I mean, who's a Jonin.
Yeah.
And we know Shikamaru is in a similar regard to Asuma as well. So it's like overall, like if it's just no prep and they're going at in max forms, like, Choji just has the advantage. It's not fair. Like
Yeah,
you could even
honestly,
argue
I probably
Choji could
wouldn't.
overpower the shadow possession because we know shadow possession has limits to chakra. When it came to this
Yeah.
the curse mark or QB chakra, it just can't contain it and it got shitted on. You know.
Can't contain it.
So and
Yeah, I would
Choji
say
has
as
an
well.
enormous explosive amount of chakra with his fucking butterfly shit.
Yeah,
You know.
Shikamaru would have to have like pre-established parameters in his favor. Like
Yeah.
if they're in a shadowy area or some shit, or fucking Choji's off guard, or he has prep time. I think
Yeah.
if it's just a one-on-one encounter, like in the middle of a fucking like
Or if he
desert
like
or
does
some
like
shit.
mind hacks, you know, like kind of what Batman does when he's like
Yeah.
saying certain words to like psychologically, manipulate them and fuck with them.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? To make them underperform,
Yeah.
whatever. Like he could do that, like for like calling Choji fat or whatever, blah blah. Like so, like once again, like it just if he's really smart
Yeah.
about it, you know, and like or prep especially, like I could see Shikamaru doing it. But then if it's just straight up like Shikamaru's probably fucked, and then territory matters as well. If they're in open,
Oh hell yeah, yeah, yeah.
if they're in open, he's fucked.
Yeah.
He's done. You
He's
know what I
fucked.
mean?
This is all sun. Yeah, there is no like angles for shadows. Then he's fucked anyway.
Yeah.
Like he's
Now,
gonna get
now
fucked
even
up.
even in
So I
a
would say-
forest, he's still technically fucked because Choji could just start, damaging everything, right? Like just imagine
Yeah.
him being that fucking ginormous and just rolling as a ball everywhere, or just jumping in the
Just
sky
start
and
ripping
you know what I mean,
fucking
like
trees
pulling a
everywhere.
jugo, like yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like either way,
All the shade.
he's still fucked
Yeah.
in that type of environment. That's what I'm saying. Like Choji, as crazy as it sounds, he has the advantage all around, bro.
Exactly. Yeah, I'll probably lean towards Choji winning most hypotheticals. Oh shit, we got 2 donations in a row. Appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate you brothers for that.
And another thing
Gotcha.
too, before anyone freaks out or the Choji haters, like if you're probably like, oh my god, but the Choji only gets a strength amp, you know what I mean? That's it, whatever. That's technically
Yeah.
not true. And originally, way back then, I was along that boat too. But if you actually pay attention and everything, when he says he's 100 times stronger, yes, it's mainly incorporated to his strength and AP power, but he does get
Yeah.
faster, and we see it because when he has the second pill, you know what I mean? Like when he has the first pill, he's going blow for blow with Jugo, you know what I mean, in base, right? And then when he goes to the second pill, he's going blow for blow with CM1. We know CM1's an amp in speed, strength, whatever you name it. And then when he gets the red pill, because he was getting shit on by CM2, now he's dominating CM2. Like, it wasn't even equal anymore. Now he was just way over. So it's like, it's definitely
exactly.
a fucking speed amp on top of it, you know? Now, the problem is
Yeah,
we don't know how fast he gets. It's arbitrary. We have no idea, but we do know he gets faster, you know? So...
Yeah, you can even argue from like a scientific physics standpoint. Like he doesn't like his size and stuff. If it's still relative, then obviously for force to increase, his his speed has to increase as well. So that's
Yeah,
another argument
yeah.
for like
I'll say
the
this
fact that
objectively too. Like we know the curse mark is a 10 times multiplier, like CM2. So if he was way
yeah,
over CM2, you could technically argue it's greater than 10 times. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
now I
exactly.
wouldn't say 100 times. I think people take that statement way out of fucking like that doesn't make any sense. If he was actually blatantly 100 times over, this motherfucker would be beating a lot of fucking characters, and that just doesn't make
Be
any
fucking
sense.
Hashirama and shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Like no, that doesn't make it
yeah.
like that's some fucking Dragon Ball Z bullshit. So
That's
yeah,
like the ultimate hyper literal
yeah,
interpretation
like
of
he would
that.
literally be a Super Saiyan basically, and that was not emphasized. That was not shown. Not like Jugo doesn't even like you know what I mean. No, he was just like not only that. If you really analyze it, I'm not trying to be mean, but Jugo actually tanked the first blow from Choji. You know what I mean? He got
Yeah,
hit with the
yeah. If it was
elbow and he
literally
didn't
like
die. Yeah.
Super Saiyan amps take you from like fucking planetary to like fucking solar system. Like, nah, bro, it's not that.
Exactly. So it's like
Yeah,
overall,
that's
so no matter what that, I'm just debunking that real quick. So if we analyze everything and are actually being logical and understanding, feats in context, whatever, blah blah. Like we know the CM2 is 10 times, and when Jugo wins CM2, he was shitting on Choji. But, you know what I mean? So like once again, I'll say really quick, simple math. You fucking Choji did the first pill. He's equal to base Jugo, and they're going blow for blow. Then he gets shitted on by
yeah,
CM1. He goes to the second pill. They're still equal. They're going blow for blow, whatever. And then when Choji does like his expansion, he has to go to CM2 because he's overpowered. Now he's way over Choji. Choji goes to red pill. They're not equal anymore. He's way over. So it has to be a greater than 10 times. So,
exactly.
yeah.
To go to the dono, shout out to Sir Goats and Kedrick the Goat. Appreciate you, brothers. Who would win between Sukuna or Orochimaru, the one that fought Four Tails Naruto? Oh, the second one. Okay. And if Sukuna still wins, then could he beat the Naruto that fought Kakuzu? I'll say this pretty safely: he's not beating Naruto. Um, as far as Orochimaru, here's the thing: he is ill. He is quite nerfed. But he did have the durability to at least withstand some ass whooping from Four Tail Naruto. That is quite
Yeah.
impressive. The speed as well that's utilized when he's
That
in
fucking
Four Tail.
hacks, man.
Uh,
Orochimaru's hacks is ridiculous. He
yeah.
would have died so many times,
Also,
though, bro.
yeah, Sukuna's cursed energy is immense. Obviously, he's healthy. If we try to like scale, let's equalize. Obviously, we have to presuppose that everything works on the
Yeah, like
other.
Sukuna's the moderator of the
Um,
show. I'll say that, but
yeah, he's the moderator of that show. But in this verse,
scaling's
if
different.
I'm trying to scale AP from what I know,
Yep.
he's like city level max, maybe mid city level with some of the domain,
Like when
this
we
cursed
see
energy
when
he
we see the
possesses.
Sukuna that fought the volcano dude, you know what I mean? They were blowing up the entire
Yeah,
like it was like I think it was like a section of the city. It wasn't the entire city,
yeah,
but it was like a
they're fucking
portion
shut
of it.
up.
Yeah.
He has like the world slash ability, things like that.
Yeah.
Then there's there's a question of can he hurt Orochimaru with the AP that he possesses? That's another question.
Yep.
If I had to deduce who's the superior, I think Shinobi in general, especially Sanin. I know he's sick, but he still did what he did against Fortel.
Yep.
I think his physicality, his reactionary time, his hacks, his durability, his physiology. I think he's just superior to someone of Sukuna's caliber as far as just combatant. So I'd probably say Orochimaru would take him. There's an argument that Sukuna's hacks might be able to overwhelm him, but I would deduce that Orochimaru's enhanced like superior physicality would probably make him blitz him and things of that nature. So
Yeah.
if we equalize, because there's
Cause
answers we
like
can't answer, like how would curse
yeah.
energy interact
Yeah,
with
I don't
fucking
know like how far
Sakura, but
Gojo scales when it comes and Sukuna when it comes to speed and all that whatever. But like those characters, I just don't
not very
know.
high.
I know
Yeah,
the other
not very high.
characters are nowhere fucking near, and they're over here losing the part one
Mach 3.
characters like for instance
Yeah.
like Toji. But fucking so like at the end of the day, I'm taking Jay's word, and that makes sense as well because I've heard from many people that even scale JJK as well. And or maybe not even know Naruto don't fuck with it, but even like a whole bunch of people say like they just don't scale nowhere near when it comes to speed and stuff, whatever, blah blah.
Not at all.
So it's
Yeah.
like if we're being generous, from what we do know, everything Jay's saying, like Sukuna could probably have like the hacks or AP advantage, maybe AP too,
Yeah.
because like it depends how you view like that whole fucking like going through Affinity, whatever, all that shit and whatnot too, but either way, it's like speed is the problem. That's like the biggest component
Yeah,
of it.
I think that's the big issue.
Yeah.
And if Mach 3 is fast in most of the verse, I don't see Sukuna and Gojo being light speed. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I just don't see that. I'm not saying Orochimaru's light speed, but I think his speed is still more than likely above the likes of
Yeah, it's
Sukuna
getting
and
towards
Gojo.
around like where it's at least relevant enough to where they're mid Kage level. Like Orochimaru Prime was
Yeah.
Hiruzen level, old man Hiruzen. You know what I mean? So it's like
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like overall, like we know kind of where that's at, and you could at least say they're relative. to KCM, like, you know what I mean, like, to I'm not saying they're KCM level, but you get what I'm saying, like, fucking they're relative in a regard where, like, if they were holding back, like if Minato's holding back or Naruto's holding back, right? Fucking yeah, they could
Yeah.
fight whatever, do some shit, and that makes sense, right? They're holding back whatever, but if they're fully obviously not there, so the fact that they can even be relative to probably holding back versions, okay, then therefore that's why they would just be so much more massively over than Sukuna by that logic.
Exactly. And based off the knowledge I have now, I'd say Orochimaru, even that ill. I mean, he still performed pretty well. So
That's the thing
Kendrick
too.
with another
There's
donation.
there's like a misconception as well, Jay, where a lot of people think like that Orochimaru's like the same nerf to Orochimaru we see in part 1 where his arms are purple, they're dangling, he can't do jutsus and shit, whatever.
Yeah, no.
You know what I mean? Like it's actually not the same because people forget that like Orochimaru does the ritual jutsu because he couldn't wait on Sasuke. So he gets a fully like compatible healed body, you name it. The only thing he can't do that's stated verbatim is like the Edo Tensei. He can do other jutsus.
Yeah.
He can summon shit, snakes, whatever, healing, all that ninjutsu, whatever. But he just can't fucking do the Edo Tensei and like things like the forbidden shit, right? You know, that was the only thing that was shown like blatantly, concretely. And then we see him being able to still fight Four Tails and like all this other shit. And the reason why that's important is because we've seen Jiraiya's comparison to fighting Four Tails as well. And I know there's context, whatever, so I'm not going to shit on Jiraiya because he's obviously holding back. He's not trying to kill or be super serious either. But overall, like the fact that we know the Sonic are all comparable to each other, whatever you name it, it basically goes to show that Orochimaru still has his Sonic stats. He's just handicapped when it comes to certain jutsus that he has in his arsenal. That's the difference.
Exactly.
You know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Kendrick, appreciate the other donation, brother. Would you rather be stuck in a mall for 24 hours with a silverback gorilla or 5 block mambas? Oh, the mambas easily. Like you can't. If there's a gorilla in there, first of all, he'll probably run your ass down. Try to sprint away, he'll like fucking run you down. I think mambas, you can run away from them. Go to like a butcher or go to like inside a restaurant, grab some knives and just chop them fucking heads off. But with a gorilla, you're fucked. Unless you have a gun. And there's like a gun store in the mall, you're getting fucking mauled by that shit.
You're dead. You have no chance, bro.
Yeah, at least with the Mambas, you can like maybe put on an extra layer of clothing or like find if you're lucky, there's like a weapon store and just shoot those bitches in the head or cut their heads off. But with a gorilla, you're gonna need a shotgun or some shit. You're not gonna survive that shit. He'll grab you,
like, bro,
beat
a bite
you,
from a gorilla,
slam
bro,
you.
like fucking would destroy
Fuck no.
you.
Fuck no. Yeah, I'll definitely take the Mambas. As long as they can't bite you, you could just run away, go find some sharp objects, and if your reaction, and then wear some clothing so if they do bite you, it doesn't like penetrate, and then you just cut their heads off. You know, that's all you got to do. But with the silverback, they're stronger than you, they're bigger than you, they're probably faster than you. They could probably run you down, even if you try to run. They'll probably run your ass down. Yeah, I'll definitely take the fucking Mambas. Fuck that.
Yeah.
For sure. Where would Choji and Rock Lee scale if you highball them? You mean like end of Shippuden?
Highballing? Okay,
Choji is highball. If I really wank Rock Lee, he's fucking Madara level because he kicked Madara now.
Yeah, you can do that,
PDM.
and be a fucking sophist and rap. Or if you really want to take it even fucking further, Kishimoto wanted to really have fun giving a fucking hyperbole for this motherfucker. But yeah, for highballing, he even said Rock Lee with 6 gates scales to 6 past Naruto in power.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you could say his speed is relative to Jubidara if you wank him with when you're throwing the kunai. Fucking to stop.
Yeah, stuff like that. You know what I mean? So if you go along all of that, you know, and with the data book statement and with his like feet shitting on Edo Madara and whatnot, blah blah, then there you go. But if we're obviously being not retarded,
not retarded. He's like
he's strong. I don't. This is the problem with Lee. This is the issue. Like, if we're given, like, a fucking, like, a mid, I'll say this. If it's a low ball, you could say maybe he's low Kage level with the 6 gate. Low Kage level?
Yeah.
But if we're being transparent, a high Jonin. That's it. High tier.
Yeah, high Jonin. Choji, I'd probably say max low Kage. I would say low, like, high Jonin. Yeah. I'm being, like, extremely generous. He's, like, low Kage. Yeah, like he could be Asuma probably, and then
if I was being like, if I was like doing a mid ball for Lee, like you could say he's like Minato level or beyond because like when he does the 6 gates, and he's like I curse that I don't have enough power, whatever, to help Guy using the 8th gate. he like starts getting mad and like roasting himself, and then Minato like gets like serious for a moment, and he like has a sweat in his cheek, and he's like, no, Lee, that's plenty enough, and it says ... to basically emphasize the seriousness of it. And so you can kind of argue and rationalize and be like, oh, therefore, that's beyond even Minato and Edo or some bullshit. But either way, you know, that's kind of all you really have. Like, unfortunately, Kishimoto kind of shitted on all the side characters. The only feats that they have is in the movies. That's like, I'm being honest. Like, if you want to count all scaling, you would have to go to the anime and the movies and then look at their performances in comparison to Naruto throughout his periodic evolution in the series. And that's how you can kind of get, like, some ballpark. You can also gauge to a certain extent when they fought Kasame's 30% power too.
Yeah, so the maximum wank for Choji would be grown Choji butterfly with red pill, Super Saiyan 2 multiplier.
Yeah.
Fucking beats.
Hey bro, even without the red pill, with the fact that he has like the fucking butterfly shit, that's theoretically 100 times multiplier since he can activate it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so like think of it this way. So like he has. Like, so this is the only issue though. Like the other two pills, where they give him like a crazy amount of chakra, you know, whatever, and power. Like he won't have that. I'll be honest with you. He won't have that because that's just a blatant like chakra amp, right? Because they're pills. Exactly. But what he does have still is the expanding shit, right? And that increases his power, not speed but power. Okay, and then when he does the butterfly, that is 100 times. So now he has like his first level of amp power. Then the 100 times multiplier, and then if we give him a red pill on top of it, that's another 100 times, so 200 times multiplier.
Imagine it's like multiplied to like fucking 10,000.
Literally, bro. Like, so yeah, he'd be fucking like, cracked. But like, if we're as Jay said, like if we're being transparent, he's just a high tier Jonin. What's it called? Or you could say low Kage level. I'm gonna be honest. For Choji, I would actually say low Kage level, and the reason why is because he did shit on Kakazu. He did shit on Kakazu. He beat him. He subdued him.
Yeah.
So, like, he literally overpowered him and, like, had his hand on top of him and said, you're not moving or going anywhere. You know what I mean? And he shitted on Asuma, who also scales to hit on in Kakazu, like, base to base and shit. So, meaning, therefore, that's why Choji would technically be low Kage level, because he's literally bodying fucking high-tier Jonings in his, like, massive fucking butterfly form, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I'll say this. Yeah, I'll say this about Choji and Boruto. He's definitely low Kage at least in Boruto.
Oh, facts.
And Rock Lee, for sure.
Like if you're highballing, you could say mid Kage, you know. But
at that point, I mean, fucking, we see what these Kage are doing to fucking, you know, Tsutsuki. Then these guys are probably mid Kage.
Like the fact that Shikamaru could even like restrain one of the like that alien dude that fought Sasuke with his shadow. The fact that he could do that, like that blatantly would put Choji in a similar aspect because he always is similar to Shikamaru, you know?
Yeah, those guys at that point it's a whole different.
So it's like they're literally 6 pass levels at that point. So technically, you know, like obviously in the Boruto era they would be mid Kage, but if we're like saying like overall like legitimately they're literally like alien level. They're 6 pass level.
Yeah, exactly. Especially with all the shit we've been seeing there.
Yeah.
Let's catch up with the chat, folks. We gotcha. End of part 1 Boruto versus the entire Naruto verse from the start. No recovery between fights. How far does he get? End of part 1 Boruto. You mean like before the plot? You mean like before the plot twist?
Yeah, like before.
It's hard to scale him there, but
you've seen that. I don't know that shit though. So
yeah, how would I even scale into part 1? I'd probably say he's with Karma, probably 6 past level, at least low tier. So he'd fuck up the majority of the verse. If it's one after the other, he'd one-shot the majority.
Yeah.
Once he starts to get into war characters like Madara, Jubidara, things like that, I think he'd start to fall. The farthest he'd get, I'd say, if I'm being extremely generous, is he beats Jubidara. That's a stretch. After that, he would definitely lose to like Naruto and 6-Pass or Sasuke. And definitely Kaguya would beat him.
Like, the problem is like with Boruto. Like, here's the interesting aspect with fucking Boruto. Like back then, so like when we see like Boruto's cracked, but his problem is like blatant power scaling. That was always his problem in the beginning of the anime and even in the manga.
Yeah, it was
to where like he's cracked in intelligence and being a genius. Like it's stated verbatim, he has the genius prowess of Minato, the 4th Hokage, and the unpredictability of Naruto as well. He has both characteristics, so that makes him really cracked to where he could literally use chakra nature transformation along with a change in chakra form immediately with 2 chakra natures. He did it with lightning and he did it with wind instantly, bro. Like the guy's fucking cracked, and he makes a compression Rasengan that's basically like a Shidori Rasengan in a sense, and to where it can like have really strong piercing AP power, but where it's so strong where his arm could fucking fly off from the recoil. So he eventually had to stop using that. It was like named a forbidden technique, like the Raisen Shuriken for Naruto when he first had that. So like overall, like Boruto has some crazy hacks. You know, he's strong in aspect, whatever. But like the only time when he has scaling that's pretty crazy, like, or that you could like kind of use sophist tactics or really get away with, is when he's fighting against Fuse Momo. When Naruto like gives him the fucking like that massive Rasengan, like if you think about it logically, he's still holding the weight of the Rasengan. Like that is a thing of how big it is and the power, whatever. So that is impressive in a regard. And then he has like a fucking tug of war with Momoshiki. He kind of does it, whatever. He's even able to like, you know, endure that for a moment. So like if you're going through all of that, like then obviously if you like take it literally in highball, he's like blatantly wiping everybody, right? It's just a power cliff moment. But if you look at it legitimately, then where it gets weird is when you watch the anime and the manga, then he's struggling to a bunch of fucking Jonin tier characters. Like characters that are nowhere near Sasuke, Naruto, and so on and so forth, or even other Kara inner members, to where like, you know, like that one robot dude, Jay, I don't know if you remember him, Ao, whatever.
Oh yeah, the fucking eye.
Yeah, like he's struggling to him.
Yeah.
He was struggling to Kawaki as well. He was struggling to the outer card member where Kawaki had a backpack while extremely fatigued and no chakra as well. So like overall, like there's just all this stuff where it blatantly shows Boruto could like he could fight and hang with Jonings, you know what I mean, and whatnot in Boruto, but he can't hang with people that are like have the power of like Naruto, Sasuke, whatever, Momoshiki, things like that, whatever, blah, blah. So, like, that's why, you know, it's just, you know, it is what it is. There's so much consistency. So,
yeah, part 1, 6 pass was where he start to struggle, I'd say. If it's now, he solos the entire verse. If it's current Boruto, it's fucking slaughters everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Part 1,
now, he just blink, bro, and they're all fucking
you probably
dead.
one-shot, if you wanted to, you could probably one-shot the whole planet, like one-shot.
Now, if it was like that one Boruto that's before the time skip, where he's, like, obviously theoretically getting stronger because more time's passing, and I think his, like, hair looks similar to Sasuke as well. I don't know anything about that Boruto, so I can't really gauge him.
Yeah, he like the year out, he already mastered all of Sasuke's shit, but he was still below code. Like they both had to run for their fucking lives.
Oh, okay. So
but, yeah,
so he's
probably
around. Was Code over Jigen at that point or no?
Yeah, he had no limiters at that point. But Boruto was like extremely inferior. Sasuke
oh,
had, like,
so meaning Boruto still wasn't even at prime Sasuke, Naruto, and Jigen level. Then.
Oh no, definitely not.
Oh, so the same would apply then. So meaning, he just can't fuck with 6 pass level of power like that, basically.
Yeah, not even at that point. Yeah, so that's probably what I would say. $5 from Kendrick again. Appreciate it, brother.
Yeah.
Hypothetically, if you were in The Walking Dead, how long would you survive? That's a good question. So if I'm being as realistic as possible, if I'm in the area I'm in now, gridlock would be a huge problem because the reality is, if there were to be a zombie infection that like The Walking Dead, everyone would be trying to leave major cities to get away from
humans are the problem. Really. That's the biggest component. Yeah, humans.
So there would be fucking gridlock in all major highways around the country, probably. What I would do, I'll probably try to
military or your enemies too.
Yep. Yeah, I would either try to go to a military base, or I would probably wait it out. I mean, obviously, I'd have to get weapons, like in my own home, obviously. But I would try to go to a location that's I would deem as somewhat safe. Wait it out. Wait for people to leave, like migrate out, and then maybe try to create like a small sort of village where at least we could block off a certain radius of area.
Yeah,
harder said than done because I'm sure others.
You can go to an island too.
Yeah.
You know?
Obviously, it's harder said than done because I guarantee there'll be others that come to the same conclusion.
Sure,
the smart ones that don't just go to the So I probably, more than likely, I wouldn't survive long. I probably, if I get that far, I'd have like fucking enemies trying to just like I get sniped or some shit with a rifle or some shit while I'm like crossing the street.
The craziest thing about it too, what really sucks about like I'm gonna be honest with this, like Jay actually has the right mentality because Walking Dead. I'm sorry for any Walking Dead fans. I'm just gonna be really honest and blunt with you and objective. There was plot holes in that shit. I'm sorry, but slow zombies are not beating a military. They're not beating.
No.
That would never fucking happen with all the air support, tanks. That was the most unrealistic bullshit I've ever seen in my fucking life. Of that they somehow got overrun and that's bullshit. You know.
They
Um,
would what they would
yeah,
do, yeah, what the military would fucking do is they would isolate themselves in
yeah,
remote locations,
and they would
and
bomb
if
all the
worse comes to
cities, the
worse,
big population area, like what
yeah,
Last of Us did. You
worst
know?
comes to
Yeah,
worst comes to worst, they'll use chemical warfare, or they could just fucking nuke entire fucking
yeah,
states.
that
Like that
too.
would be the worst case. So
But
in
they would win.
reality,
Yeah,
yeah, they would most likely win. If anything, they'll just kill themselves. They'll say, you know
yeah.
what, fuck it, this is nuke everything,
So
and then
that's
everyone's
why
dead. Whoever
like that's why
survives
I'm
can
saying
rebuild.
like Jay
Yeah,
has the right mentality because overall
yeah,
your only way of surviving is for one getting out of the shit areas, right? Like the high population, whatever, blah blah,
yeah,
because those are going to
exactly.
not only be the most dangerous to survive, but the military will eventually might come to a conclusion. Hey, we just gotta. That's it. Get it out. And that's, you know what I mean. Whether if that's
Start
air
mowing people
support,
down.
chemical, or a nuke.
Yeah,
You know. So no matter what, your best way of surviving is either somehow joining the military or what's it
yeah,
called, having some form of protection, because I think in our world we do have regulations, and even the CDC, where they have like if shit was happening or whatever, that they would have like they would have like camps or like or rescue areas for civilians wherever to
yeah,
go
yeah,
to and to be
definitely would.
protected. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I'm pretty sure they would still do that too. I don't think the government would lie and just be like, oh fuck you all, and we're for ourselves, you know.
Oh hell no. Yeah, no, no.
Especially against
Definitely not.
walking zombies, like that's not, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they would. The only way the government would go solo mode and be selfish is if they're fighting like some cracked special infected fucking zombies. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
if it's like I Am Legend, then I Am
Yeah,
Legend, they'll
like
just nuke us all. Like we're
yeah, yeah. At
fucked.
that point, they have
Like,
no
and then,
choice, and they would have to nuke. There's no like, oh, we need to be nice, and like, no, you can't. Like if you want
yeah,
to survive, it's and that's the crazy component of it as well. I'm pretty sure Jay could maybe be able to do. I can't speak for him, but you would also have to
yeah.
get rid of your sense of morality. You can't be kind anymore.
Oh
You
hell
can't
yeah,
be
you have
trusting.
to.
You can't. You literally have to be cold and basically like if you guys have seen The Walking Dead, how Shane was. You have to have that mentality in order to survive. Like the reason
Yeah,
why
because
they were having
eventually,
problems is because Rick's mentality was
yeah,
conflicting with Shane, where Shane was like, "Hey, survivor mode." Rick was like, "No, but we need to still do the right thing and survive," and that doesn't fucking
yeah,
work. You know?
yeah. He was trying to like implement democracy, and when they were with
Yeah.
fucking Herschel and his farm, they were trying to implement democracy. Shane's like, no, dude, fucking the world's gone.
Yeah,
Like
and I
that shit
don't
doesn't
agree
work
with it. I'll
anymore.
say that right now. Like, it's
Yeah, I
obviously
don't agree.
wrong.
I don't agree.
Yeah, like it's morally whatever, not accept. But at the end of the day, in order to survive, if we're being objective and reality and facts, right? Let's let's be. It's the same
Yeah,
bullshit when it comes to IRL and shit and men and girls, whatever, blah blah. If we're being objective and facts, like that's the only way. Like if you want to live, you
yeah,
unfortunately have to do that. So for instance, like if you're in an apocalypse and you see a person all bloody, he's like, "Help me, help me." People actually will do that on purpose to lure you and then to steal your
oh
shit or
hell yeah.
kill you or kidnap you. You know what I mean? Like,
Be on
so
some Last of Us shit when
yeah.
they fucking
Yeah,
fucking
literally,
kick
so that's
ass
what I'm
like
saying. Like, you
hams.
can't be naive. You can't like, that's just humanity. That's human nature, dude. People will always be in it for
Yeah,
themselves at the end of the day. The ones that truly want to survive and don't give a fuck, Now, obviously, if there's moments where you have the choice to do the right thing and it's not going to kill you or put you at risk, obviously you would do it, right? Like we're not fucking
yeah,
saying to be
yeah,
robots or monsters, but when it comes to surviving, where you can't and it's contentious or anything like that, whatever, you gotta be fucking cold and concise, and that's another element. If
yeah.
you
You're gonna
can't do
have
that or
to.
stomach
And
that, you're fucked. You're dead.
yeah, and where I'm at with a highly densely populated area, my chances of survival, unless I get to a fucking military base immediately, I get fucking. The
Yeah.
truth is, I'd probably get shot
Yeah,
like
you're
trying to
dead. Yeah,
fucking
we just
steal
get
shit
shot.
from
We
a
get killed
store.
by a human. It wouldn't even be a zombie. It'd just
Yeah,
be a human.
people will start sniping each other. People will fucking mowing each other down the
Yeah.
streets. Like you go out, people getting run over and
Like,
shit.
like,
Like
I'm
it'd be a
sorry.
fucking shit
Anybody that
show.
gets bit by a fucking zombie, they're all retarded. All of them are
Yeah,
so dumb, bro.
exactly. So it'd be if they can't walk. Honestly, I'd be more worried about the humans than the fucking zombies. To be honest with you, but like if the zombies are that slow and stupid, like the Walking Dead ones, I'd be more worried about people. Like they'd
Yeah.
be trying to take you out. So that's what I'll be worried about. I wouldn't be worried about the zombies too much. Like here's one thing that I'll say though, because that's a good question. The durability of zombies in real life would be way fucking higher than Walking Dead. I don't think people realize how hard a human skull is. It wouldn't take one baseball swing to fucking destroy their head. It would take several swings. Let's just say that. So I would certainly
Yeah.
say if the zombies aren't like super decomposed for years on end, you're gonna have to shoot them. If you're trying to fucking kill each zombie with a bat, you're gonna get overrun real quick. So that's fucking dumb if you think bones break that easily.
Yeah,
It's hard to
facts.
break a fucking human skull.
It is
So
very
first of all, your
hard.
hands are gonna do it. You're not gonna be able to punch a skull in unless you're fucking Francis Ngannou. You're gonna need a bat. You're gonna need a sledgehammer or something like that. And it's not easy. You're gonna have to probably get a gun, like a high caliber round that can go through the head in one shot. Even a small caliber weapon, like a 22, wouldn't go. It wouldn't go clean through the brain anyway. You need like a high caliber pistol, or you would need a fucking hunting rifle or a fucking assault rifle to really make damage. Um, it would be hard to kill zombies. It's
No,
not
like
like The
dead
Walking
ass.
Dead
Like
where you use a fucking
that's
yeah.
really important what you're saying. Like a lot of people are actually weird with that shit, or go to fucking Tooth Fairy world, like physics and
Yeah.
and how much strength it actually takes to really like go through someone's head or blah blah. It takes a lot of fucking
Hard.
power. It is
Yeah.
not like
And
you would
it,
have to be like
like
physically fit and really peak human condition to be like either getting close to
yeah.
doing that or just somehow doing it effortlessly. You know?
Another interesting fun fact I learned. I went on this zombie tangent years ago. I still remember was
Yeah.
how difficult it is to behead like an actual zombie with a sword because people obviously Michonne, you guys all know who she is. She
She just makes
slaughters
it look like
everyone,
it's
like
easy,
beheads
like
everybody.
butter. Yeah.
Yeah, in real life, there was only like one recorded thing where a super expert samurai hundreds of years ago only did it once. He was able to behead somebody with a sword one time, and that guy was a fucking expert samurai. As far as recorded events where a guy's able to do that successfully, it's like 1 in a million. So good luck using a fucking sword and thinking you're gonna be fucking a ninja with that shit. You're not gonna cut no head off in one slice. I'll tell you that. So it's gonna be you're gonna need a gun. Let's just say that. You're gonna need a
You
fucking
need
gun,
guns.
high caliber.
And that's another problem.
Yeah.
If you never had
Honestly,
any gun training, you're fucked.
you're fucked. Yeah, you're fucked. You're gonna have to learn real quick because if you don't, and let's say there's a swarm of them, a horde, you're fucked.
You are
Because there's
fucked.
no
And
way
that is
you're not gonna
way
beat them
harder than
down.
using a melee weapon.
Yeah.
Way harder.
You're not gonna slice their heads off. You're not gonna fucking beat them with a bat. You're definitely not gonna beat them with your fist.
Yeah.
You're not gonna be able to break no head with a fist. You're gonna need a high caliber weapon with high caliber rounds,
Yeah.
or you're dead. It's
Yeah,
just that
and you're
simple.
gonna need to know
So
how to reload
that's the
quick.
reality.
Like you're dead ass literally
Quick.
gonna be needing police
Yeah.
training or military training. Like you're gonna have to be concise, quick. You name it, whatever. You're gonna have to practice, and once again, that all takes time. So when you're literally being forced
takes
to
a lot of time.
survive, and you name it, like you're just fucked because the odds are already against you. And unless you're able to find an area that's
Yeah.
safe and allows you to have that time to develop yourself, you're fucked. You're done. Like,
Yeah, it's way harder than it looks on The Walking Dead, dude. I'll
oh,
tell you that.
way
Yeah,
harder. It's
way
nowhere near
harder.
as easy as it is. Facts, absolutely. Like what people don't understand is they do that for the story, right? You know what I mean? They're not just gonna be
Yeah,
killing
exactly.
people left
Yeah.
and right. Like they do that in a way, but it's mainly fodder characters that don't matter or no names. You know, so it's
Yeah.
like. So overall, like that's what people don't really understand. It doesn't matter, like you could even be the most badass. Like if the odds are against you and you got numbers, like you're fucked still. You know what I mean?
You're fucked.
Like what's
Yeah.
it called? Or
Navy
if
SEAL,
if
dude.
you're in a building
Yeah.
and there's zombies coming from everywhere, even if they're slow, if they're all around and you don't have a fucking even with a machine gun, you're more than likely still gonna die because there's just so
Yeah, let's
many.
be honest.
The bodies are dropping, so now you gotta fucking like step over shit or hope you actually kill them. Like there's so many factors to it. You know, to where you're fucked. And
Yeah.
God forbid if you only have a melee weapon and you're getting swarmed
you're
all
dead.
around, you're dead. You're dead. There's no way.
There's more than like
Yeah.
if you have a melee weapon and a bat and there's more than 5 of them, you're fucked.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
not gonna survive
exactly.
that.
Like, so, like that's the thing. Like, don't underestimate the zombie. Like, we're not over here saying like, oh,
Yeah.
that's a fucking cake. Like, no, we're saying that as in regarding where you have the ability to run. So that's why they're not really a
Yeah.
threat because you could just run and get away, right? You know,
That's the best option.
yeah.
Running.
It's
Yeah,
just
that's the
running.
best
The
option.
fact that
Just
you
to
have
fucking
that
run.
luxury, that's why they're not the threat, and the main threat is really just humans. You know.
Yeah.
So it's like at the end of the day, like that's why you have to be really careful. But the problem, though, once again, when you got to go find food or whatever, guess what that requires? You got to go in buildings, close encounters,
Risks.
and that's
Yeah,
where shit
risks.
gets crazy.
Yeah, you're gonna have to be extremely logical. If the smart, here's the most logical conclusion: go to a military base. That's the smartest
Yep,
single decision.
that's it.
If you're in the Midwest somewhere, or if you're some desolate like shithole, no
You're
disrespect
dead.
to country areas, but if you're in the middle of nowhere, you're fucked, man.
You're
Unless like
fucked.
helicopters come out for you, you're fucked. Like, you're gonna have to hunt. You're gonna have to build shelter. You're gonna have to also hide from other possible humans that want to take you out. You're gonna have to do all kinds of shit. So
Yeah.
if you're in the middle of nowhere, just you gotta be real good at surviving, man.
No, you
if you're in a
wanna
densely
know-
popular area,
You want to know the worst
Fuck.
fucking like the worst? And I feel like the most realistic zombies I've ever fucking seen
Yeah.
the one with World War Z, or not World War Z.
Oh God.
What was it?
Oh
What the fuck was it called? I think I'm kind of saying it right, but I think you know with Brad Pitt or whatever the fuck his name is.
yeah.
Um,
World War Z. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
World War Z zombies, where those guys are in fucking hordes and like you know what I mean, they're just running
Oh my.
whatever. You know, you
Sprinting.
instantly turn like that shit. You're done. You're fucked. Like you're.
We're all dead.
Yeah,
No
there's
one's
no way.
surviving that
Like you
shit.
would literally, the military would, and we literally see it too. They were even contemplating it, but eventually they were able to find a cure,
Nukes.
right? You know, yeah. But they were
Yeah.
gonna nuke everything. They were literally gonna nuke it.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
So.
We're all dead. Because here's the thing: they don't get tired. They'll just keep running.
Yep.
Never
Yep.
get tired.
They just keep running, but
Hell
they
no.
jump too. They got like insane fucking
Yeah.
vertical jumps
They
and
can
shit.
jump. They have like crazy physical feats and shit.
Their
Hell no,
sensing
bro.
is fucking crack. Like they can hear like very like, ridiculous noises and shit. Like so, like if it's something
Yeah.
like that, or I don't know if you guys have played it. I've actually I'm releasing a lot of gaming videos on it because I already completed the series. But I played Days Gone,
Yeah.
which is a PS4 exclusive, and it's also a zombie game. It's
That's
very
just
similar
fire.
to World War
Yeah.
Z zombies. But the only difference is they're even more intelligent. So not only can they hoard,
Oh,
but they can like strategize, kind of like I Am Legend zombies too. A scratch can affect
Yeah.
you, whatever you name it. And then eventually, what's it called? They can even start evolving where they can actually gain more human intelligence, but still be feral and like a zombie, whatever, blah blah. Like it's literally
God.
upgraded versions of World War
So
Z.
they're like fucking. They're like going through evolution.
Yeah,
Like we are.
and the animals also get infected. Bears, wolves,
Oh hell no.
birds.
We're fucked at that point. Hell no.
Like it's
I
so
definitely wanna
fucking
live
crazy.
with
Like,
that.
bro, when I played that game, I'm sorry. Like, whether if you guys watch my Let's Plays or not, there was so many moments where I'm like, get the fuck out of here, bro. I'd be dead so many times.
Honestly,
Like-
humans are frail. People just don't realize it because we live in first world conditions. We're
Yeah.
fucking frail, man.
Yeah,
Like,
literally,
fucking-
bro. And like another bad part about it too is if you're under the age of 13, you die instantly because the virus just like blows up your cells and your blood starts to boil,
Oh,
whatever, blah
God.
blah. So like if you're under the age of 13, you just die. Any older people
no.
from 70 and up, they're also all dead. So the only age group you have is from 14 to like in 60s, basically. You know, and that's the
Damn.
only percentage of humans that are alive. So if you do your math or whatever,
Yeah.
the population of the world is already fucking drastically fucking shrinked down because it just kills all the young fucking kids and teens and whatnot, and the majority of older people, because the virus has a very strong effect. And then once again, now you got to deal with all the shit that can fucking kill you. They're intelligent, they can hoard, so many of them plan shit, mutate, evolve, animals. Like, I'm sorry, that is absolutely the worst. I think even the military would
exactly.
probably be fucked.
Oh hell yeah! I'll just say this before I move on because we're on a tangent.
Yeah.
Best options for Walking Dead scenario: military base or island. If you have the resources. If you don't,
Facts.
you're gonna die eventually. Let's say that. Another donation from Sir Ghost. Appreciate you, brother. 2 of them actually. Are you still doing J clips and rants? Because I need the legendary Noodles stupid claim about Itachi being stronger than Hashirama debunked. You know what? I might do a rant. That's a good idea to go over. It's an easy debunk, but yeah, I might do that for you, Sir Ghost. I got you. But
I'm assuming
also working on-
their logic is Minato one-shot manga, therefore correlate Itachi to Minato, therefore over Hashirama. Yeah.
And they also use that fucking Hashirama statement where he says, after Sasuke tells him about him, he's like, oh, he's a better ninja than I. But he means that in terms of, like, character, not
Bro,
fucking
at this
power.
point, those retards are literally dead ass gonna actually believe Kakuzu scales to Hashirama at this point when he fought him.
Yeah, bro.
Even though
you
he
can't really
was
say
beaten
them.
up and lost and was fucking crucified
Yeah,
and bullied out from his village, you know, but okay.
Yeah, that retard and his friends think that bullshit. Also, I'm working on my own comic. Shout out to you, Sir Goats. But we read the chat, folks. We went on a zombie rant because that shit is fun to talk about. Let's see what you guys are saying here. Honestly, I don't think Tank beating up Devin is a big deal. He was only 16. Oh, thanks for bringing that up. Yeah, so I put on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter, by the way, folks. I've been on this boxing sort of tangent on there. If you want to follow me there, follow my Twitter. There is this clip that came out. It was Devin Haney versus Tank Davis sparring footage. I'm not going to lie. Tank worked him, right? But this was 16-year-old Haney, and Tank was already, becoming a man. He was around 20. I think he was already competing as a pro at a high level. And he worked Haney. He worked Haney. He wasn't like knocking his ass out, but he was working him. Obviously, Ryan Garcia is using it as ammo against Haney to make him look bad. But I have 2 points. First of all, Haney was a kid. He was 16 years old, sparring one of the best boxers on the planet at the time, and he held his own. Yeah, he lost. He got worked, but he's 16. He held his own. Two, every great has been worked in sparring. There's actually rumors, and I only know this because I've been in the boxing game for a long time, that Floyd Mayweather years ago actually got knocked out or knocked down by Zab Judah in training. And this is Floyd Mayweather, not an official fight. There's a rumor that they sparred and Zab actually dropped him. And this is Floyd Mayweather, by the way. So the point is, everyone gets worked in sparring. It doesn't matter who the fuck you are. John Jones, fucking Floyd, fucking Haney, Ali probably got worked in sparring. Everyone gets beat in sparring. Just because you get beat in sparring doesn't mean you're not a world class fighter. Just because Floyd got dropped by Zab Judah doesn't mean he's 50. He's not 50. You know. Just because John Jones had a bad day, it doesn't mean he's not the best MMA fighter of all time. So, what casuals see is that they see like a bad sparring clip or whatever. They're like, "Oh my god, this guy's dog shit." I'm like, dude, that was what it could have been a bad day. He was, or he could have been young. He could have been sick. He could have just been off that day. And people that haven't been in the game, I'm not saying I know everything, but I've been in the game long enough to know we all have our off days where we just don't look as well. And again, Haney was 16, bro. He wasn't a grown man yet. He was a fucking kid. You can even tell he was a kid in the clip. So I don't really care that Tank beat him in sparring. He was a fucking grown man. So it doesn't really mean that much to me at that point. I want to see them fight now, for sure. I think it'd be a good fight today. He's a grown man now. He's a champion. But yeah, it doesn't mean that much to me at all. Like, come on, man. Noodle's awful takes have to be some marketing tactic. Oh, facts, bro. The majority of them are. The Caucasus bullshit. I know he doesn't believe it. I guarantee he doesn't believe it. He's using that for fucking marketing, for shock value. He's a fucking retard. Batman, remember when Weeb said that gorillas are slow as shit and said, and you said, oh, so you telling me you cannot run a gorilla? Let's actually look up how fast are gorillas. How fast can gorillas run? 25 miles per hour. Good luck with outrunning that if you're not an Olympic sprinter. If you're not an Olympic sprinter, you're getting you're getting run down, big fella. Sorry. Let's read what you guys are said. Gojo Lee, the humiliated ones. That's facts, bro. Unfortunately, and I like Gojo. I'm caught up with JJK, and so far my favorite characters is Megumi and Sukuna. I still miss Nobara. Shout out to Nobara, bro. Guy's a fucking legend. Um, let's see. From what I can tell, something is wrong with Ryan. What do you think? As far as Garcia, this is what I'll say about Ryan. He's very distracted, and I think opinions get to him too easily. Like him dating an OF model. Obviously, we're all gonna flame him for that. He's dating some hoe from the internet, but he keeps going on these rants about her, posting when he proposed to her. Like, bro, who cares what we think? First of all, you're fighting Devin Haney. What the fuck are you talking about this shit? Who cares what we think? Focus on the fucking fight. The fuck is wrong with you, dude? You know, so I think Ryan is just kind of weak minded. I know he had his mental health issues. Those are valid, whatever. But here's the reality of that game: the mentally tough survive. I know a lot of talented guys that I know personally or just know from the fight game that aren't just tough, that aren't mentally tough enough to do it. Seeing guys quit, seeing guys just not handle the stress that it takes, especially when you're a champion and there's eyes on you and you're gonna have haters regardless. You have to be able to endure that, not just the physical beatings that you take, but the mental sort of torment that your detractors are going to attempt to give you. You have to be able to endure that. Guys like Floyd didn't give a fuck what you thought about him. He didn't give a fuck. That's why he's a champion. Haney doesn't give a fuck. Tank doesn't give a fuck. Ali didn't give a fuck. Those guys are like, that's why they're the world champions. I think Garcia has some maturity to do, mental maturity that he has to sort of continue to progress with, because right now he's still showing distraction to me on social media, posting a bunch of bullshit. It doesn't matter. Focus on the fight, dude. I wouldn't even be on social media if I was in camp. Me personally, I wouldn't do that shit. You know, so I think there is something wrong with him mentally. I think he's just off. Very physically talented. You could argue he's the most talented out of the young generation, but he's just very distracted, and his mind isn't where it's supposed to be, in my opinion. So, W stream, appreciate you, Sir Goats. Appreciate that, bro. Let's see
You know,
here.
I just thought of Jay,
Yeah, by the way,
bro. Fucking imagine Left for Dead.
oh my god. Yeah, that'd be bad too. Hell no.
Like, to be
What do
fair,
y'all
we could
think of
at
the
least beat them. It would be the same principle,
Yeah,
either air
yeah.
support or just nuke. But
Yeah, they're not like so threatening where they just mow us down.
I don't know.
Like Walking Dead, Left 4 Dead.
Like they're
Yeah.
still really cracked.
What do
Don't
you,
get me wrong. You know, all the special infected. You know, smokers, hunters, tanks. You know, whatever. But
yeah. Mm, what do I think of the faster than light arguments for Sukuna due to his fight with Kashima? Truth be told, I'm gonna study that pretty heavily soon. I'm gonna do a JJK video about Toji. So I'm gonna definitely get more into that.
Yep.
My deduction currently is that no one scales to even light. I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
Maybe my mind will change, but right now, I'd say no. Itachi over Kabuto over Nagato or Sage Kabuto. I think you can argue certain ways Kabuto and Nagato counter each other, but overall Kabuto is more impressive. I agree. And I do think you can argue either way. Um, I like Ron Garcia, but if he's going to drink and smoke weed before the fight, he's clearly not taking it seriously. He deserves to lose to Devin. But like I said, Ryan's distracted. Yeah, he's a distracted kid. He's focused on the wrong things, TikTok and all this other bullshit, dude. You got if you want to be a world champion, bro, that shit doesn't matter. I'm just being honest. Haney's focused. He's a devout, a religious individual. His dad keeps him centered. He just focuses on fighting, bro. That's why he's a world champion. So it's that simple. Um, I hope I didn't miss much. What's going on, BT? What's going on, bro? I didn't miss much. We've been talking about zombies. We've been talking about Boruto, JJK a lot today. Yeah. Who wins in a race between peak Sonic and peak Flash? I would assume Flash. I don't know too much about Sonic. I heard he's cracked his shit, but I would assume Flash. Flash like transcends time and speed altogether. Like he is speed. So I'd probably say Flash, but again, I don't know too much about Sonic. JJK or Attack on Titan, the better show? Ooh, that's a tough one. I would say narrative wise, if I'm being, I'd probably say Attack on Titan. I think Attack on Titan has a better narrative overall. It's more polarizing, in my opinion. Um, they have their different pros and cons. Attack on Titan just has no filler, straight to the point, extremely polarizing from start to finish. Yeah, it's a very black and white sort of trajectory in certain ways. So Rampage, Obito versus War at Kakashi. Though you mean the one that slaughtered all those Anbu? Uh, War Kakashi was reacting to V2 Cherokees at this point in time. The Anbu are quite unquantifiable. Yeah, they're Anbu, and he slaughtered like a whole platoon. To be fair, and he had like the Hashirama cell amp where he's using wood style. But I still think Kakashi's more impressive in my opinion, going against V2 Jinchurikis the way he did. Um, so I'll probably say Kakashi. Again, what's tough about Obito is the how to quantify the platoon he slaughtered, right? Because Jonin can vary widely in caliber, and yes, they are Anbu, but even they are perceived as fodder at times, right? Like for example, when Itachi left the village and those Anbu tried to stop him, and he like effortlessly genjutsu'd their ass. Like there's no, it's not that impressive, right? Just because they're Anbu. So I'd probably say Kakashi. You could argue that I'm using an appeal to ignorance. That's fair, but I would argue Kakashi has the better feats. So more concretely, I'd say. $5 from BT. I appreciate that, brother. Put that on the screen real quick. Give me a second, folks. So I put that on the screen. Appreciate that, brother. I'll read it real quick. If you could go back, if you could go back in any point of time to see an event as an observer, what or where would it be? That's a great question. It's a great question. Any point in time ever? That's a good question. Where would I go? If it's any point in human history, I'd probably say, where would I go? I'd probably say, mm, maybe Rome, like the first great empire that ever stood on that scale. It's Rome, or yeah, I'll probably say Rome during the times of Rome. The closest thing to the U.S. we've had in human history, as far as success and overall dominance. So weird how people are surprised that Sukuna was holding back against the protags. If Gojo failed to push him, how are people who are fodder to Gojo supposed to make him go all out? Yeah, it's more of like a progressive, concurrent, or rather consecutive, attack. Right? It's not like a concurrent attack that can beat him, right? Because he's so dominant in comparison to all other sorcerers that you have to use a sort of consecutive attack with one combatant after the other, right? Because he's just so dominant that you have to essentially wear him down. Right? It's like the only way to take him out is to wear him down over time, which is what they seemingly are attempting to do, right? They had Gojo thrown at him, then they had they had Hikari, they had Yuji, they had Yuta, now they have Maki. They're trying to wear the guy down over time. Isn't Kurtz weaker anyway because of his fight against Gojo? Yeah, he's certainly very disheveled. You can even see observably. Also, spoiler alert: apparently there's a panel in the new chapter that says he's been holding back anyway, like the entire time. So there's that. So yeah, he's certainly weaker. Either way, whole because of all the combat he's had to endure. So. But yeah, any questions at all, folks? I think Batman's still here, but he's busy right now. But yeah, JJK's heating up. I'm certainly looking forward to this next chapter. I've seen some spoilers. I know the next chapter comes out tomorrow as well. Definitely looking forward to that. I'm gonna read that ASAP. Definitely looking forward to it for sure. But yeah, folks, any questions at all? But yeah, going back to Sir Goat's question, as far as rants, I'll eventually do another one. I just gotta think of a good topic. Something worth doing. I did a couple. The Kaku versus Pain debunk, the Shishui scaling, um, the Jiraiya scaling, things like that. So if there's a topic worth doing, then I'll certainly do it. A debunk. Let's see here. But yeah, folks, any questions at all? Any questions at all? We went on a zombie tangent for a while. Though. That's a good question, though. Shout out to Kedrick for that one. That's a good question. Appreciate the $2, Kedrick. Appreciate that, brother. Put that on the screen real quick. Right quick here. Appreciate that, brother. Here we are. Here we are. Batman should be back soon, though, folks. I think he's busy right now. I'll carry the boats for now. Let's see here. Team 7 versus Team Minato with just the kids. Okay, so no Minato. All right, so if we include Kakashi with Team 7, then this will be like an older Kakashi. More experienced, probably better with Raikiri, better with Chidori, better just in general as a shinobi. Also, we got to take into account that Naruto can use QB amps as well. So it depends at what point in time, clearly, right? Obviously, if I'm being extremely technical, Boruto Team 7. If we use the same Team 7 for Naruto, Sakura, Sasuke, and Naruto would absolutely dominate. But if we're using like Kid Team 7, let's say like Part 1 Naruto versus Team Minato, before Obito's tragic event where he gets smashed in half by that boulder, I'd probably lean towards Team 7 again. Oh, you said with just the kids though, because of the QB amp. I think if worse comes to worse, and they're in character and they're fighting for each other, I think Naruto would just have a rampage. I don't think anyone on Team Minato could handle that, including Kakashi. Sasuke is just naturally more gifted than Obito as well, with the Sharingan and things of that nature. And Sakura is just a better combatant than Rin. Rin has no feats at all, zero. So I'd probably say Team 7, even without Kakashi. I think it's the QB amp. That's the main X factor here. Let's say that Kakashi does slam Team 7, kick Kakashi. Naruto, if he sees like Kakashi's willing to kill his brethren, he'll just have a QB amp like he did against Haku during the Land of Waves. It'd be something like that. Gojo versus Sukuna reminds me of Gar versus Lee. Both Gojo and Lee seem to be pushing their ops, only for Sukuna and Gar to be real. They never felt threatened enough to go all out. Yeah, exactly, yeah. Pretty much what it is. There's definitely some parallels there with how that, progressed. Power and Kabuto could easily take out multiple Ambus to their fodder. Yeah, exactly. It's hard to quantify Ambu. What's going on, Red Dalek? What's going on, bro? That's why it's hard to scale Obito, right? When he went on that rampage, it's just random, unknown Ambu. You can't really quantify where they stand as far as scaling. So, but feel free to ask about Boxing Belly, folks. Obviously, I'm a big fan of that as well. Or UFC. I know there's a great event coming next week. I think Jake Paul fought today. Speaking of boxing, let's see who won that, by the way. Jake Paul fight results. I didn't watch it because I'm not going to pay for that. I didn't really care for it, but care about it enough to know the results. I think it's over. A second. See what it is here. Have they fought yet? I don't think they fought yet. I think the card is still ongoing, if I'm not mistaken. If anyone knows, really let me know. Uh, I don't see anything yet, so. But yeah. If we want to wank Team Unito, we could argue that Rain would just go full-tailed beast. Yeah, and then Naruto would. If you know there's a zombie apocalypse 2.5 months from now, what are you doing? I would alert. I would have to prove it. If it's sorry, folks, my dog's barking. If it's not provable, then I would just prepare as best as I can. If I had proof, then clearly I would tell all like proper authorities about it so they could prepare a society for it. But if only I know and I can't prove it, I'll try to convince who I can to the best of my ability. But prepare as best as I can. Probably move near a military base so I could just go there as soon as the outbreak starts. So it depends, but I'll certainly prepare ahead of time for that. $5 from Kedra, I appreciate that, brother. Appreciate that, brother. Let's see. Where would Team Unito scale if they were in the tuning exams, and how far would they go together and individually? Oh, if they were in the tuning exams? Kakashi's such a prodigy that, I mean, he was a captain of his squad is so young. Jonin's so young, even before the likes of Neji and those guys.
My
I
bad, I'm
think he
back,
would
brother.
defeat.
What I miss? What I miss? What I miss?
Oh, good. Someone asked if Team Minato was in the tuning exams, how far would they go
He would
individually and
fucking
together?
absolutely clean everybody effortlessly.
Yeah, Kakashi is a prodigy. The only guys he might struggle with is if like Gaara went on a rampage or Naruto, he's Nine Tails. But besides that, yeah, he's folding.
Yeah,
Neji,
like
yeah,
Shikaku, fucking yeah. Like if it's like Shikaku fully transforming and shit, whatnot. Like you
yeah,
could still make the argument for Minato, as crazy as it sounds, because he does have flying Raijin, and he also has that Rising on that can contest against the Nine Tails. So
yeah.
like,
Obito, the tuning exams, he was still kind of green at that age,
yeah,
like as a kid.
yeah,
So
he
he
got
wouldn't
beat
get
up
too
by
far.
Guy in base.
Yeah, and Rin would go like fucking Sakura, so she
Yeah.
wouldn't go anywhere either.
Yeah, like
So yeah, that's
Kakashi,
about it.
when he was that young, he was joning around that time. And that
Yeah,
was without the Sharingan.
he's
Like he was blatantly able to fight against like jonings from other villages already too, whatnot. Um,
yeah,
so like Kakashi is no joke, but yeah, no Minato. Like I would say, like Minato would definitely be above Kakashi. Um, and things like that. Like he's like the upgrade version, right?
yeah,
But him having Rasengan, that's also superior to Shidori. Kakashi doesn't have Sharingan, then he's pretty fucked. Even if he has Sharingan, we know how the Sharingan works. If you're still not fast enough, even if you can read their movements, you're fucked. You know what I mean? So pretty sure Minato would
yeah.
probably still be way faster than Kid Kakashi. But I think Minato would definitely be able to sweep everyone. It's just the only time you'll have a
I
problem
mean,
is if it's
yeah,
like the QB amps or if it's fucking
yeah. The
Shikaku.
QBs, the only like problems for these guys, especially
Yeah.
Kakashi and
And
Minato.
obviously, like here is in the Sonning, all that, whatever. Like at that, they should definitely be above Teen Minato.
Yeah. Thoughts on the databook statement that 6 plus Naruto's taijutsu is comparable to 6K Lee? I would say just prove via contradiction that it's not hyper literal, and I would say it would be like in terms of skill, maybe. I wouldn't say
And
in
to be
terms of
fair,
like
that could be a fake
physical stats.
translation for all I know. Like that could be one of those
Yeah,
translations that are out there that like everybody just seen so much the way they thought it was. Like I don't know, I would actually have to further check that too. But
yeah. You could
I do know
say,
what you're talking about though.
yeah, yeah. You could just say in terms of skill, obviously not in terms of physical stats, and you could just look at the narrative and proof via
Yeah.
contradiction. That proves that it's not hyper literal; it's hyperbolic, or it means in terms of like taijutsu skill
And we
rather than power.
and that
So
would make more sense, like taijutsu skill of him being better than, which that would make sense, right? Because he's a specialty, right?
yeah.
Even though I think Naruto is extremely underrated, but like lead
Oh
that I
yeah,
could
his taijutsu is
understand.
extremely underrated.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but if it's
exactly.
like, but the problem is
Um,
like the fucking data book statement says like in power and everything, and it's like that's not. Like it's, what I mean? Like
yeah,
that's
no, no,
just
no.
not it. Like no, and
Yeah.
it's just blatantly contradicted. Like you see his feats against Haku and shit, where either Joning's in the war or Lokage. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, come on, like he's not 6 pass level. He would be
Yeah.
shitting on everybody if he was.
Yeah. Minato versus a third-rate Kage. Would Minato be able to penetrate through the lightning cloak? So if we presuppose this definitely matters. If we presuppose Kage has his scar, he's going to deduce that and attack that, and then he'd beat him.
Yeah.
But if he deduces before the scar that he received, um, an observation I saw. And this is from TG. Shout out to TG. We were doing a video. In the panel when Naruto uses a Rasengan, you could see that the you could see that actually damages the Raikage, not just on his scar, but the Rasengan damages like his arm. I think like it shows like cracking. The shot to TG.
Yeah, there's like a mark on his arm, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like affecting his body as well. It's a very, very good observation from TG. He's the one that made it, by the way.
It makes
not
sense
me.
too, Jay, because the Shidori, we saw that go through for the 4th Raikage's armor, you know?
Yeah. So shout out to TG for this, but this is the difference, I'd say. I think Naruto's AP is greater than Minato's. Definitely in Sage mode, because he was in Sage mode when he used it to take out the Raikage. So there is the argument that Minato perhaps would not be able to penetrate the third Raikage's lightning cloak. Certainly possible, especially if he's not using Sage mode, and we can deduce he's not as good at Sage mode as Naruto.
Yeah.
Even though people use that Edo fee, like, oh, he did it right away. It's like, well, when he was alive, he never used it though. Why didn't he use it against Obito or fucking the 4th or anything like that? Clearly,
he would slam Obito. It just makes no logical sense. Yeah.
Yeah. If it increases reactionary time, why the fuck wouldn't he use it? You know. So, I would say he probably can't. More than likely, I think there's a theoretical.
Like the only way you could argue.
Again, if
go.
Yeah. If the scar's there, he'll just hit his scar. I guarantee. If Naruto could deduce that, Minato's gonna deduce it quicker. So
yeah, like, and to be fair, like Naruto did have help, like outside help to deduce it, but the bottom line is Naruto's not like extremely intelligent like Minato, Itachi, Sasuke, Kakashi, whatever. You get what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And if they were to notice that, I would definitely think they could do it. You know what I mean? They could do it, deduce it with it's just come on. Like even I would really think that if I'm fighting someone and I'm throwing attacks and nothing's working, but I see a scar in their chest,
easy deduction.
I'm gonna go for that point because that might be a weak point. Like that's just common sense too, So
exactly, it's not a hard deduction anyway. So
it's like overall, but like if you want to like argue for Minato and you want to like really like say the Rasengan could just blatantly go through, like one way you could argue it is if like with the Teen Minato thing where he was the Rasengan to the Nine-Tails Q-Bomb, things like that, whatever, and with the statement with Hashirama, so like if you kind of like argue around that and rationalize it, and then talk about 4th Hokage Minato, theoretically you could basically claim that, oh, his Rasengan should just have enough AP and just go right through, especially like as Jay said, if Sage Mode Naruto was able to make a mark on him, right? He didn't make him bleed, but he did make a mark that's still an injury. He didn't it's like a bruise, like basically, so it's like, at the end of the day, if Sage Naruto could do that, and let's be real, I do believe Minato scales over Sage Naruto, though. In
terms of physical stats,
like
definitely speed of
it. Speed or whatever you name it, and just like being able to win and whatnot, like that is like when it comes to like power, that's a little interesting, But
that's more debatable.
In Sage mode, it just makes sense. Sage mode is just fucking cracked, but especially War Naruto, and I'm gonna be honest with you. Technically, and Jay's not really tripping. If you really analyze Sage Mode War Arc Naruto, he was technically able to react fast enough to block Sage Mode alive Madara with no eyes.
Exactly.
Like everybody else gets speed blitz, but he was able to at least block and like use his arms in front of his chest to like endure the hit from the kick from Madara. So like overall, if you kind of go that route, So meaning therefore, Sage Mode Naruto technically has enough durability to not get fucking one shot by Madara, and he can be fast enough to block the hit too, he still gets launched back. It's not like he just blocks and stops it. I'm not saying that, but you get what I'm saying. You know what I mean? So overall, Sage Mode is pretty impressive. So there's that too. So at the end of the day, it's really, really interesting. Like regardless, no matter what, the third Raikage is just fucked. It's either you think he can go through it, or if he can't, he just uses his intelligence and gets through it.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But shout out to Alexa with the $50. Appreciate it, Alexa.
And I will say this too, Jay. As a last resort, he could add Sage Mode eventually. You know what I mean? Because he only did it because he was absolutely forced to do it to Madara, right? He didn't have a fucking choice. So that's why he did it. So if it's the Raikage and he can't damage him, that as a last resort, let's say he doesn't even think of the scar, he could probably do that too. He could easily just teleport, Sage Mode, teleport back, and then do like, Rising Gun and go that route too. You know what I mean? And at that point, I'm going to be real with you. I think at that point, if he has a Sage Mode Rising Gun, even if he's not like nowhere near as good as Naruto, it should definitely be at least more stronger than his normal Rising Gun. Right?
Oh yeah, at least.
Because that shit was way bigger when he went to charge at Madara. It was way bigger than his normal size. So
yeah, that's definitely true. So the AP at the very minimum would increase. Yeah. Exactly. Part 1 final QB Naruto versus Part 1 psychotic Shikakugara Naruto.
Yeah.
Naruto would probably beat him. Yeah, I mean he had Gamabunta's help, but he beat.
He beat Gaara. He beat him.
He had Gamabunta to be fair, but if he has a fucking Part 1 QB amp, yeah, he's beating the end of Valley. Yeah, he is.
Oh yeah, in your opinion, what's it called? Yeah, like that. That same Naruto with the QB. Don't get me wrong, Kimmaru fucking bullied his shit, but he was at least relative. You know what I mean? It wasn't like he was blatantly like where it was this speed blitz tier above where Kimmaru's just striking and he can't even move and is dead, right? Like nah, like Kimmaru had to mow down all his 2,000 plus shadow clones and then deal with the last remaining. And then Naruto was gassed out and back to base and he was going to kill him, but then Lee saves him, So,
yeah, exactly.
So it's like overall, like fucking, if with all that, especially with the Kimmaru shit, you name it, and we know Gaara's like a stronger form was able to fight that Kimmaru, so the meaning the weaker form would just get shitted on, And it makes sense. Yeah. Like look at Gaara with Weightless Lee and then Sasuke who's relative to Weightless Lee. Like the man was getting bullied. Imagine QB Naruto.
Exactly. Shout out to all the donos, by the way, folks. The screen is pretty filled today. I appreciate that. Really appreciate that from
Jay,
all the
you think the Arbor cracks is bad, bro? Man does a one little QB chakra punch and bam, breaks right through, bleeds.
Fucking shatters.
He literally starts yelling like what Sasuke did to him, my blood.
What are the most interesting Naruto power scaling topics to debate over from Part 1, Shippuden and Boruto? That's a good question. Part 1 will definitely be tuning exam topics.
Tuning exams all day. To this day, they're discussed, bro.
Yeah, Sasuke versus Neji.
Retrieval as well. Retrieval versus matchups too. Yep.
Yeah, you have like a bunch of Sound Force shit.
The OG Jonin matchups like Kakashi or like Kabuto versus Zabuza, things like that. Guy versus Kakashi. Yep.
Yeah, that would be good. Shippuden would be like Itachi versus Pain. Heavy Sasuke versus like Orochimaru, even though I think Orochimaru beats him.
Yeah, Minato versus certain people as well. Like you could say Jonin, then eventually Fourth Hokage. Yeah.
Yeah, like Minato versus maybe Itachi. What else is another good one? Sage Mode Kabuto. There's tons of them. Sage Mode Kabuto versus Nagato.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of good ones. Shippuden probably has the most.
You could also technically argue Nagato versus Orange Mask Obito too, as well.
Yeah, that's another good one as well. Yeah. Between the top 3 and the Akatsuki, any one of those 3 against each other. Nagato versus Itachi, Nagato versus Obito, versus Itachi, Obito versus...
And like Pain, and you could theoretically do Pain versus Obito as well. The only issue though is Pain. Like, obviously there's pros and cons with that. Like you could still be in favor for Obito just being more better in scaling, right, or whatever, but overall, we do know bare minimum they're relative to Nagato's power, you know what I mean? And so if you connect those dots and whatnot and all that stuff, and we do see at least Konan do decently against Obito. I know he was holding back because he couldn't kill her too, but he could still move at full speed and shit and use his jutsu and shit and whatnot. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't think Obito would want to get hurt for no reason, right? And that doesn't make any fucking sense, So at the end of the day, you got to give at least some fucking cookie crumbs to Konan. But either way, all I'm saying is if Konan could do something at least, even better yet, even Danzo's henchmen were able to at least do I'm gonna be real with you. Obito obviously is more over them, but Obito did come to the conclusion let me just get rid of my arm. Because that Beatles shit is annoying as fuck. You know what I mean? Otherwise, if Obito didn't have to do that, he would just straight up speed blitz or do something whatever. Instead, he literally had to touch his arm or he had to touch his body to calm him. And because if he touches his body, it's poison. So overall, I'm saying if it's certain way weaker characters can at least be somewhat relevant or relative to him, right? If we have someone the past the pains. Come on, like I don't see why it would be like, oh, yeah, he's just getting straight up slammed or some shit. I think that's a little weird.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. Yeah. Um. Yeah, but Boruto. Okay, so Boruto topics. It's a good question.
Shishui versus
Currently,
certain Sasuke's is cool too. But...
oh yeah, Shisui versus like Heavy Sasuke or some shit. That'd be
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah. Like I think Five Kage
And
Summon beats him,
Boruto.
but yeah.
Yeah, Boruto. What would be good shit? I guess like fucking Momo versus Kaguya. That'd be cool to see
You could do
that.
Delta versus Momo
Um,
as well.
Delta versus Momo. Fucking Boro. Boro's kind of ass actually. Koji versus fucking. I mean, never mind. Jigen did whip his ass. I wouldn't say Jigen. We saw that.
Yeah, he only had 10% of his power, and he's still like, and he had to go
Yeah.
Sage mode to fight 10% too. He couldn't even beat base.
Maybe like
Jigen.
fucking. Yeah, and that was like a fucked up.
So I'll
Jigen.
say
Maybe
this: like
fucking,
Sage mode, Koji, Kashin Koji probably would be able to beat all the other outers though, or inners.
Yeah.
I don't think
would fucking say-
any one of them could be able to at least beat a 10% Jigen. I think that
Oh,
that
fuck
was
no.
impressive.
Yeah, fuck no. Yeah, it had no way in hell. Yeah,
Like the fact that he went
Um,
Sage mode and he did beat base 10% in Jigen of power, and then Jigen had to he had to use Karma, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he had to
and
use
then,
Karma.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
he beat him. So it's like overall, and actually, no. I forgot he couldn't use Karma because he was weakened. He had to go to his true form to like Ishiki. That's how that.
Oh
happened.
yeah.
So
He
the
used
fact that
weird,
he
like,
beat
yeah.
10%, Jigen with his hacks and Sage mode and shit. That is a fucking feat, though. I know he's not worth full power, but you get what I'm saying. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
so I don't think any other inner or outer fucking Kara is doing that shit,
Oh
bro.
hell no. Yeah, no other car member would have done as well as him.
Hell
I'd
no.
say that.
So,
Yeah, no. I would say another good fight.
what about? Do you think
Naruto
Orochimaru would have a chance against him? I think he actually might beat Orochimaru, to be honest.
Oh yeah, he probably would.
Right? Because like we see Orochimaru
yeah.
like be on a similar ground with that one weird Hiruzen copycat that has like regeneration.
Oh yeah,
Kashin Konji no diffed him. Like we see Orochimaru like he was superior than him, but he was at least relative. Yet Kashin Konji just no diffs him in base. So I think he would shit on Orochimaru.
Yeah, he probably would beat him. Naruto versus what would be a good fight? Fucking Naruto versus Fused Momo by himself. Maybe that would be interesting. Like full power though.
Because if Naruto's at full power, that would like he would actually be able to do it. Because Naruto was at less than 50% of his power. It was actually stated for
he like siphoned like half his shit out of him.
Yeah, he took half of his power of the Nine Tails and chart whatever all that shit, like his base and Nine Tails, and then Sasuke was also fatigued from using the teleportation and shit, and you name it. So like he's fighting basically two half power of them. And it makes sense because we literally see them at full power fighting against Jigen, right? Being relative, at least.
Yeah, full power.
So it's like the fact that they scaled a fucking Jigen at full power, being relative, clearly they would shit on Momoshiki if they were full power. So so I think like, if it's full power Naruto, he'd actually probably fucking slam Momoshiki. I'm not gonna lie. Even Fuse.
Definitely Taijutsu. That's a fact.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Like even if like Momoshiki goes like his transformation and shit, like Naruto could literally also transform, or worst case scenario, just stack Sage Mode like he did against Sasuke. He can do that too.
Literally.
And then he's definitely winning.
He definitely would.
Naruto would definitely win. Regardless how you think the difficulty would be, I think he would be able to, it would be a low or mid diff. That's it. And that's due to him fighting Jigen, Yeah.
Yeah. That would be cool to see actually. That's a fight I wish we could have seen.
Yeah.
A current fight I want to see would be fucking Code versus Kawaki, full power. I think Code probably beats him right now from what we saw, but I want to see that. That would be kind of cool to see. I think Boruto beats either one. We saw what he did to Code. He fucking fodderized his ass in base, but
actually,
I do want to see those guys.
I forgot, Jay. We to some degree we kind of saw what we were talking about before with Naruto and like Momoshiki. Like Sasuke, to be fair, he wasn't at full power again because he did teleport, but he's not like drastically away, right? You know what I mean? So. Because we've seen that Sasuke, when he's really fatigued, he's over here like getting fucked up by Urashiki and shit.
Facts.
So so he still has his power, but he was able to fight two fucking aliens. That one big dude.
That was dope.
Yeah, he fought him and Momo, and then eventually conceded. It's like, if I keep fighting, I'm gonna lose. So that was also impressive. So furthermore, once again, like that's why like if Naruto was at full power, bro. Like I just,
Yeah,
I don't know.
that shit's fire.
Yeah,
Yeah, when they're at full power, they're
they're
pretty fucking
cracked. Yeah.
powerful. Yeah. So those are some of the best debate topics, I'd say. To be fair to Kurama, I do think he's pretty nerfed in the mental scape. Sage Naruto is whooping his ass, but KCM Naruto got bullied by the Bijou, whereas Kurama beat them by himself. Oh, you mean when Naruto KCM got bullied by the Bijou? Oh, when he was fighting the Obito. Um, I
Wait.
think
What
they
is he talking about?
probably
Huh? I'm lost.
said, to be fair, I think he means when he fought Sage Naruto.
Oh.
He was nerfed. He had chains, right? I think in there.
Yeah, like this is what happened basically. I've seen that fight multiple times because for other shit. Base Naruto gets absolutely
Yeah.
slammed. He can't do anything. He just gets blitzed and shit, and Naruto's talking shit. Then Naruto does Sage mode, and then his mom has to help him in order to have so
Use
his
the
mom
fucking
has to
chains.
help. Then he goes
Yeah.
Sage mode, and then he also is able to stack Sage mode with his fucking clones, which he can only do that in the dream world. He can't do that in the real world.
Yeah.
So that was another
Yeah.
advantage he had as well. And so he was able to pressure the Nine Tails. But basically, the Nine Tails was still he was still over, but he was at least being relative and giving pushback, right? And then his mom helped even more, and then he did the tug of war, so whatever. So he doesn't technically scale to the Nine Tails. He had the help from his mom,
Yeah, he does it.
and he was
Yeah,
only
no,
relative, and he was still losing with the help as well. But
Yeah.
if we compare Minato in the Dream World as a teen, winning right with Kushina's help, right in base with an incomplete Rasengan, I will say that
fucking
is
Bijou
way
bomb.
better than Sage Mode Naruto in performance. He's fighting
Oh
against
yeah,
half.
way better.
Yeah.
Way
And
better.
Kushina only
Yeah.
had less chakra as well. I think it was like a fucking fraction of her chakra.
Yeah, and he was a fraction of himself too. He was like a fucking fragment.
Yeah, so
Dude,
that's what I'm
fucked up.
saying. So yeah, Minato definitely performed way better as a team. But yeah.
Way better. Yeah, it's not even close actually.
And Minato was
If
injured. He was poisoned. He was fatigued. So
yeah, exactly. If 19 Fingers Akuna went full power against Gojo, do you think Gojo would compete and show relativity? Oh, you mean without Mahoraga? I think he would compete. There could be some arbitrary level of relativity, but I still think he'd lose. I think what would happen is Sukuna would outlast him. They would do the domain clashes. His cursed energy would begin to deplete. And I think Sukuna just has more tools in his arsenal. And at the end of the day, I think eventually Infinity would fall, and he would take him out. I think either way he'd outlast him. He wouldn't be able to handle Sukuna, in my opinion. So I think he'd compete though. I don't think he'd get fucking slammed or anything, but he would lose either way, in my opinion. So. Yeah, one member of the Justice League has to protect you while the others are after you. Who are you choosing? I'm taking my chances with Batman. With prep time, Batman.
yeah,
Without prep time,
I would say Superman.
probably fucking Superman. We could just fly away.
Yeah.
Fucking go to
He'd be
fucking
way
some other
faster.
galaxy
Yeah.
or some shit.
He doesn't even have to fight.
Yeah, Flash can't fly. So I mean, Flash could go back in time or some shit and kill me before I'm born or some shit.
Actually,
But
yeah. No, now thinking about it, I would probably say Flash.
yeah, maybe we could just run
Because
away
Flash
until
has
like
that fucking
or-
cracked hacks, bro. He can do all that time
Yeah.
and reality shit, dude. Yeah.
We can go to another dimension, or we could go back in time to like go live with the dinosaurs or some shit. I don't know, some shit like that. But prep time though, Batman. Yeah,
Yeah,
Batman,
absolutely.
prep
Yeah,
time.
Batman. If he has already his prep and stuff, which I'm gonna be honest with you, whenever we have even if it's it doesn't matter if it's composite or not, because every Batman and every fucking reset of all the reboots, the moment he has time, whether if it's middle period or end period, he already has his prep. So it would have to be like year one Batman or year zero. That and then hell no, would not pick that Batman. Even though he's still cracked, but it's just saying no, it would have to be middle
He's green.
point Batman and or end point Batman, and therefore he would have all the prep. Meaning you're good. There's no way you're dying. There's just no way.
Yeah. It was year one. He's too green, but after that, when he's like experienced,
Like the guy, the guy has a fucking bat suit that looks fucking badass. To where it's literally a contingency to where if he killed someone and never broke his code, it was designed to beat him and anyone else that gets in their way.
Yeah,
Like, it literally destroyed everybody. Like, and it's just this random-ass fucking suit just sitting there for Batman to beat him up.
He has, like, fucking suits that beat, like, galaxy-level people.
Yeah,
like,
he has all that, too.
Shit.
Yeah, like, then he has, like, another suit that literally has Element X on top of something else, which basically gives him omnipotence. He can literally just do whatever the fuck he wants, create anything, and literally he can beat whatever. Like, the suit is absolutely the most powerful crack fucking suit. Like, one of the strongest beings in the multiverse literally compliments him and says, you are the most intelligent mind and have created the most dangerous, most powerful like armor to exist. Like it's an incredible like that's the guy that's complimenting him. It's like some moderate shit to guy like you are the strongest I've ever fought or some shit.
Yeah, without prep time, Flash because he could just run away, just
Yeah,
get the fuck out
exactly.
of there. But
Yeah. So.
we're not gonna beat them, but we could run at least.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. Like,
you know who
that's what
also
I'm saying.
blocked?
Like, so it's like if we're trying to survive, like what you asked, like it's Flash no matter what. But if it's Batman with prep, then yes, we would do that. So.
Yeah, because at least he could beat them. Who do you know who also blocked an attack from Stage 1 Rinnegan Madara? Shikaku. Oh, that's true, huh? Yeah. Would Sakura be more respected by the fandom if
Yeah,
you
but
gave her the same
that Shikaku is actually more impressive because he actually had a Rinnegan though. So.
Yeah. The same feats, but she came from the Senju or Uzumaki clan. Oh, it should be more respected if she was from them? She was fucking annoying anyway. I think we would have been annoyed by her regardless.
Oh, and that's another thing too. I forgot to mention, Jay. That's why Shikaku is so fucking cracked because like, actually, how did they go back? Either he had the Rinnegan or he didn't. I don't remember. But what I do know is he did the Susanoo attack. Like he activated his Susanoo and it's alive, by the way. And he threw his Susanoo attack at Shikaku, and Shikaku blocked that shit effortlessly. And that just goes to show you how crazy the durability is for Shikaku. Like, so like if he's able to block attacks from someone like Madara, you know what I mean? Like. That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, that's why when it comes to other characters, like, having to fight against Shikaku and shit, like, you really think, like, their AP could do shit. It would have to be hacks, you know? So.
Yeah. You can't prove the zombie apocalypse to anyone, and you know the military bases won't let any civilians in. How would you prep? So if I can't convince anyone and the military base won't let anybody in, I'd probably try to stockpile and get as many guns legally and even illegally if possible as I can. I would leave this area, go to like a remote, either that or go to a fucking island. Just stay there.
Yeah,
Go to somewhere remote.
the best
and
thing is
desolate.
an island, or you try to build your own army and team. But then again, that's really hard to do because, like, you would have to have really
people.
incredible leadership skills and be like a tyrant. Like, you have to have that fear element as well.
Yeah.
So.
You'd have to convince people, and you'd have to have the leadership skills.
Yeah.
Yeah, so fucking either an island or like a fucking like desolate wasteland somewhere in like the middle of fucking nowhere, like Desert Valley or some shit.
No.
But if I only have 2 months, fuck man,
like
that'd probably be an island.
To minimize the risk and like the most safest would be the island, definitely. But
Yeah,
it is going to be problematic because a lot of people are probably going to have similar ideas though. So it's like you basically would have to be really fucking careful. Like not only do you got to deal with all the dangers of the ocean, right, and shit.
Yeah, exactly.
But you got like when you get to the island, you got to make sure like no fucking weird tribe people are there that are trying to eat you or kill you too. You know, there's that as well.
Bro,
you know, and if they're not there, then you obviously got to make sure there's no zombies. You still don't want to like be naive and underestimate. And people might also be there. So if there's people, guess what? You got to fucking leave and find a different island. Otherwise, you're fucked.
Yeah, because also there's a risk of me trying to tell people they're going to think I'm fucking stupid and send me to like a psych ward or some shit. Like, you're fucking crazy. Because I'm trying to tell them, like, oh, zombies are coming. Like, fucking. So I'd have to keep that in mind as well. They'd be like, let's send him to put him in a straitjacket. Like,
yeah, literally, bro. Or better yet, you try to tell like a fucking weird, tribe person, and he just looks at you all like, what the fuck, and then he just like shoots an arrow at you.
Yeah, so I'd have to. It'd be hard. If I can't convince anyone, then fuck, dude.
I'm gonna be honest, like we just die, bro. Like I'm gonna be like you. It's such a low probability of surviving, man.
I could be a weirdo and just go out in the middle of nowhere by myself and just live out there like a fucking weirdo on my own. But I'd probably go crazy, man. I'd be like, fuck this. I don't want to live here anyway. So
that's another element too. Like you could be in survival mode. But eventually, your mental health is still in effect as well. Like you'll start getting lonely. Like especially if you're used to having a girl around you too. Like you're probably gonna want to have a girl to like still be to do shit, like be a human being, right? So it's like overall, like I don't know, bro. It's just like there's so many things you gotta combat. It's urges, mental, physical, fucking.
It's like Will Smith when I Am Legend when he was talking to the fucking mannequins because he was losing his fucking mind.
Yeah.
What's up, Bill? What's going on, man? Like he's the fucking mannequin he's talking to.
Yeah, when he sees the mannequin move because they're being smart and trying to play him.
He's like, are you lying to me, Frank? I was like,
he gets up and he's like, no.
He's like, Frank, are you fucking lying to me, dude? He's like fucking all pissed
literally,
about
like he
that's
started.
me.
Yeah, that's how it started. Yeah, that's how it was. Like he gets out of the car. and like I think the first thing he says, he's like, "What the fuck?" And like he gets out of the car, he gets his assault rifle, starts pointing. He's like, "Frank, you better tell me who you are right now." Like, he just starts going crazy. And the moment he just ignores him because it's a fucking mannequin, then he starts screaming and pointing and just saying, "No, no."
Yeah, he starts shooting everywhere. He like shoots at the buildings and shit.
Yeah,
I was
the
like,
man
oh.
lost it, bro.
Yeah, and then he got booby trapped. I think like a booby trap got him and he
Yep.
hit his head or some shit. I was like, damn, bro. That'd probably be me. I'd have like fucking mannequins in the corner and shit. I'd be like, what's up, Bill?
That's what I'm saying. Like, and bro, like the craziest
Oh my
thing
God.
is, realistically, we really can't speak how we would be. Like, you just don't know until you're put into that environment. You know what I mean? So
Exactly.
it's like unfortunately, that's just how it is. Like, there's no way to like sugarcoat or bullshit. You just don't know. You would have to go through that first in order to really know how you would respond to it. You know, so
Yeah, it'd be rough, dude.
like,
Yeah, especially if no one
there's
believes
just
you.
so
You gotta-
many elements. Like overall, bro. Like I said, we're more than likely dying, you know, or we lose our fucking
Yeah,
minds in the
right.
process.
Yeah, especially if no one fucking believes you. Like, you're fucked, man. I mean,
Right.
you're gonna be on your own. Which generation do you think is stronger, Naruto's or Boruto's? Oh, it's not even close. Fucking Boruto's.
Oh yeah,
Not even
bored. So
close.
they fucking just it's just
Boruto
straight
alone.
power cliffing, dude. It's not even.
Boruto would
It's
solo Naruto's generation by himself.
yeah.
Uh,
Like and once
I'd
again,
choose
like
March.
if you're really being generous if you or not generous, but if you take a Boruto even further to where you think fucking
Yeah.
like Boruto's already 6 past level, like when he's fighting against Momo and shit and whatnot, which once again is an inconsistency, but what's it called? But if you like take that and then correlate that scaling to any other character he has interactions with, which would be Jugo, you name it, Konohama or whatever, that would just upscale everybody at that point. You know what I mean? And then they would
Literally.
all just
Yeah,
fucking
no.
be slamming Naruto Shippuden characters or part 1, you know? So
Yeah, it'd be terrible. I'd choose Martian Manhunter to protect me. He can lose telepathy on the rest of the league, and if that doesn't work, he's at least as strong as Superman.
yeah,
Yeah, if the
not
entire
Flash
league's on
though,
his ass
bro.
though, fucking what's gonna happen is Batman is gonna tell Flash, hey, throw this this fucking mock cocktail at his
Yep.
ass and set his ass on fire.
No,
And
no,
that's what
no,
they would
that's
fucking do.
another problem too. Like what they also like forget. Like what actually I don't remember the question exactly. Like is it all the DC people trying to kill you or Naruto?
I think he said Justice League characters.
Okay, yeah. So
So
that would
everyone in
also
Justice
count
League,
Batman,
yeah.
which would now that means he would have prep time as well. And so
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I would say prep time Batman, no matter what. Then at
He'd
this
have a
point.
fucking flamethrower. He'd be like, "Go take this motherfucker
Yeah,
out."
like because like even if we have Martian Manhunter, Batman could use prep time. We're fucked somehow. Or Flash, like we said before, can manipulate reality or time. We're fucked.
Yeah, literally. What they would do is like in that movie, when they had like this pill that set Martian Manhunter on fire and he
Yeah.
couldn't put it out. Even when he jumped in a lake and it still wasn't put out,
Yeah,
he was
and
fucking dying.
it
I
was
was
in his
like,
drink. It was nanites that it was
yeah,
fire nanites that
nanites.
Batman made, and fucking
Yeah,
when he drinked it, it was like infinite on. Oh, excuse me, it was like infinite fucking being on fire. Like it was like Jiraiya's Sage Mode of Jigen, basically. It would never go away.
yeah, he would be fucked, dude. Fuck no. That's what Batman would do. He's like, oh, okay.
And to be
Here's
fair, like it doesn't hurt him, but it's a psychological W. Like he just breaks.
yeah. So
you know?
he would just torture him forever. Yeah. Batman, how would you react if Jay told you there was a zombie apocalypse coming? Oh shit.
Bruh, if Jay told
Oh
me
my
that,
god.
like, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, I
Yeah,
know Jay
prove it.
so like well enough to the point where I would know if he's fucking trolling or if he's being dead ass. And the way Jay is as a person, if he's being dead ass, like that means he would have to have like some pretty fucking strong evidence. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
like that's something he wouldn't even lie about that. So like, if he actually told me. I would believe, but I would be curious. I'm like, okay, what the fuck's going on? Like, show me what you. And the moment I see that, I'm like, oh, we're dead. I'm like, oh, it's nice knowing you,
Bitch
Jay.
Yeah,
Like, don't get me wrong. Like,
I don't
I
know
would
if
try
I'd be
to
able to tell
like,
people.
I'd try to like link up with Jay or whatever and try to figure shit out. You know what I mean? And go from there, or just like start planning in some degree before everything really starts popping off and whatnot. But
Yeah.
nothing. Like, I'm sorry, but that's just nothing said. Like, there's just so many probabilities at that point where everything's just gonna start going fucking crazy. And like, it's just
Yeah,
it is what it
exactly.
is. Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be a shit show. Galactus versus Darkseid depends on versions. I think like typical mainstream. I mean, they're both around the same tier. Darkseid though, he takes over like sectors of the galaxy
Yeah.
or the universe. Galactus eats planets. Um,
I
Probably
think
say dark
Darkseid would
side.
probably.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on the version of Darkseid. That's the
Yeah,
problem. Like,
version
cause
definitely
yeah,
matters.
because
Yeah.
Darkseid for most of the time is always fucking nerfed. Like he's not in his strongest form because he has like astral projections of himself that are all over
Yeah, he
like
does. Yeah.
every. They're like in every universe and shit or whatever. Like through the multiverse. Like there's so many versions
Yeah.
of him. So like if it's like maxed out Darkseid where all of them are combined as one and he's not like separating his power, he's basically using Shadow Clone Jutsu. Is basically what I'm getting at. You know,
Yeah.
everywhere. Like if he wasn't doing that, then Darkseid for sure. But if it's
Yeah.
not like peak powerful Darkseid, or better yet, even his strongest forms, which are like omnipotence, then
Yeah, literally.
fucking yeah, then he wouldn't win. Like because the problem
He has
with
like that
Darkseid is like
fucking
he fucking scales
yeah.
to like people like Superman, you know, or other people, whatever, blah blah, you name it. And those are strong people. Don't get me wrong, but like Galactus, I think he's one of like the heavy hitters in Marvel. Like he's up there with like the other
Yeah, he is.
celestial beings and shit, and so on and so forth. He's not omnipotent, I know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, yeah,
But he's
he's
no
not, yeah.
joke. You know.
He has like cosmic energy and shit.
Yeah,
So
like he's
yeah, it
yeah,
just
yeah,
depends.
he could casually eat
Yeah.
planets. He can fight all the heavy hitters, you know, and other fucking people. Like it's like I would have to do more homework. But if I am correct and he is able to fight like really powerful people in the Marvel, and then like obviously at that point, yeah, Darkseid probably loses. But it depends on the
Yeah,
versions. Like I said, they're all
yeah.
composite
There's versions
characters.
of both.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're both composite characters.
Like
And there's versions
Darkseid
of
could
each
be
other
able to
that can
beat
beat the other.
Galactus at certain points, vice versa. It
Yeah,
ultimately really depends. If we take them at
they're
their most
both like in
strongest
that.
forms, Darkseid. So
Yeah, and they're both like those like Galaxy Plus universe around that
yeah,
level
like and
conquerors.
that's
Like both
another
are like
problem too.
yeah.
Like for all because there's so many fucking comics. I can't even keep up anymore at this point. So it's like there could technically even be a version of Galactus that's now finally over Darkseid's most strong. Like you know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. It's things are always fucking changing and shit. You know, so.
All the time.
You know, all the
Yeah, all
time.
the time.
Like for instance, like Iron Man, he had all these other crack suits, but then like now his what I saw most recently, and for all I know now he could even have something beyond this. But what I saw most recently, it was literally fucking it was like a cosmic Iron Man suit where he had actually had omnipotence, and he was able to fight another omnipotent being. But then the living tribunal came down and bitched them both and put them in their place. And he's like, "Hey, if you guys keep fucking fighting, I'm gonna fucking kill you both." You know what I mean? And then they had to calm
Yeah.
their shit down. So he has limits still, but the fact that he's able to fight omnipotent people at that point, once again, like obviously that Iron Man will be able to beat a lot of Batmans or suits or a lot of other people, whatever, you know, and then so on and so forth. Like so that's a little tug of war game where basically you're always playing with Marvel and DC.
Yeah,
They're composite characters.
yeah, like we always say.
Yeah.
Exactly. Composite characters makes it more abstract. It makes it more ambiguous.
Yeah.
That's the problem. So we'd have to like pick a specific version against each other, and then
Exactly.
we'd be able to give a better answer. So, yeah, exactly. What's your opinion on Gohan versus Goku? Do you think it's an ass pull that Gohan can keep up with MUI? Uh, from my subjective lens, yes, it is kind of an ass pull. Like you just got this magical power up that like fucks with MUI,
Yeah.
but Gohan does have the latent potential. Ever since he was a
Yeah.
child, we saw even since when he blitzed Raditz, he was a fucking child
Yeah.
blitzing a fucking
Like
weak Saiyan. You know, he's always been that way.
he's
always
he's
been that
literally
way. So,
Boruto in a regard, to be honest. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, basically fucking Boruto. You know, 5 years old, whatever. I think he was a fucking toddler when he blitzed Raditz. You know, then he fucks up Cell with the rage, and then he fucking against Boo, he gets he gets like ultimate
so it's like
Gohan.
the logic is there, the consistency is there too. It's like, so it's
Yeah.
not like a complete like what the fuck, but and at the same time, technically, you could even argue in favor to where people could actually be mad that he wasn't actually over Goku and not just beating him up.
Yeah,
You know?
because that was a possibility.
So-
That was a possibility.
Because like especially
Yeah,
with Dragon
so-
Ball Z, the whole trend where he was way over Goku and everyone with Super Saiyan 2, you know, so
Yeah.
overall, like it is what it is. Like you could advocate for either side, but it is weird at the same time because once again, you're talking about Ultra Instinct, which is like an extremely rare transformation, extremely hard to master and use whatever and exploit.
Yeah.
Even the gods of destructions can't fucking even
Literally.
be able to do shit like that or whatever,
Yeah.
blah blah. And mind you, they use like God Key, which is a whole other level of realm of power, you name it. And then you incorporate. So it's like it is really like what the fuck. Like Gohan had this all along. Like you're talking about a power that is like that fucking high. Like imagine
God
Gohan doing
level.
that shit in Dragon Ball Z, bro. Like, what do you do?
Oh my god.
What do you do?
Yeah, no. He's always had that lane
So
potential.
yeah, so
Do
it
I
is
like
weird
it?
in
Not
that regard.
necessarily.
But yeah,
Yeah, it's weird in the sense that like he didn't earn it. I get that.
yeah,
Like it's annoying. But that's the same shit with Broly. Like his ass
yeah,
fucked up both Goku and Gohan and Vegeta in like a few minutes. Like
yeah.
it's fucking, and he's never trained like properly.
That,
Like
that's
he just
just how
fucking
that's
bulked
how
him up.
Dragon Ball always been. You just have natural geniuses that just there you go.
Yeah,
You know, like
even
fucking.
Frieza, 4 months.
Look at
He got,
Piccolo.
yeah, Piccolo. Now that's an ass pull. Why the fuck did he get levels of fucking Goku and Gohan? That doesn't make sense to me. But that's even worse than fucking Gohan. He doesn't even
You're
have
not
lane
wrong.
potential. What the
Yeah, you're really not wrong. Because,
that
like,
doesn't
at
make
least
sense.
with Frieza, at least with that motherfucker, he went in a time chamber and trained his ass off. You
Yeah,
know?
he trained his ass off for 10 years. That's fine. But fucking Piccolo? I don't understand that. I like Piccolo, but that doesn't make fucking any sense.
I'm gonna
at
pull a
all.
six line when him and Swag were yelling at each other. You think that fucking green bitch is better than Infinity War?
That green piece of shit is what he said.
Yeah.
That shit was fucking funny having both of them on.
So good.
2 donuts from two. I appreciate that, Marcus and Kedrick again. Saiyans versus Vultramites. The average Saiyan versus the average Vultramite. Okay, so average Saiyan versus average Vultramite. The average Saiyan's power level. I know King Vegeta's was like 10K or some shit. That was the elite. So I would say average Saiyan is probably like in the single digit thousands.
Yeah.
So 4 digits. That's still above planet level, right? Because Roshi was able to destroy the moon.
The best
His
feat that
power
I
level
know
was
of for
over.
like because this is the problem with the Virtumites. Like I haven't seen everything, but like they're really cracked and they're like basically like Kryptonians, right? They're really strong, fast, whatever, durable, you name it.
Yeah.
But the only problem is there's only like very select few that are like really cracked, right? And while all the others are
Like
like
Omni-Man.
well, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like while all the others are like fucking fodder and shit or whatever, or they're like mid.
Yeah.
And I think I could be wrong. Jay can correct me, but I think with the Sands, there's way more high tier Sands, though. You know what I mean? Or
Yeah, especially in
you know,
comparison to Vultramites.
yeah,
For
exactly. So like, and then they also
Yeah.
use Ki as well and like blast and shit, so they have range attacks while they are
Yeah,
hand to hand
exactly.
combat.
Yeah.
So that's another disadvantage. So
Yeah.
if I'm being honest in superiority, I would say the Sands, because like they just have more
Yeah.
advantages, whatever, and I think it's more frequent for them to have way more heavy hitters than the Virtumites. You could say the Virtumites are probably more intelligent, you know.
Yeah, I'll probably give him that. At least
But
that. Their
overall, like,
civilization is more.
yeah, but I don't. They're not like intelligent like Batman or Iron Man or
Oh no,
all
no,
this
no.
other shit to where
Yeah,
they can deal with these fucking power hitters. Like that's the problem. They're more intelligent in like strategy, war, or conquering planets, or psychological manipulation and things like that. So overall, like that's yeah, I would lean towards with the Sands. The only way you can really advocate for the Virtumites is like basically a backpack W. But then again, it kind of goes back to the notion where if there's way more heavy hitters for the Sands, eventually, even if you have the strongest Virtumite, once he starts getting tired, and beating up all these people, he starts fatiguing, getting weak, and he dies, right? So
Yeah.
so
Like I would say 1-on-1 on counter, I would say the average Saiyan would be the average Vultramite. I think
yeah.
the power level thing it reinforces that. Just as scaling in Dragon Ball in general. I mean, you have fucking humans like Roshi destroying moons, and he's
Yeah.
ass compared to like
And then
the average Saiyan.
those guys are like fucking upgrade versions of humans.
Yeah, literally. So I'd say Vultramites would lose to the Saiyans. You said the strongest Saiyans would literally.
I'll say this,
Goku.
Omni-Man, like, I think one of his most craziest feats is just, like, I actually didn't know about this at first, because I heard a bunch of stuff originally, but I actually seen it, and I seen the anime of it as well, but he was literally standing in a black hole. He was just sitting in that shit.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
That shit was
like,
pretty
and then he was gonna literally throw himself inside of the black hole to kill
like, gonna
himself.
kill
So a black hole can kill him,
yeah.
but he can deal with it to a certain extent, like on the outer side.
Yeah. That shows his speed at least.
Yeah,
Which is
and
pretty
it shows
impressive.
his speed or whatever you name it. But he was gonna kill himself. So meaning it is so that's another. Don't get that twisted. Cause a lot of people try to rat and be like, "Oh, he can durability of a black." No, like he literally was going to kill himself.
No.
And then the aliens saved him and said, "Hey, like, what you doing, bro? Chill out," And then yeah, he went on and reformed himself, whatever, blah blah. So like things like that, and then if you take like the most powerful Virtuemite, and I don't know anything about him, but if you go watch Chuck, he's a YouTuber. He's done videos on the guy. Yeah, shout out to Chuck. His name's like Drag or something like that. I heard he is fucking cracked. So if we if we take the two strongest Virtuemites, which would be Omni Man, Drag, and then there's like one more other guy that's even more superior than Omni Man, but he's not superior than Drag. Drag is basically the Madara of the Virtuemites. That's all I'm saying. But either way, if we take those three, the most powerful, sure, they're gonna shit on like all the average Saiyans probably. But once again, there's way more higher big hitters in Saiyans, and eventually they would tire, and they're just gonna get overwhelmed, and they would die,
obviously,
you know. So.
Yeah, obviously Goku now would literally one.
Oh yeah, and Goku just one shots every single one. Yeah, I don't even think Thrag is anywhere near that. Like, you know,
they would even hurt him. Like they'd fucking try to, like, they would do like that. It would be like the Beerus treatment of Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Like they would punch him and he'd be like standing there like, what the fuck, bro?
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, if you guys want more like insight and pretty good scaling for Invincible, and like I'm eventually gonna do Invincible videos in the future too, but. Cause I just need to read the whole manga because the anime is extremely behind. I'm not waiting for that shit. It's so fucking
way behind.
Yeah, but I'm gonna read the manga, and then once I read the manga, I can give more, thoughts, whatever, blah blah. And I do know certain stuff because I've seen a couple videos when I stopped watching because I want to spoil things. But like I said, if you guys want to know more about Invincible, just check out Chuck. So.
Chuck has good shit with that. Yeah, definitely.
I think he even did Dragon Ball versus Invincible too for one of his videos.
Yeah, so. He did a video on Superman versus Omni Man. We all know how that is.
Oh yeah,
he did a video on that.
And Superman shits on Omni Man. I don't give a fuck. Yeah.
Oh god,
fucking shits on it. If we take the most powerful, shits on him. Shits on him.
It would be off. It would be
like you would literally have to pick the composite version of Superman where it's contentious, or Omni Man would scale.
Yeah. Hot take. I think Boo is the best Dragon Ball villain of all time. That's fair. I think it's probably Frieza, but I think Boo, Cell, and Frieza are all in contention for sure.
Boo's my favorite. Boo's my favorite.
Yeah, Boo, like we always say, he's like a force of nature. He was like a primal figure, while Cell and Frieza were more like sentient,
and
malicious
smart
people.
Yeah,
smart. Boo was just like a force of nature that ran through fucking.
Goku needed Super Saiyan 3, bro. Enough said.
Yeah, enough said. So,
and that was to be relative, not even to scale over.
Yeah,
it was either equal or relative. I don't remember. So.
Yeah, Green Goblin versus the Joker. One-on-one encounter, no prep time. Obviously, Green Goblin would slam him because he'd have his glider, his bombs. But let's say it's like a war. The thing about Joker is, if he finds out Green Goblin's like psychological profile, and he knows that Green Goblin has like this bipolar disorder, he's gonna exploit that. And probably use tactics to break him mentally.
Yeah, there's so many ways you could beat him with prep time. It's psychologically, fucking gadgets, weapons, whatever you name it, traps. Guys, in Injustice, he literally made a trap for the Flash, and he was able to kill him instantly.
Yeah, literally. So with prep, Joker. But if it's a one-on-one encounter, obviously Green Goblin has he has like that fucking
if we take the most general composite form, especially if it's early Joker, obviously he's getting beat the fuck up in a room. Like, what the fuck does he do, right?
You just bomb him.
Now if it's like towards like endgame Joker, or the middle, which would have like some correspondence to Batman in a similar certain scaling regards, and obviously nowhere near as like proficient in combat hand to hand and things like that, or what you name it, but he's still pretty good or in a similar ballpark to where you could actually outscale Green Goblin physically as well. Like, it's crazy to say, but Batman and Joker have some insane speed and strength scaling towards the middle and end of their comic versions of them.
God, but those two are just
like Batman without a bat suit. Like it was in the Endgame comic. He was able to literally speed blitz and predict where Flash was running, a bloodlusted Flash that was controlled by Joker, and punch him in the face and knock him out. He was talking with Alfred, and he literally says, "Alfred, hold on, something's wrong." Turns, decks him in the face, and knocks out Flash. That is ridiculous.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. What's going on, Chidori? Goku uses Kamehameha and kills the Ultramites. Oh god, he'd fucking one-shot the whole planet. Yeah, that'd be awful.
He would destroy
I think
them all.
Chatsu can solo the Voltramite race. You mean Conquest? Yeah. Thrag is the strongest Mark and Omni-Man relative in the comics. I haven't read that far. My favorite villain in DB so far is Goku Black. Goku Black is cold, bro. For sure. He's cold. Name a character in Marvel Comics more evil than Darkseid. Character more evil than Darkseid.
Uh,
A
Joker.
villain. In Marvel Comics.
Oh, Marvel. Carnage.
Let's see. Yeah, Carnage is definitely more
Yeah, yeah,
evil.
no, yeah.
He's
Because
just another.
Darkseid, he likes to just rule, or he'll be nice, or sometimes he'll be like, respectful. He'll even acknowledge people too,
Yeah,
like Batman, like you know what I mean? Like he'll be like, oh damn, you're really that guy, bro. So like Carnage
yeah.
though, he just wants to kill shit.
Carnage is like kind of like Joker in a way,
Yeah,
similar.
yeah,
Green
yeah. And
Goblin's
then
probably
Green
more
Goblin,
evil.
obviously, he's more evil. He's very sadistic,
Yeah,
fucking.
he's sadistic as
Yeah.
well. There's probably a few that you could list that are pretty fucking like
Yeah.
fucking
You could
assholes.
do
Um,
fucking that one guy. I think he's called Nor or some shit. Where he had the Necro sword and he's just killing
oh, that guy's a
everybody.
fucking asshole too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy. There's a few guys. You just gotta find the malicious ones, the one like the sadistic ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they exist. Carnage, Green Goblin, those guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
So who you got? Goku. Goku or Gohan this next chapter? Uh,
I think Goku.
I have a feeling. Yeah, either I have a feeling it might be a stalemate the way it's going
Yeah, it
because
could be
they
that too.
haven't even
Yeah.
hit each other. Yeah, because they haven't even touched each other.
Like
Like they're obviously they're
unless
barely starting.
Goku has a next like form up with UI somehow or some shit, or like some other crazy
Yeah,
ability that he can do, and that gives him the advantage, Or if he can somehow like
yeah.
stack fucking I don't know Kaioken with that or some shit. I don't know.
It's gonna be interesting to see.
Uh,
It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell who they're gonna
yeah,
give it
very
to.
hard.
My
It's
gut says
contentious.
my gut says Goku because of how Toriyama is,
Yeah.
but who knows? It might be Gohan. I don't
'Cause
know. It's
that's the
hard to
thing
tell.
too. Goku is always beating Gohan. The only time Gohan was
Yeah,
over was when he was dead, so he couldn't train, or he could train, but
yeah,
he was still over because he had Super Saiyan 2, and during the Cell shit.
yeah, exactly. So my gut says Goku just because Toriyama's the way he is,
Consistently, yeah.
but who knows? Maybe he'll change things, but we'll see. How did Flash not see Batman's punch and dodge it? Wouldn't the punch be moving in slow motion? Inconsistency, bro. And my only answer is it's Batman. That's all I'm saying.
It's Batman. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Like, there's two ways you can
Plot
go
armor.
about it. Like, and I completely
Yeah,
like. I'm not even a dog you for that. Like,
I
it
agree
is
though.
very,
I agree.
yeah, it is very retarded and
Yeah.
weird. But the problem with Batman is, for whatever reason, the writers will make him scale to people when he needs
Plot
to.
armor.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
just it's blatantly plot. Or
Yeah.
sometimes they'll give some logic to it. Like, I do know during Endgame, like before they're about to reboot everything, like he falls, like the cave collapses and there's like a pool of dilithium or some shit, whatever, and that goes into like his
Uh,
bloodstream and whatnot, and it heals his body, but it also amps him, so he kind of becomes like a super soldier type Batman, basically, right? And then everything else
yeah.
goes, and so sometimes they actually do things to make it make sense, but other than that, most of the time they don't, and it's just he's Batman, So
Yeah, all I can really say is fucking plot armor because that is ridiculous. I
yeah,
agree with you. That's fucking
no, it was crazy.
fucking
Yeah,
ridiculous.
and that's my fault. It wasn't during Endgame because he beat the entire Justice League that are also bloodlusted. But he needed a suit for it though. What's it called?
Yeah.
He was still cracked though because without a bat suit, a bloodlusted Wonder Woman picked him up, slammed his face in concrete, and he didn't even bleed. So he's still cracked.
Yeah.
like that's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
he is
but
pretty bad.
but either way, it was in another comic. It was where Poison Ivy was controlling him, and it's like it was either part of Rebirth or it was part of New 52. I don't remember. But once again, like he was talking with Alfred, he's able to detect him somehow with no suit, no nothing, and he's like, "Hold on, Alfred," and Alfred's like, "Huh?" And then he just turns and decks him in the face and knocks him out. So.
Yeah, exactly. $5 again from Marcus. I appreciate that, brother. Let me put that on the screen real quick. How strong do you think a Saiyan Kryptonian hybrid would be? That's a great question. Just think about this. Think about
Cracked.
the DNA of both, right? So you have the ferocity amp
Fucking
aspect, right? When the
cracked.
more ferocious you get, and imagine sunlight also amping you. So imagine you have the ferocity amp, and you have solar radiation like
Yep.
saturating in your cells, and you get even more amped. So imagine
God.
just a cracked god, and let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's say that even kryptonite doesn't work because you're Saiyan. So imagine you're like Kryptonian,
That's
but
possible
you don't
too,
have
yeah.
that weakness because you're Saiyan. Um,
Like
and the most cracked version,
When Superman literally, like, if he gathers enough like sun shit, he doesn't have that weakness anymore. So
yeah,
theoretically, if he's a fusion of like what you're saying with the fucking with the fucking sands and their DNA, whatever, that could elevate him just enough to where he doesn't have that
Yeah.
weakness anymore either. You know, and they also, I
Yeah, he
think
had
they
like
also adapt as well. Like if they get beaten, they get stronger,
yeah,
and
he
stuff
gets
and
stronger.
whatever.
He's
So
like
yeah,
Doomsday.
yeah.
Like Doomsday. Yeah. So he'd have the ferocity amp, and he'd have like the ability to go saturate himself in the sun, which
Yeah.
he does in the comic books. Like when he goes Superman 1,000,000.
Even
Apparently he
just
was
being
in the sun
close
for
to
like a
it makes him more powerful. Like the more closer
yeah.
he
Apparently he
gets,
was in the sun. Yeah, he was like in the sun for like 1,000 years or something like that. And he
yeah.
came out like gold. He was
Yeah,
like golden because
it
of the
was
sun.
Superman 1,000,000.
1,000,000.
Superman 1,000,000. That's what it was. Yeah.
So imagine that, dude. That would be fucking crazy,
Oh
man.
yeah, no, like, you know, like that,
Um,
and that was, yeah, that Superman was really omnipotent. Nobody could fuck with him. Like, so like, and then you have Prime Superman, which is like ridiculously powerful. The one that could fight the Batman who laughs in like his strongest form,
oh
like the
god.
Darkest Night. Like,
Yeah.
bro, Superman Prime came out of nowhere and said, "Fuck you, Batman," in his omnipotence form, and just starts throwing hands. That's like, like.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
Superman
literally.
Prime is cracked. Superman is also cracked, but he holds back though. That's the only difference.
A lot.
And there's like
Yeah,
another
a lot.
Superman that's also released. I think it's like Armored Superman. So bottom line is, if we're taking the most peak Supermans, if we even like, I'll say this: if we would just remove Clark, right, and we either use Prime Superman or we use the one where he's in the sun with all that energy, and then give him also fucking the sand shit, nobody beats him. Nobody. So
Nobody. Yeah, no, you need like an omnipotent being to beat him at that point.
yeah.
Yeah.
You just need like higher
I think
omnipotence. That's all it is.
yeah. I think Baby's the most interesting villain in the franchise. Oh, he had a lot of potential. Baby was a great villain in Dragon Ball. Gildo versus pre-Warrick Naruto versus who's winning. He had a power level, I think 19,000 if I'm not mistaken, which is way above moon level. So he would solo the Naruto versus pre-Warrick.
Speaking of Master
Yeah.
Roshi, remember when that motherfucker had like a pseudo Ultra Instinct and was scaling the Jiren?
Oh yeah. I remember,
That
like,
shit
the
was
fucking, I think
crazy,
it
bro.
was Whis
all
or
the
Beerus, like,
gods
is he
were
using-
shitting their pants, and Whis is like,
He's like, what the fuck is this? Yeah, I remember that shit. He got like roids or some shit. That shit was crazy.
This shit was hilarious, bro. It's like,
Tom
what
Hart.
the fuck? Like, he's just that guy.
Yeah, Master Ultra Instinct with a calm heart should be better than True Ultra Instinct, which was boxing gas. So I feel like Goku's calm enough to be in MUI. He should stand a solid chance and adapt to Gohan, but it may just be a draw. Yeah, it's hard to tell, but yeah, I agree with you. My gut instinct tells me Goku.
All I'm saying, theoretically, he should be able to stack Kaioken though, if he can do with everything else.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be fucking crazy.
Because all Kaioken is basically the gates. You're just releasing your limits and, you know, just amplifying your body even further. It's not like it's like any psychic thing or whatever, blah, blah, you know, or anger with the sand
Yeah.
shit, you know? So,
Plus, he's still training. Yeah, facts. Who you got in Francis versus AJ? Honestly, dude, if you would have asked me this 6 months ago before the Fury fight, I would have said AJ for sure. But now, after the Fury fight,
yeah.
I think Francis is a better boxer than he's relative bare minimum to Fury. That you could say definitively, and I think he's better than AJ, even from a technical standpoint. Definitely power wise, we all know that. So I'd probably say Francis is going to beat him, probably via late round stoppage. But I honestly think there's even the possibility that he outboxes Joshua.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think he's that talented.
He has feet.
He's like, yeah, his feats. What he did against Fury, dude. I don't think world champions could do that to him. This guy performed better than fucking Wilder. Like, dude, holy shit, man. Like, this guy's
he
a
proved
monster.
a lot
So,
of people wrong that day, I'll say that.
yeah, I thought he was gonna get schooled, dude. That's what I thought, and I was proven blatantly wrong, dude. I can't believe what I saw. I still can't believe it.
It's rigged. Rigged.
Yeah, people are gonna say that shit's rigged. There's no way. Like, no, dude, he's just that good. And keep in mind, Mike Tyson's training him too. So
That makes sense.
yeah, so that's his sensei basically.
That's just sensei, yeah.
Yeah, but
he got the
literally.
Orochimaru training amp. Not
Teenage
even, bro. He got the
Mutant-
Sasuke training amp, bro.
Yeah, literally, he has like the fucking Orochimaru
Man is
amps,
Boruto right now.
Literally. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles versus the 4 Robins from Batman. I know there was a fucking crossover movie.
Yeah,
where
so
Batman
there was.
fought them.
Yeah, I've seen it. So there was a crossover. Basically, the Robin that was in there was Dick Grayson, but he was like Robin. He wasn't as
Grayson.
prime yet as Nightwing. So Nightwing would slam them.
Yeah.
What's it called? But that Robin, he was basically in a similar scaling, and he could fight all of them at once. at the same time and hold his own
Yeah.
pretty well, but then he was going to
Pretty sure
lose.
Batman did that too.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
Batman came and he beat them all easily, no diff them all.
Yeah, I'd say the Phil
Master
Robbins.
Splinter had to come and like stop Batman. He's like, "Hey, chill out, bro. Don't be beating up my turtles." And then Batman's like,
Yeah.
"What you gonna do about it?" And Batman was about to scrap at him, and Batman would have also beat up Master Splinter because we then eventually see Shredder fight Batman, and Shredder doesn't hold back. He always kills, while Master Splinter holds back. And Shredder went to fight Batman. Batman's beating the fuck out of him, bro. Like, mind you, a guy that normally gives Master Splinter an ass beating or just shits on the turtles all the fucking time, right? You know, so
Yeah, he like goes against all of them.
yeah.
All
So
the
like
time.
he beats the fuck up of Shredder, just dog washing him, and eventually like Shredder was at least relative, but he was getting beat up really bad and blatantly outskilled in hand to hand combat, and it makes sense. It's Batman shit, you know what I mean? What's it called? But then eventually Shredder was able to get like one plot lucky blow in the end, and he hits Batman just right, and then it's able to like stop Batman from like fighting anymore. And then Master Shredder has to leave because then like the turtles come and shit with Robin.
Yeah.
So like overall, like Batman is way superior. So if it's Batman, yeah. But if it's if it's the Robin at that point in that movie, no. But now if we take all the Robins at their peak, they would slam them.
Oh, they're slamming.
Now I don't know
Prime
the comics for the Ninja Turtles. I'm just going based off their performance in the movie.
I don't know anything about the comics.
So it maybe in the comics they might have a better chance, or maybe even be I don't know. But what I do know for a fact though is the Bat family is cracked when it comes to fighting
like
and shit.
Prime Damien.
Yeah, Prime Damien,
Dick,
Nightwing, but they're
Prime
fucking
Jason.
ridiculous, bro. Like.
Yeah, you'd have Jason Todd. You'd have
there's
Tim
even
Drake,
this one chick, Batwoman. Her name is Cassandra Cain. She's even better than Batman at fighting.
Oh yeah, she's done.
So
yeah, she's a dog too. Yeah, they would slam. Yeah, they would slam.
They would slam.
Batman got that Suicide Squad video game armor, but all the time. Yeah, dude, he always has plot armor.
Yep.
Basically.
Bro, he's
would
Naruto,
Superman
but
Prime be
24/7.
Yeah, literally. Would Superman Prime be able to contend with Cosmic Armor Superman at all, or is he getting fodder? Dude, Cosmic Armor Superman, he is like 6D. He's like 6D or some shit.
Yep.
So no, probably not. Yeah, I think he would fold any Superman. I think he fought like
Cosmic
multiversal
Armor and Prime would shit on all Supermans. Yep.
Oh god, he's like 6D or some shit. Like he's fucking cracked as shit. So, I remember people on Twitter flaming Troy for saying that the manga Roshi scaled to Jiren. Oh really? Oh my god. Francis should have default danced when he knocked down Fury. Yeah, facts, dude. He's not the type to show off like that, but yeah, Francis doesn't really show off too much, but yeah. They were arguing that Jiren was holding back against Roshi. Oh, he's definitely holding back. That's Roshi did.
Jiren was surprised though because I will say this: he scales to a holding back Jiren, which is insane. It's just like Jigen to Kakashi and Kojin all over again. Because when he did that shit, Jiren was like, "What the fuck? Like, how the fuck are you not getting slammed by me right now, bro? While I'm holding back."
Yeah, so ignoring Roshi punching Jiren and not breaking his armor makes him relative in AP and durability. Jiren held back the entire tournament until fucking till Ultra Instinct Goku. Like. And probably even arguably mastered.
Even with Ultra Instinct, like he was still holding back. He wasn't even going full yet.
He didn't go full power until fucking mastered. Yeah, he didn't go full power until mastered, basically. Doesn't Prime Nightwing scale above Prime Bruce in some continuities? No. Probably. I wouldn't be surprised.
What's it got like?
Most no, though.
So like consistency wise, like composite, whatever versions, whatever, Batman is always over, and it makes sense. It's Batman, right?
Yeah.
The narrative's always doing that. The only time Nightwing was over in a sense was when he beat him in the Batcave and they were just throwing hands like with no suits or whatever. And it was a test basically to test him because Batman's like, hey, like you needed to step your shit up and stop being a pussy basically. Nightwing got butthurt. Yeah. He's like, oh yeah, you're gonna talk shit, bet, let's throw hands. And then they fought, and then basically Nightwing wins in the end. But to be fair, Batman was testing him, and there was other things in context to where you could still argue he wasn't going fully all out. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
But the only problem, though, is then there's the author's statement where it says they both were going fully all out. So, like, it's kind of contentious, but that's, like, the only moment where you can give, like, a Nightwing W out of all the other 100-plus times Batman is slamming him. And mind you, that's while he's holding back. So...
There was this was a movie. I don't know if it's a comic book, but there's a continuity where Talia Ghul brainwashed
Yeah, and he
Bruce, and
shitted on him.
fucking Nightwing had to. Yeah, and then he had to fight Nightwing, and
Yep.
Nightwing, but he had help from Damian, to be fair. So there's another, I guess, arguable point where he was like relative, but again, he had help and shit.
Yeah, yeah, he was
Um,
relative, but he was still getting beat the fuck up. Like he broke his arm and
yeah, he was getting
everything,
fucked
and
up,
then he subdued
broke
him.
his arm and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so most of the time Bruce is winning. Let's just say that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, like Batman's
Uh,
always winning. Like, at the end
yeah,
of the day, guys, like Batman's not a god. Like consistency wise, he'll always have the most W's, right? Like if he has like a win loss, he'll
yeah.
be like 100-1, right? But that's the only reason why is because eventually writers just want to give like shining fucking armor plot moments for certain big characters. Like,
The
oh,
only guy
let's just
that,
give him a W
yeah,
now randomly, you know? Like,
I know the only guy's story that's progressing that may surpass him is Damian, obviously his
yeah,
son, but he's still
Damien. Yeah,
being.
that's
I think that's still being written.
always
Yeah,
hinted narratively and just shown. Like so for like when they eventually decide to finally end the torch for Batman and all these other characters, which
yeah.
I'm gonna be honest is gonna be a very very
It's gonna be
long
hard.
time because
Oh yeah,
people just cry about that shit. They don't want to move on. Or
yeah.
better yet, it may never happen. But if we
May
do,
never happen.
yeah,
Yeah,
if we do get comics that shows, if we at least just have future comics, regardless if they continue to have Batman stories, whatever, blah blah, of the past and shit, you name it. Damien is always being shown to be that guy. Like when we had Batman Beyond in the anime and the comics, he shitted on fucking Terry with a Batman Beyond armor
yeah, he
suit
did.
in base.
Yeah, he did.
He shitted
Yeah,
on him.
he's a fucking.
And then
He's
Bruce
like
had to come
the.
down from the Batcave. He'd be like, God fucking damn it! Like you have my DNA, whatever, blah blah. You know, and you're getting fucked up by my kid, bro. Like, all right, let me help you out and calm him
Yeah,
down.
yeah, literally, like Damien's the only one. I know his story's still being written. He's like the only one implied that maybe surpasses his father one day, but
Yeah.
we'll see. I mean. Yeah. $10 from Sir Ghost. I appreciate that, brother. Appreciate that a lot. Appreciate that, man. Check out General Chat and Shinobi's chat. Let me see what he's. Let me see. Shinobi's chat. Wait, what did he say again? Let me read that again. Uh, uh, yo, Batman. Check out Shinobi's General Chat.
Oh,
Shinobi's.
me?
Let me see.
What
Oh,
was
his
it?
pictures. This is pretty dope. Oh, his pictures. I see it. Oh, that's pretty
Okay.
dope for show. For show.
Oh,
Yeah, that's one thing.
stuff
That's
he
one thing.
drew. Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty dope. There's one thing I can't do is I can't draw for
Yeah, I
shit,
can't
so
draw
I
for
don't have
shit,
that
bro.
skill
Yeah,
at all.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty good, bro.
I have like doctor handwriting and
I'm be
dog
honest,
shit.
dude. You got the skill for it. I think you should, if you want to take that more seriously and make some moolah, is either go into like a institution or college or something or whatever or arts, and just go into
Yeah.
that and just keep pushing yourself even further. And you could probably be able to do some crazy shit, bro. So
Yeah, exactly. Let's see what you guys are saying here.
if you got potential, don't waste it.
Yeah, definitely. Replace the Saiyan invasion with a Vulturemite invasion at the beginning of DBZ. How would the Z Fighters fare? Goku would speed blitz all of them.
Oh yeah, like
Yeah,
DBZ
they wouldn't
slams them
have.
all, bro.
Especially if he uses Kaioken, where his power level gets to like over 18,000 or some shit. He's speed
Like,
blitzing.
bro, Jay, you remember when Omni Man had to like fly around like the world multiple times in order to destroy a city
Yeah.
with his speed? So it's like, so there's that, like, and which is really weird. Like you can at that point you can be like, wait a minute, like, wouldn't that make it like an inconsistency for the black hole? So there's two things: either it is inconsistency, or two, that was a weaker Omni Man. And so, meaning over in time, because we know people can get stronger, right? The Omni Man, where he's like having the black hole feet shit and whatnot, like that would obviously be like that. So if we're taking their strongest or whatever, it's still not like at that point, it's still like not really a fucking competition because I'm pretty sure Goku could also be able to withstand black holes like that and shit, whatever, blah blah.
Yeah, these guys are like way above planet level, and Vulturemites barely like together can conquer a planet. So nah, man.
Yeah, no, that is true. Like they literally sent them their strongest fucking members to conquer the planets, whether if it's with power,
Yeah.
and if they're not powerful enough, then they have to be a bitch basically and play behind the shadows and strategize, right? And then basically catch them with their pants down, and then rule over the planet.
Exactly.
And
It's not like they're like
yeah.
one-shotting planets or anything.
Yeah, exactly. No,
Like
no, hell no.
Roshi
That's
or
just not
Frieza.
demonstrative at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So these guys, we're already talking about power levels like hundreds of times higher than Roshi's was when he destroyed a moon. So like, yeah, nah, man, it's a different level.
yeah.
I do think there's also a narrative argument for Roshi scaling to Jiren, since his lesson to Goku about relying on skill is meaningless if he only performed so well against Jiren because he was at 1%. Yeah, Jiren was holding back, dude, for sure. I mean, it wasn't like he was remotely trying at that point. Still impressive because Roshi did
Yeah.
something, but he's not like you're ever a threat
Like,
to
hey,
hurt.
as crazy as it sounds, that Roshi at that moment would even dodge everything Super Saiyan Blue Goku was doing and shit.
Yeah, that was just an impressive moment that even impressed like fucking Whis and shit.
Yeah. Now
So yeah,
I think Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken would beat that Roshi still, maybe.
yeah,
What's it
probably.
called? But
Yeah,
any other version, like you'd be able to dodge that Goku too. Shit.
yeah. Cosmic Armor Superman stomps Superman 1,000,000. Oh yeah, dude, for sure. He's beyond 6D. He scales to the Overvoid, which is beyond fiction. Yeah, dude, he's fucking
What
cracked.
the fuck?
Yeah, he's fucking cracked. Toriyama did not need to cuck Raditz so hard by making Random Stableman exactly as strong as he was. That was a little disrespectful. I agree with you. That was a little disrespectful. They made Raditz look like a fucking pussy. He gets blitzed by a toddler, and then you make these Saiyaman like have equal power level to him. That is kind of disrespectful. I agree. Uh, yes, sir. Shout out to Sir Ghost, man. I appreciate you, so what
I
about
remember
the
seeing that
Namek
for the
versus
first time, and I'm like, wait, what the fuck is happening?
what about the Vultramites versus Namek? Oh, so like all the Namekians. Um, I mean the
Yeah.
top Namekians would fold the Vultramites, like King Piccolo.
Yeah.
That one dude. What was his fucking name from the fucking Namek saga? That one guy that was like kind of cracked. I forgot his fucking
Nappa?
name. No, he was
No.
he was a Saiyan too. I forgot
Oh.
his fucking name. I mean, not a Saiyan, a Namekian.
Huh. I don't
Forgot his
remember
fucking
his
name, but he
name.
would
I
slam the
know like King
Vultramites.
Piccolo and shit, but
Yeah, the Namekians would win because the top Namekians are just too powerful, and
yeah,
then they
like
have
yeah,
healing
it's
abilities with
that
Dende
like the
and shit.
best argument you could have for the Virtumites would be like, you know, if you think Omni Man, Thrag, and then like and the other fucking guy, I can never remember his name. If you think those three can
Yeah,
have any chance or whatever, because like I said, the best feat Omni Man has is the black hole ship, and then the other two are like way fucking beyond. Like well, Conquest is in a similar regard to Omni Man. So like, but he's still over, you know what I mean? But Omni Man's relative,
yeah.
and then Thrag is like way beyond. Like he's like moderate basically to them. So it's
Thrag is
like
fucking powerful.
yeah, so I'll say this: Omni Man and Conquest probably get slammed, but Thrag
Yeah,
probably could be
Piccolo
able to like
slam.
give him a run for their money, but then still lose, or maybe he could do it. But once again, I don't know
Yeah,
how strong that motherfucker is. I just know he's no joke though. So
yeah, exactly. Nail. Yeah, that's his name. There you go. Nail. Nail was a stud.
yeah.
He'd fuck up the majority of
The
Ultramites as
but I
well.
will say this now thinking about it, I think because let me ask you this, Jay. I don't remember. Can they blow up planets and shit?
The Namekians,
Yeah.
the top ones, I know can. I know
Okay, so
Piccolo
then
could for
I think
sure.
they would still like. So this is where it's weird, bro. So like, all right, I'll say this. So there, Thrag fights this like white fucking tiger dude on the planet, and it's like the two most powerful beings in the entire universe, right?
Oh
And
yeah,
so it's like
yeah,
the ultimate fight. It's like Madara versus Hashirama basically, and they're fighting whatever,
yeah.
and like every blow they're doing, you name it, like nothing's really blowing up. You know what I mean? Nothing's like crazy or anything like that. Like the planet doesn't even get destroyed, but they're just going blow for blow and shit, whatever, blah blah. So it's like, which is kind of weird. You know what I mean? Because it's like when you see Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z and all this other stuff, whatever, like they blatantly have feats just from like grabbing the ground or shooting a key blast or what you know what I mean? So or even like screaming
Yeah.
and shit. So it's like they have all that stuff while we see these two strongest dudes, they're fighting whatever, but nothing's really fucking happening, you know? And then we see Omni Man like with the black hole shit. So it's like we obviously do know a black hole would shit on planet Earth, right? It would fucking destroy it,
Oh
you
yeah,
know? You know, if
yeah,
it's like it's bending like space and it's at the speed of light and all that, whatever, on space time and shit. So, like, it's really really weird. Like, because they technically would have the speed component, but at the same time, when they're like duking it out and fighting and like releasing all their power because they don't give a fuck about life, they can't. They're not even able to destroy a planet. And you know, so
yeah,
I don't know, man. It's weird with Invincible. Like I just don't
yeah.
know it enough
Like,
to really conclude things. That's the problem.
yeah, I would say Nail and Piccolo would slam their asses. Like this, the Piccolo that fought version 2 Frieza when he was in that weird form with the big ass head.
Yeah.
Like that Piccolo would fucking fold the entire Viltrumite fucking clan or fucking
Yeah.
civilization.
But
Like,
you
fucking,
get what I'm saying though, Jay,
fucking,
right? Like when you have like two
yeah,
evil
that, that,
beings
that
and they're going all out, they don't give a
yeah,
fuck about a planet. And if they really scale that
yeah,
beyond, they're gonna destroy it. Or you know, like
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like Piccolo. It's like fucking Gohan and Goku. Like in the last chapter,
Yeah.
fucking Beerus was pissed because they were fucking up his planet. They're like, "What the fuck, dude? You're fucking up my whole planet!" Like, because they
Yeah.
were fighting and
Or,
sparring,
or remember
and
when
they weren't even shooting ki.
with Frieza in
Yeah,
the God Key where he got so butthurt that he lost to Goku again and Vegeta, and then he like summons his God Key and he literally just grabs the ground with his fingers and the entire planet
yeah.
blows
He
up.
was gonna destroy the planet.
Yeah, with his fingers. He just grabbed it with
With
his
his
finger. Like
fingers.
it's
Yeah,
like fucking picking up sand on the beach. That's all he did, and the planet blew up.
yeah,
You know how much
exactly.
fucking
So, like,
power you need to have to blow up a planet by grabbing it with your fingers and just bending down? That's
effortless.
ridiculous.
Yeah, it's fucking effortless. Yeah, it's not a
Yeah,
problem with those guys at
effortlessly
all.
too.
But,
It's like that's
the
what I'm saying,
Namekians
bro.
would.
It's like so it is
Yeah,
what it
peak
is. But
Namekians are gonna. The peak Namekians are gonna beat the Ultramites. They're not gonna lose to them. Do UI Goku and UE Vegeta scale to any of the gods in DC? Gods? Probably not. You're talking about like the top peak guys, like fucking the Spectre and shit. No, fuck no.
hey, I'll say this
Um,
though. I'll say this because once again, me and Jay don't know everything about Virtual. We're just going off based on what I know, and with that amount of information, that's why we're concluding. What we're concluding. I'll react to some of Chuck's videos with maybe some Invincible shit.
yeah, shout out to Chuck.
Yeah, and if Chuck
Yeah.
has some crazy off the whip shit that's pretty up and beyond those motherfuckers, I'll let Jay know, and then there you go. All right, but
Yeah, I want to hear his opinion on the black hole shit. That's what I want to hear Chuck
not
talk
too.
about. Yeah, I want to see what he thinks, like what he extrapolates from that. I'm kind of curious. I'll probably check his shit out. Shout out to Chuck.
Yeah, because I know he has
Um,
a video of like Thrag and like the White Tiger dude fighting people and whatnot. And obviously he's gonna have
Yeah,
like,
he
their
does.
max performance and he'll scale them. So if I react to those videos, I can kind of see and have a ballpark of how far Invincible scales. And then
Yeah.
you know with all that, and then in correlation to Omni Man, and then therefore we could easily just knock this shit out. So I just don't know it enough, bro.
Yeah. Be warned that Chuck is still friends with Seth. I mean, fuck Seth, but I mean, I got no problem with Chuck. He's alright, but yeah, I know he's close
so
to him.
this
just
is
to
my
understand.
thing. Like, if he associates with Seth, like obviously I'm not gonna associate with him. You know what I mean? Like it is what it is. Like
got a problem with
it's
him,
whatever. Yeah, I don't have a problem with him either. But at the end of the day, I just don't like. I'm just not. It's not productive business wise, and it's just whatever.
Yeah,
But
like,
I
his videos
will
are
react
fire,
to his video though, because if it's me reacting to it like once or twice just to get some information compared to me just having to read the entire fucking manga, and spend some time.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a shortcut. I'm gonna do that, and who cares, right? I don't give a fuck. Like Troy, he literally watches Seth's videos still, and and it's not because he likes Seth, but it's just to see what he's doing, and then he'll talk shit about his content and say it's ass. So.
Yeah, exactly. Like Chuck, I have no problem with him. I think he's cool, but yeah, I know he's still close to Seth, but I mean, whatever. He hasn't done anything wrong to me, like Noodles and shit. Fuck him. Like we have personal issues.
That's what I'm
which is
saying. So
I
that's
don't
why,
fuck
like,
with
at the end
him.
of the day, it's whatever. Like, I thought Chuck was always cool, anyways. But yeah, at the end of the day, with that being said, I just want to associate. That's all it is. So
Yeah, pretty much.
it's
But yeah, as far as
unfortunate
you guys
too.
go
It's really unfortunate. I don't know why people like Clyde or Chuck, whatever. And like once again, I'm not dogging Chuck or anything either, but I just don't understand or comprehend why they still want to associate with someone like that.
Yeah, I don't get it. I know they've known that fucking dude for a long time and shit, but it's still like.
And even
I don't know.
Swag, like that shit really surprised me when he wanted to reach out and talk to Clyde just to give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm like, bro, like, come on, isn't that like kind of a done deal, bro? Like,
Yeah, like Swag is just a nice guy for sure.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
but-
So it's the same thing for me and Jay. Like, we're nice, whatever, blah blah. Especially Jay, right? But me, I'm more stricter,
Yeah.
and I like to stay away from the red flag shit. You know what I mean? I just don't want to be around.
And they're a bigger man than I am because if I find out someone I knew was soliciting pics to minors, we're done.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah, no, in fact, that's what I'm saying. Like, and that's the crazy thing too. Like, it's not affecting Chuck's like career. Like, he's still making crazy money on YouTube, whatever. So
Oh, yeah.
So that's
Yeah,
the thing too. Like, at the end of the day, it's it is what it is. So
Yeah, he just streams with the guy. I mean, I wouldn't stream with that fucking loser,
That's
but I
crazy.
get it. I mean, Chuck's cool though, but whatever. I mean, it is what it is.
like, I will say this, regardless how you guys view all that with morality and everything, whatever. I do know Chuck has good content. That I do know.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Yeah,
I mean,
facts.
he makes great
So-
content. Yeah, like great comic book
Like,
content.
there is a
I've seen
reason
lot of
why
his shit
Swag
fire.
was with him all the time, acknowledging Seth the pedo back then, and fucking you name it.
Yeah,
So there's a
fire.
reason. Even
He
Clark.
should. He reminds me of Crisis. Like Crisis shit is fucking fire. If you want good comic book
Oh
shit,
yeah.
Crisis,
Crisis, yeah.
his
He
shit's
has good
fucking
DC
fire,
Marvel
bro.
shit. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. He scales video games. He did fucking Insomniac game
I'm
Spider-Man
assuming
versus
he
Arkham
probably did
Batman.
more scaling because the Suicide Squad,
Yeah.
and he was
Oh, I think
probably
he did
so
do that
angry
shit.
for doing those
Yeah.
videos, but he had to, bro.
Yeah. He had to. He did a great video of Insomniac Spider-Man
Yeah,
versus Arkham Batman. That shit was fucking
I haven't
fire.
seen
Like
that.
you
It's
gotta
in my
go check
watch
that
later. I'm
shit.
gonna react to it though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that shit was fire. He did a really good job on that shit. He's done a lot of fire shit that I want to do. He scaled the Rocky characters in the verse, like the best fighters in Rocky and shit. His
Yeah,
shit is
yeah,
fucking
yeah,
fire.
yeah. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, he's
I know.
actually very
Chuck
creative.
also does the SPC like scaling shit. I heard like they're
Oh yeah,
cracked
yeah,
as
that shit's
well.
fire too. I haven't really checked it out, but I know that SPC shit's like interesting.
Yeah,
So
like there's like also a creature that's literally like a more broken version of Doomsday as well. That's the funny part, bro.
yeah,
All these motherfuckers be copying from DC, bro, with Doomsday. But everybody, anime,
yeah,
you
they
name it.
really
But
do.
fucking, but there's like this weird crocodile looking creature that literally is like not
Yeah,
only super fucking cracked and like powerful, like ridiculously like crazy. Okay, I think he's even omnipotent, but I could be capping on that. But he's very fucking strong,
yeah.
but he also has the power of like to evolve or adapt and do anything, and he could basically just beat anything because of it. It's ridiculous.
Like Crisis is so good that I'd say overall scaler. I think Naruto TG is my favorite guy, but overall, I think Crisis is my favorite. That's how good. Like
Damn.
I don't gas people up much, but his shit is fucking fire, bro. You guys
Yeah, I
gotta
don't
check.
blame you, bro. I haven't seen
Yeah,
all his
like
stuff to be honest. I have seen a couple videos, but the things I have seen, it's really good. So
yeah, like TG is my favorite Naruto guy overall.
he's
The
definitely
overall scale
underrated.
in entirety.
Crisis is underrated.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
Crisis is like TG. Those guys, I
yeah,
feel
he
like there's a
deserves
matter of
way
time
more
before.
subs, way more. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a matter of time before both these dudes blow the fuck up.
If
TG and
anything, we could
Crisis. Like,
try to. Now I'm thinking about, it, we could try to eventually have him as a guest once we conclude on the Naruto
oh,
stuff.
that would be fucking
And we could
dope.
try to see if
Yeah,
he's
I'll definitely
about it.
have
Yeah.
one. Yeah, if I could find him somehow, I'd be hella down to have him on, bro. He's fucking
I
good.
think
Yeah.
Six definitely has his contact, and then Swag. You just have to reach out, or TG, maybe
Yeah.
TG. I know
Yeah.
Swag and Six for sure though, but
Oh, I know this fact because Crisis actually used to work for Seth, but guess what? When he found out, he
yeah,
discommunicated. He doesn't fuck
that's
with
what I'm
Seth.
saying.
So
Yeah, so like Swag and Six
uh,
can probably have the contact info, but but
yeah, Crisis he has good shit, guys. Check out his shit for sure. Nail had a power level of 42,000. Oh yeah, Nail would slam the Vulture bro. He'd blitz them. Um, let's see. Mark, Omni-Man, and another Vulturemite flew through Vultrum, which is 2 times larger than Earth, and destroyed the planet. I don't know where that scales them individually in AP, though. Oh, really? Probably in the comic books, I'm guessing? Yeah, I gotta read the
well,
comic books or some shit. I
it
know there's
makes
much.
sense because once again, if we analyze the black hole thing, we obviously know black holes would destroy a fucking planet as well, and if he's able to sit inside of a black hole, not in the middle of it, because he would have died if he did that, but on the outside of
Yeah, he
it,
would have.
he clearly has enough relative speed to a black hole, right? Relative, not
Yeah.
equal or over. And we know black holes can easily destroy a planet, easily, just being near it,
Yeah.
So like it would
Yeah,
make
exactly.
sense technically for them to be able to just move fast enough and fly through or whatever. The only problem though is like you could argue like they need the velocity and build up for it because that was kind of shown in the beginning with Omni-Man with the city. But at the same time, when we see Omni-Man just not even moving and sitting in the black hole, he could still just resist the force and speed and whatnot. Therefore, meaning that would technically prove further that they could do it at all times.
Yeah.
So it's like overall, that wouldn't surprise me. But the problem is with the Dragon Ball arcs that we're referring to, like these individuals are, I believe, they're even further beyond, or most importantly, let's say they're in a similar scaling ballpark. They also, once again, have Ki Blast. They have range attacks. That's the problem, and martial arts as well.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
exactly. Like the impressiveness and the sort of severity of their APs is better. Like fucking base Frieza with a one tap to fucking whole planet with his fucking
um,
finger and one blast. Like fucking, and that was first version
casually,
base Frieza.
effortlessly,
Yeah,
yeah.
casual. He
The
just threw a
weakest
little
form of
ass
Frieza,
blast
yeah.
at him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so guys like Piccolo, guys like Nail,
Yeah.
guys like Goku. I mean, obviously they'd fucking destroy the Viltrumites.
And then,
Like
and then
it would
and
be
then when we saw
like
like Frieza transform and everybody was shitting their pants like, oh my fucking god, like mind you, they were already like fodder to the weakest form of Frieza, but then when he transformed
yeah,
and went
literally.
beyond, everybody was like, yo,
Yeah,
we're done. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's what I'm saying. It's
yeah.
like, so overall, like I think it's still in favor for Dragon Ball Z still, but and
Oh,
once
by
again,
far. Yeah.
there's then the disadvantages, range attacks, Ki Blast, whatever, blah blah. But the only thing like I can say, like I could also say this in defense of Virtual Minds. I think I could be wrong, but I think they also specialize in martial arts and you name it, yada yada. But the only problem is Dragon Ball Z is all about martial arts. Those motherfuckers
Yeah,
are alien martial
yeah.
arts. You name it, the whole nine. So like I think that is
Roshi.
way more
Yeah,
potent in a verse that's dedicated to that shit, right? Than Virtue Minds that are just doing it because they want to be the most powerful race in the universe. You get what I'm saying? So.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, Crisis only post Suicide Squad content was ranking all the Arkenverse characters. Oh, I did see that shit. Yeah, I
Oh, okay,
saw that
okay.
video actually.
So that's how
And
you know
putting
he
the
hated that shit and was asked when he did a ranking
yeah,
video.
and he said his voice sounded like he didn't like Brainiac losing to the Suicide Squad. Yeah, I know. None of us like that shit, bro.
It was
None of us like that
ass.
shit.
But like
Yeah, and
that,
the
that's
losing,
I'm calling it
Justice
right
League
now.
losing was
Why,
ass.
like that's why he didn't make a Batman video of like where Batman finally actually scales fully now and yada yada. Like
Yeah, there's no way he's gonna shit on Batman after
no,
losing to the fucking
no,
Suicide
no, no,
Squad.
hell no, nobody would. That's some
Yeah, bro.
bullshit.
Yeah, that was disrespectful. I'm not gonna lie. They fucking shot him on the bench and he fell over. I was like, bro, come on.
Now, I
The
will
fucking
say
dumbass
this,
Harley let off.
and I'm
Come on.
pretty sure Crisis would also mention this as well. Batman does
Yeah,
have contingency plans to beat them all. You know what I mean? So,
yeah,
and we do
literally.
know
What
it.
the
Yeah,
fuck?
we do know consistency wise. Comics, whatever, and everything. Right? It's always the same narrative. Batman could beat him because of those contingency plans. So technically, that means Batman would have to scale in some regard to these Justice League members. You know what I mean? Because the whole point of these
Yeah,
plans is to combat against them when they're brainwashed, mind controlled, or bloodlusted. You know what I mean? Like that's the main point.
yeah,
So at the end of the day, it's like if we take that into consideration, technically that can make Batman pretty high in scaling. But once again, we just don't know, and it's even worse when it comes to the probability things because we literally just play the game. And you'll see why. So like,
yeah, yeah. Literally, man. I was like, what the fuck? It was so disrespectful how they did the Justice League in that game. Fucking, I don't know, man. It is annoying. I
It's
played
just
the whole
crazy,
thing.
bro. It's like, bro, you know
Yeah,
what it is, bro. It's like we see Madara, he slams the Shinobi Alliance. Then round two, the Shinobi Alliance slam him. It's like, huh?
it'd be like Madara beating the Five Kage, and then he loses to fucking like 10-10 or some shit. Like, what the
Literally,
fuck?
it's like, what's
It was dog
happening?
shit. It was so
Like,
annoying, dude. Not
or
gonna
just, or
lie.
not even. If we just take the same and just mirror it, like Batman alone, like slam them all, whatever, and then and then like later on, in his own territory, where prep, you name it, whatever, Fear talks and all this shit, he loses. Like
That's so
that's
fucking
like
stupid.
Madara beating the Five Kage. They get a rematch, round two, right? They come back, they're like, "Oh, Madara, we're gonna beat you now." And then guess what? They beat him.
Yeah. Yeah, it was fucking dumb as hell,
Or
dude.
better
I
yet,
was like,
not even. It'd be like them beating Madara when he has the Rinnegan and is alive instead of Edo. Literally.
yeah, the game is fun, but the fucking narrative is just fucking retarded. That's what it is. Yeah, like the gameplay's fun though, but yeah, it was fucking stupid, dude. Like the narrative was fucking dumb. A nitpick I always had with the DBZ anime is how long it takes Nappa's beam to reach Piccolo, meaning he could have tackled Gohan on the way. At least the beam is instant in the manga. Yeah, that's kind of like a media thing.
Yeah.
I get, yeah, it's a media thing. Like to display speed in media, it's restricted, right? You can't display beyond light speed in fucking 3D animation. It's not possible. So I get the criticism though. Makes sense. First form Frieza, power level 530,000. Casually destroyed planet Vegeta that had a gravity 10 times stronger than Earth. Yeah, exactly, bro. Way beyond anything a Ultraman could do. Do you think Vegeta will now get a new form? Right now, it looks like he gave up on UE. He doesn't wear the earring anymore, and it's already confirmed by the writers that he will never use UI. Um, I think he will continue with Beerus. It seems implied. Obviously, when he saw Gohan and Goku going at it, he gulped. We all laughed at that shit. Like he's like, "Oh god damn!" But I do think he's gonna go the God of Destruction route. I think that's gonna continue. If I had to deduce, he just has the personality for it. He has the ferocity for it. He's like the other side of the coin, right? They have like this sort of ideological sort of dichotomy with angels and gods of destruction, right? Goku sort of conforms more with the angels. He's more calm, he's more graceful in his combat. He's more technical, while Vegeta is more ferocious, tenacious, aggressive, like a god of destruction, right? So I do think that's going to continue. That dichotomy is going to continue to progress. So I do think he's going to discover something else. I think it might be another god of destruction derived form. If I had to really predict, just based off their dichotomy, the dichotomy they've always had from the beginning, since they met each other. The more gracious one has always been Goku. The more aggressive and tenacious one has been Vegeta. Right, so that's probably what I would say. Um, I do think he'll get his own form, whether it's like a better UE, mastered UE, or something like that, or something else entirely. I think he'll get something. So yeah, that's probably what I would say based off just how they've always been. That dichotomy's always been there. So they had to ass pull it, so Scarecrow had Carly had to reverse engineer Fear in the past to justify them not getting folded. Yeah, that was stupid as fuck, bro. Stupid as hell. The narrative is just dumb. Period. It's just dumb. The gameplay's fun. I'll play it again just for the gameplay, but like the fucking narrative is dumb as hell. Where would you scale current Goku and Vegeta if you dropped them in DC? If it's like mainstream DC, most of Earth would be fucked. Superman, if he's like mainstream regular Clark Kent against current Goku and Vegeta, he'd have to like saturate himself with sun quickly because if they use like their all-out power and blast him with a key blast point blank, they might just fucking disintegrate him. I think his durability has to increase substantially. These guys are on levels that he typically doesn't deal with, I would assume, on Earth, right? He deals with like villains with okay AP, okay durability, okay speed, but you don't see him constantly dealing with like dark side and shit in mainstream, at least in the mainstream continuity, um, like Earth 52, Batman and things like that. So, excuse me, Superman. So they would probably deal with Earth more than likely, unless Superman, saturates himself with sun. Maybe they'd struggle with him. Um, but the majority of Earth would be fucked. As far as higher dimensional beings and things like that, obviously they wouldn't stand a chance. Spectre and people like that just would fold them. But Earth would be in a lot of trouble. Let's just say that if you were to drop them right now in DC, mainstream DC. Do you agree with the criticism that the first through third form Frieza fights dynamic were a wasted time and he should have only had his final form word to improve the pacing? There's an argument for both sides, I think. I do think the pacing could have been improved in general. Dragon Ball's pacing could be improved in general. I think it's like a general criticism of the overall narrative. But um, do I think they should have skipped immediately to the final form? In a way, I see the purpose of it. I see the purpose of it. Obviously, they wanted to progressively bring a stronger protagonist against him, right? First it was fucking Piccolo, then it was Vegeta, and then it was fucking Goku, finally, right? When he was Super Saiyan. I get that purpose, but I do agree they could at least improve the pacing of it to where it's not like long as fuck and we're waiting forever, right? I get that. But do I think it should have went directly from, form one to final form? No. It just could have been faster though. More fastly executed, more swiftly executed. So what if Edo Minato fought the Shinobi Alliance instead of Edo Madara? Would he stomp them as well?
Oh
Yes.
yeah,
He would
and he would
fold.
have
Yeah.
KCM theoretically at that point as well. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
If he has KCM, he'd fold the Kage as well.
Yeah, he
Let's
would
say like he's not
absolutely
in character,
fucking shit on all of them, and
like
then not only that, his
bloodlusted.
base alone is
Yeah.
superior to Raikage because he literally concedes it, and
Yep.
he even
You can't
says
hit him
that
either.
while he had time to train and get stronger and stronger, and he's referring to past fourth Hokage. So
Yeah.
what's it called? And we see that the fourth
He would fold.
Raikage is like he's beating up KCM Naruto whatever. And then Naruto gets serious, and he gets that Minato speed, and now he's like above a Raikage. So once again, like
Yeah.
yeah, Raikage's fucked. All of them are fucked. Everybody basically just gets speed blitz, except you could argue for Naruto and Itachi and people and Nagato and things
Yeah.
like that.
Exactly.
You know?
He would slit everyone's throats. Like if he was bloodlusted, he
Yeah.
would just fucking fly and Raiji behind everyone's
Yeah,
necks,
he
like
just spam
fucking
that shit,
slit
and
their
that's the
throat.
problem. He'll never get tired because he's
Uh,
an Edo, so he doesn't have to worry about the
yeah.
drawbacks
He'd never
during the
get
Nine
fucking
Tails
tired.
incident. Or fighting Obito. He'll have infinite
Just
chakra,
imagine
basically.
like
Yep.
Yeah, imagine like a fucking ping pong ball, like a ping pong
Bro,
ball
you
going
wanna know
from
what he
like
could do,
here,
bro?
here, 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 here. Yeah, literally.
He can
That's what he
literally
would
he
be.
can literally make the biggest rising gun he possibly could. A massive fucking
Oh my
rising gun.
god.
And then literally like
Yeah.
just fucking teleport and just slam that through everybody, bro. Just teleport
Yeah. Just
everywhere and
imagine
just hit
like
him with the massive rising gun.
yeah, it'd be like a fucking ping pong ball is going left and right, slaughtering everyone
He could
left and
also do
right. Just
shadow
imagine that.
clones, you know what I mean, and whatnot too, and like
Yeah.
so it's like at the end of the day,
KCM.
they're all fucking fucked.
They're fucked.
And then
Yeah,
obviously
they'd
if he
need
has to get
Naruto.
serious, like let's say, I think the way it would go is like when Naruto's teaming up along with like fucking Killer Bee is actually redundant. He would get fucking slammed. But
Yeah, he gets fucked up.
Naruto, he'd be the only one. Itachi as well, because he'd be like brought back and shit, whatever. And then basically
Yeah.
like Naruto and Itachi would just have to basically team up, and Minato would have to go KCM, and then Minato still wins because now he's over them. So.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be fucking horrible, man. Like,
And
it wouldn't change
Izanami isn't
much.
an option for Minato because he's not bad like Kabuto. So.
Yeah, exactly. So he's not like he doesn't have like a tainted heart like fucking Kabuto. So
Yeah.
it would be horrible for the fucking Shinobi Alliance.
Yeah, they all just get fucked. Like the only way Naruto could have any chance is if he goes KCM 2 with Sage Mode.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
Sage
so if
mode.
there's like a plot moment, which I could see that theoretically happening if Kishimoto was writing it, what's it called? Like if he goes KCM 2, I don't think that would be enough still, because once again Minato has the same shit. What's it called? And then like basically, it's just there would still be fucking problems. But yeah, like overall, that's the only way.
Orochimaru would have to haul ass and fucking reanimate Hashirama or some shit. He'd be like, "Hurry up, dude, hurry!" Like Minato's slaughtering everybody, and Orochimaru would have to hurry up, fucking get fucking Hashirama back from the fucking grave or some shit. They'd have to haul ass so he doesn't fold everybody.
Literally,
Um,
bro.
yeah, it'd be horrible. Superman has an anti-feat in current rebirth continuity of not being able to stop a bullet in time. Oh Jesus, that is an anti-feat.
That's pretty
But
sad.
DC wankers claim
That's like
he's
some
immeasurable
Flash from
feat.
CW show shit.
Yeah, it's like fucking the worst inconsistency ever. Like fucking Suicide Squad when Batman dies. They should animate Dragon Ball AF with Z Core. It's actually fire. It's a shame how Super Saiyan 3 has a good design, but it's one of the most worthless transformations. Yeah, it is. That's true, bro. It is worthless. Very worthless, especially now. It legit could have been cut from the story completely and nothing would have changed. Yeah, dude, yeah, I mean, arguably, yeah. Edo Minato would low-key be more dangerous than Madara since he wouldn't hold back just to taunt fuck around with his ops. Yeah, he would slit everyone's throats, dude. He doesn't give a fuck about talking or nothing. He'd fucking slaughter everybody. Like a ping
But
pong ball.
he
He'd
wouldn't
be
have
all
a
over the
choice. That's the problem.
everyone would be fucked,
But
man.
like, look at Zabuza with Haku, like where Zabuza didn't hesitate, whatever you name it, went to slice right through, and that's why he was able to land a hit on a mentally nerfed Kakashi. Like, fucking,
Yeah, exactly.
like, they don't care anymore at that point. They're mindless fucking tools.
Yeah.
So.
And like fucking Madara, like again, yeah, like you said.
Like you
he's
saw
just fucking
Nagato when he was just like brainwashed and completely gone, like no emotion, no threat, nothing.
He's fucking blitzing and
Yeah,
shit.
he's just blitzing and slam. That's what I'm saying, bro. And then like when you see him like when Kabuto's using them just to fill out Naruto and Killer Bee, and like and they're just but he can at least talk and shit, and he's trying to help them fight. He's talking by like giving them advice on what to do. But the moment Kabuto gets serious and makes him go fully bloodlust and all out, it's GG's. It's a whole other game.
He like, fucking mauls both of them.
Yeah,
like, immediately. So
that's what I'm saying.
chess
Like
between
it's
Aizen, chess between Aizen and Minato, or Aizen versus Soratubu. Who you got? Oh, chess game. Minato versus Aizen. Minato's pretty fucking intelligent, but I mean, obviously Aizen is.
I think Aizen
is
has
as well.
that though. Yeah.
Yeah, his
That's
pure
weird to
intelligence.
say
I think
because I
is
like Naruto more, but Aizen's so smart though, dude.
Yeah, the shit he does, just from an intellectual standpoint, like Minato deduces things quickly,
Yeah, that
but
is.
Aizen's like level of deduction is just
Yeah,
higher.
like
Like
and he's
what he
able to
does
like prep things, and he's also able to to create
uh,
broken shit too, and
yeah, exactly. So yeah, Aizen probably. Aizen's level of
Aizen's like
intelligence.
Madara in
Probably.
intelligence, to be honest, as well.
Yeah, and like yeah, probably Aizen. To be frank, if we're talking nasty anti-feats, base Dragon Ball Super Goku got tagged and hurt by a bullet. Writers just don't realize how powerful their own characters are most of the
Oh, yeah, you
time.
talking about the
And
laser
just
thing where he gets hit by a laser?
yeah, but there is a statement from Wheeze though where he says if you're off guard, your durability is lower.
Yeah.
Like you can be taken out. He
Yeah,
does
he's
say that
just
about
like a
Goku.
normal,
Yeah.
average fucking human being, basically, and that's
Yeah.
that's what
We-
anything. That's even with
yeah.
fucking Naruto as well. Like if you're not focused or whatever, enhancing your body, like you can literally be just like a fragile as a human, and it's blatantly shown so many times.
I think
That's
he
why
like
that's why with the Minato shit, we're like, oh, he's splinter level. It's a bunch of fucking bullshit. Because then you see the guy doing
yeah,
feats
bullshit.
that is completely way beyond splinter level.
Yeah, it's because Whis even explains it. I think he flicked Goku. Goku's like, "Oh fuck, that hurt." He's like, "Dude, if you're off guard like that, even like more primitive, lower level AP shit can kill you."
Yeah.
Like for example, when Frieza's fodder ass guy shot him with a laser and like fucking killed him, it's because he was off guard and like when he was in his base form, like wasn't expecting it. So especially in Dragon Ball, durability varies depending upon the level of focus the combatant has. If he's just like standing there, like having a cup of coffee, like not having a worry in the world, then his durability is lower for sure. So it depends. Like if Goku's on guard and fucking Master Ultra Instinct, then obviously his durability is better. You know,
Yeah.
so that. Uh, uh, yeah, but he has the off guard excuse. Superman was too slow. Nope. There's a scene in the Dragon Ball Super manga where Goku gets shot at someone with a revolver and he gets tagged and hurt by the bullet. Uh, in general, though, Dragon Ball Super does have inconsistencies. That is true. Like Krillin stalemating Blue Goku with a fucking Kamehameha. That's fucking ridiculous. Um, where does teenage Avatar Aang scale in tuning exams? Tagara, Rock Lee, etc. Question mark. Um, Aang is a teenager. Well, if he's in the fucking Avatar state, I think he can take out a city. Like if he uses like a fucking tsunami or some shit or enough fire or earth. Without the Avatar state, depending upon the point of the narrative, like early Aang gets folded by most Shinobi in the tuning exams. It's just the reality. In terms of speed and all that. He gets fucking blitzed. I think even Avataring, speed would just be immense. The gap would be immense between him and the fucking Shinobi. Like especially the higher caliber tuning exam participants like Neji and Sasuke and fucking Lee. They would speed blitz his ass. Um, I think even lightning speed starts to get reached in fucking in the tuning exam. So I'd probably say he'd lose. He'd beat a couple if he's an Avatar state. Let's give him that. He would beat Sakura and Ino and all those fodder ass people, like fucking Shoji and shit. But he would probably lose to Neji and like final Shun exam, Gara and Sasuke and those guys. Yeah, that's probably what I'd say. Yeah, he was off guard. Uh, I still have a conspiracy theory that Super Saiyan Blue was mandated to show up once per episode for the anime. It's the only way for him massively holding back Goku to go blue to make sense. Yeah, yeah, there's a lot of problems with Super for sure. A lot of inconsistencies. Unfortunate. Z is definitely better overall than fucking Super. We can all agree with that. But yeah, folks, any questions at all? Any questions at all? It could be boxing, UFC. There's some great UFC fights. Sean O'Malley's fighting Cheeto Vera. Obviously anime, JJK. There's some great shows coming. Invincible, I think, comes out part 2 of season 3 comes out this month. The Boys season 4 comes out in June. We got movies coming out. Deadpool 3, I think, comes out in June or some shit like that. Fucking Joker 2 comes out soon. So there's a bunch of shit coming out. So feel free to ask about any of that. The Anime Awards, feel free to ask about that. That happened, I think, yesterday. I didn't even know about it till like this morning. Who tests higher on general intelligence? Orochimaru or Urahara? I'd probably say Urahara. Urahara's like intellectual feats are more impressive to me. I think like pure deduction ability, his is better. Orochimaru's is more ambitious than Urahara. He's more like Aizen in that sense, where he pushes the pace more, but Urahara's more talented and more intelligent. I think Aizen resented Urahara for that reason. At the end of the Espada arc, when Aizen gets defeated by Ichigo, he's kind of like talking down upon Urahara for his lack of ambition. He's like, all this intelligence, you fucking wasted it, and what the fuck is wrong with you? Like he resented him because of his intellectual talents and lack of ambition. So I think Urahara is more intelligent. In fact, Orochimaru does the same thing to Hiruzen in a way, except it's different with his age, right? He tells Hiruzen like, you're the Hokage, you have all this knowledge, and you're letting age take you out. You're fucking disgusting. Like you're pathetic. Because he what his biggest fear was age limiting his potential, right? Which is why he kept experimenting on himself and doing these like horrible acts on children and shit to try and continue his uh sort of quest for immortality, right? So yeah, I do think Urahara is more intelligent though, but that's an interesting parallel between Orochimaru and Aizen. They have similarities ideologically in a way. Would you be on board with Cooler coming back in the Black Frieza arc? Cooler? I mean, I think you can make room for his introduction. Maybe it could be like an asset to to the villain side. I wouldn't mind, I guess. Avatar does elements way better than Naruto does it. Oh, that's definitely true. Like the elements are, the advantages of using the elements are way better used in with the Avatar. But Naruto just scales way above that verse. So DBZ had power scaling issues, but it's crazy how blatantly DBS just doesn't give a fuck. Oh yeah, they definitely had issues as well, but yeah, DBS are just way worse and more numeric, more common. Do you think that Gara never feeling threatened enough by basically to use his sand circle shield means basically it's fodder to him? Perhaps. I think shock was part of it. He was kind of like shocked by it and not like taking action. It wasn't like he was focused on slaughtering fucking Lee most of the time. So there's that. Like his demeanor was very like shocked when he saw what the fuck Lee was doing with his speed and his like taijutsu expertise. It was until like the final stretch where he almost like fucking snapped Lee in half when the guy had to save him that he really tried to like eliminate him. Um, so I wouldn't say he was threatened most of the time until the very end, but he was definitely shocked. Dude, I don't think he thought Lee was fodder. I think he was impressed the whole time, but I do think he deemed him as not enough of a threat to have to use that. So yeah, that's what I would say about Basely. Uh, cooler existing canon.
What Jay said, what fucking Jay
Cooler
said, bro.
existing in canon. Would kind of be an ass pull though. Why would Frieza never have mentioned him once? Yeah, it would be an ass pull. Yeah. I wouldn't mind him existing, but yeah, it wouldn't make sense though. I like Cooler personally.
Now
Does
thinking
anyone
about
in
it,
Naruto
what
test
would bro?
higher?
Like, imagine if Broly got to their planet earlier during the Dragon Ball Z. What do they do?
Oh God, now he'd be a god. If
What do they do, bro?
either
Like,
that yeah, either that or he would have
bro,
destroyed the fucking
Frieza. If
planet.
Frieza thought Goku was bad.
Oh my God, imagine him during the Namek saga. Like
But
if
that's the
Broly was
crazy
there.
thing. He wouldn't even need to go to Super Saiyan, bro. Just his base
Oh fuck
and
no.
rage.
He would have fucking slapped Frieza. He probably would have thought his base was Super Saiyan. He's like, "Is this the legendary Super Saiyan?" He's like, "Bitch, I'm in base.
Yeah,
I'm not
like
even
he'd just
fucking powered
yell.
up."
He'd be like, "Oh," and just fucking be his. Or no, that
Like
old
one
dude,
shot
his
his ass.
father. He'd be like, "Broly, beat him up." Oh!
Like Broly, go, and then he like slam his
It's like a
ass in
fucking,
base.
it's
He
like a
probably think
fucking
that's Super
broken
Saiyan. He's like, "Oh my."
Pokemon legendary and just slams everybody.
He'd probably destroy the planet himself by accident. He's like,
Yeah,
"Whoops,
yeah, yeah.
Namek
To
is
be
gone."
honest, yeah. I
Yeah,
will
he's
say
fucking
that
dangerous.
actually, well, no. Weren't they destroying fucking dimensions and shit when they fought? Gogeta?
Oh yeah, when they were doing that weird shit, when
Yeah,
they were
yeah.
like
Like they weren't
shattering the
destroying the
dimension.
planet, but they went like through dimensions and started destroying all that and just shattering it all.
It
So
was
it's like, yeah.
weird.
So he
Yeah, they're
probably,
like in
if
this
he didn't
weird
give a
like.
fuck, he'd probably just destroy the planet.
Yeah, because I remember it was their Goku or Vegeta told him like, "Calm the fuck down. You're gonna fuck up the planet or some shit." When they were
Yeah,
fighting
yeah.
Broly in the movie, they're like, "Calm the fuck down, buddy."
Yeah,
Like
yeah, and then like
they're trying to calm him down.
I think when they started shattering and breaking all the dimensions, I think that's because Gogeta was probably inputting a certain amount of force to like make sure it doesn't affect the planet, to where it was bringing them
Yeah,
to that point probably. So I don't
it was
know.
like some weird like color prism
Yeah,
dimension.
yeah,
They're like in
yeah,
some
yeah. You know what I mean?
fucking
So
weird
like,
ass like.
because
Yeah, it was
otherwise,
cool
if it
though.
wasn't affecting that dimension, the planet would have been gone. So
Oh, facts.
yeah,
Yeah,
gone.
with all that power and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been it would have been raps. Does anyone in Naruto test higher on standardized intelligence tests than
Yeah,
Mayuri?
like
Oh, from
Shikamaru.
Bleach.
Uh,
Shikamaru would probably be the best bet,
yeah.
or Amato actually.
Yeah,
Amato
yeah,
is
yeah,
up
yeah.
there as
Motto is
well.
fucking. He's Batman.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those guys. Yeah, those guys would. Amato, I'd bet is at least relative to Mayuri in terms of intelligence. Maybe Shikamaru, but definitely Amato.
Like this motherfucker
Uh,
Amato was building fucking robots that are cracked, bro.
yeah, he
Like
built
and then
Shinjutsu
building
mod
robots that
cyborgs.
have like fucking omnipotence dojutsu abilities. Now, I'm not saying they're
He built
omnipotent. I'm just that's what they call their abilities for some reason. They call it
the fucking
omnipotent, but yeah.
yeah, literally the fucking Ida had fucking ability called omnipotence,
Yeah,
literally.
it's like Shinjutsu
Uh,
or some shit, I think. But what's
yeah,
it
he
called?
built
But
the
yeah, like
dude
so, like,
built
but once again,
odd
like, don't get it twisted. We
Shinjutsu
don't mean that
cyborgs.
literally, but
Yeah,
what's it called? But yeah, they
reality
basically have
warping
planetary
fucking
level like fucking jutsu abilities and shit. Like she had like a Kodo Matsukami
yeah.
basically.
Yeah, like a global Kodo. That's basically what she did.
Yeah.
Fucking Amato
Effortlessly too.
built. What he did effortlessly. Yeah, what he did is he built Shinjutsu God cyborgs. That's what he
Yep.
built.
Like,
So
I'm
he's a
sorry, but
fucking
how do you
crack
even do
ass.
that? Like, how do you?
Yeah. How does he even know how to make? Like, where did he get the
You wanna know?
Shinjutsu?
Yeah, you wanna know what makes no sense,
Uh,
Jay? Like, it's like when he was a little kid back then. It's like, what the fuck made him like think of all this, bro?
like, how did he even build those fucking cyborgs? Like, how did you even figure
Because
out how to make
he looks like he's
Shinjutsu
in his
now?
like his third or like no, he has white hair though, so he's probably in his like what
Yeah, he's probably
60s or
like,
70s.
yeah, he probably looks like 50s or
Oh yeah,
yeah, it's
50s.
hard
Yeah,
to
because he
tell.
has white hair. That's the
Definitely
only
older
problem.
though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
definitely
it's
older
like
for sure.
overall like but either way like he's either like an adult or he's way older. But bottom line is like this motherfucker was like thinking of this shit and prepping since a little fucking kid, bro. Like and
Yeah,
mind you, he didn't
he
give a
built
fuck about the world. He didn't care about nobody. He's over here just building like all these crazy ass shit. You know, he's probably experimenting like and made a fucking
fucking
transformer
code.
that could be planetary already. You know, and then he just doesn't
Yeah,
give a fuck. You know, so but he's just
it's
staying to
like
himself
fucking.
and it's working on his mind.
Imagine asking him like, "Hey, buddy, how did you build a robot that can reflect your intention by just
Literally.
thinking? He's like, can you give me the blueprints, please, bud? Like, what the fuck is that? Like, Damon, all he has to do is know what you're thinking and reflect it. Like, what the fuck, dude? Like, what? How do you even build that? I don't understand that. He's fucking cracked, bro. So,
Literally, bro.
um, it's funny that Lee never harms Gara once, doesn't make him bleed, bruise, or cuts him. Yeah, I pointed out too. He doesn't cut him fucking once. And
Yeah,
after
no,
everything, Gara
he
casually got
cannot
up.
go through that raw durability, baby.
The
Now,
raw durability.
yeah, I will say this though, in defense for the Lee fans, when he did the primary Lotus with the first gate, that was implied to show that he could be able to seriously injure Gara because Gara had to use a sand substitution. So
Yeah.
what's it
So
called? So
fucking yeah.
that you could technically argue because like it doesn't make any sense to go to defend yourself
Yeah.
with a sand clone when if you think you can tank it, you know what I mean? So
Cause fucking me and D1 debated that on the Colin show, that
yeah,
AP of the Lee. Um, like he used the elemental disadvantage thing. That
yeah.
was a good counter. But my counter to that was, think about it like this: Lee, try to count how many shots he took at
Oh,
Gara, how
he
many
did
strikes
so
he
many
used.
blows, so many.
Probably
Yeah,
hundreds, right? And Sasuke only needed one fucking Chidori to break through the dense sand dome defense that Gara had, and it went through him and his fucking sand armor, and it hit him, and it
yeah.
made him fucking bleed. So D1's argument was good, but my argument was that the performance was so fucking vast in impressiveness that the elemental nature advantage is null and void because of how much different the performances were. It wasn't like it was close and like, oh, it's because Sasuke had lightning release. Like, no, it was fucking drastic. Like,
Well,
one
not
attack
only
versus
that though,
hundreds.
Jay. Like, what makes it even more
So,
crazy, he did it while he did his hardest like defense dome jutsu on top of it. So he had
yeah,
like
exactly.
he basically
Yeah,
cushioned the velocity and blow. You know what I mean? And then got hit to his sand armor, and it went through that as well. And then hit his body
exactly,
and went through that. It went through three durabilities. And the reason why that's pretty
exactly. So
crazy
that's
is
like,
like we see Kimaru when he goes
yeah,
to see him too, and he's like a running fucking Shidori basically. To be fair, this is a stronger
yeah,
Gara, but either way, he goes through Gara's like fucking wall sand, which slows his velocity and momentum, and then he hits Gara,
yeah,
but it didn't go through and make Gara bleed. It just injured his armor, like a blow from Rock Lee basically, or Sasuke. You know what I mean? So it's like
yeah, exactly.
overall, like the fact that Sasuke could go through a sand at its hardest, right? And his armor, and then his body, and make him bleed is just crazy.
Yeah, so, but yeah, shout out to D1 though. He did debate me the best in that show, on the Colin show. He had the best like arguments and shit. So
I'm sorry, but it's not even a discussion. Like the AP is blatantly like,
yeah, like that was what me and D1 were debating. Like, I know some people said like, oh, D1 got it because of the elemental advantage. I'm like, I mean, my argument kind of negated that, but shout out to D1 though. Lol, I made a guy on Power Scaling Forum that thought Ten Tails Obito was planetary and could destroy Earth because of the Nunu Boko was stated to have created the world. Yeah, that's not true. Yeah. Uh, how would Damon use his ability in a 1v1 and isn't touching anyone? He just has to know what you're thinking. I think he can read your mind
yeah,
and he reflects your intention. Like when Kawaki was when Boruto and Kawaki were with Damon, I think Boruto tells Kawaki like, "Hey, buddy,
yeah,
don't think the wrong thing because he'll reflect it." So he doesn't have to touch you. If you're thinking about killing him, he reflects that
You're
intention
done.
and you die.
You're fucked. Yeah.
Yeah, you fucking die. So he doesn't even need to fucking touch you. Pick
That
up the
shit is probably
fucking
like, I'm
Aizen
sorry,
shit.
I've heard of so many things, but that's probably the most cracked power I have
Yeah.
ever seen in my life. Like, you would have to have a
Yeah.
motto or Batman intelligence in order to somehow counter that shit. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm gonna
If
be honest, I don't
Foreman
even know
beat,
how you would even beat that, but hey, when you have smart characters, they do the impossible, so.
yeah, you'd have to like block his telepathic signal or some Batman prep time
Yeah.
bullshit to beat him.
Yeah.
Some shit like that. So yeah, it's fucking cracked. If George Foreman beat Ali, would he be viewed as a GOAT heavyweight, or would it still be Ali for overall impact? If Foreman beat Ali, so that was one of Ali's best performances, for sure. Now if Ali lost that fight, people probably there would be a small chunk or a substantial chunk that would say Foreman was the best of that era because Foreman fucking beat everybody. I think he beat Frazier, Liston, he beat them all. And if he beat Ali too, then that would like cement him as the best of that era. So there probably would be a substantial chunk of people in the boxing community that thinks Foreman's the best of all time. Um, so it would impact Ali, and it would impact his legacy for sure. But there would still be a good portion that would say Ali's the best because he beat a lot of people, Liston, Frazier. Um, he beat many great fighters. But yeah, that fight was substantial for Ali's legacy. So I would certainly say that wouldn't make or break his legacy. But as far as him being viewed as the GOAT, that would be more in question if he lost to Foreman. Especially the tear Foreman was on at the time. He was like fucking the boogeyman back then. So yeah, that's probably what I would say. That was one of Ali's greatest wins, taking down the giant, so beautiful strategy as well, going to the body and breaking him down systematically over time was beautiful. So one of his best performances.
Yeah.
Um, but doesn't Damon have to touch another person for the ability to activate? I'd have to relook at that. You might be right, actually. I don't remember off the top of my head. I have to look at that. You
I
might be
don't know,
right.
bro, because I remember that statement that you're talking about, and they literally just,
Yeah.
all they say is, hey, you can't think whatever, otherwise you're fucked. So.
Yeah, so I don't remember off the top of my head, but yeah, I have to look at that shit. Was Devin versus Loma a stolen win? Here's the thing, I do think Loma won. Okay, I do think Loma won. Do I think it's a fucking robbery? No, I don't think it's a robbery. The other thing is, I thought it was relatively clear. I don't think it was like as bad as Pacquiao versus Horn in Australia. That was a fucking robbery. I thought Loma won this one. I do think it was more clear. I thought he outboxed Haney most rounds. Um, but it's closer than people want to give Haney credit for. It was closer than people either remember it or want to remember it
Yeah.
because they're biased towards Loma. So I don't think it was a robbery, but I do think Loma won. In my opinion, I thought he won, just like the majority of people. I don't think it was a robbery though. I think it has to be like fucking crystal clear for it to be a robbery, like some fucking
Yeah,
like,
and that's what I'm saying.
Pacquiao.
Like, it's understandable for why people could potentially think like, "What the fuck?" Like, wait a minute, but it's like, nah. Like, it has to be
Yeah.
objectively and crystal fucking clear. It's a robbery. Like, for instance, like if John Jones beat the fuck out of this guy, but it went to judgment somehow, and he's bleeding, fuck whatever you name it, and John Jones is perfectly fine. He wasn't even gassed out, nothing, and the other guy somehow won to points. Like, that would be robbed blatantly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Biggest fall off in boxing history. The biggest fall off? That's a good question. Fall off in
Logan
boxing
Paul.
history. Dylan Dennis. No, I'm just kidding. He was never a fucking boxer. He was a fucking joke.
That man is so
Fall
ass,
off?
bro. He wants to be Jake Paul so bad.
Yeah, he never had a fall off because he never rose in the first place. He was dog shit.
Yeah.
Biggest fall off that I can recall. Uh, Someone said Roy Jones Jr. That's a good one. That's a pretty big fall off. He kind of fell off grace pretty
Wait,
badly.
not thinking about Jake. What was
Ali-
his fucking retarded ass bullshit excuse against his brother when they were arguing with each other about that? What did he say that what made him better? I don't remember.
You mean
Remember when they were arguing
Dylan
on stream
Dennis?
about who's the better boxer?
Oh, Logan and fucking Jake?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's like, oh, I beat Floyd. And Jake's like, come on. You did not beat Floyd. Shut the fuck up. He's like, and Logan's like, oh, you're scared of me. That's why the guys that fight you don't fight me. He's like, you're telling me Nate Diaz is scared of you, dude? Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, oh
That's
my
crazy.
god.
Logan is so narcissistic.
Didn't Logan
but
get
dude,
beat up by someone else too, though? Regardless of Mayweather?
he lost to a KSI twice. Like, he's dog shit, dude.
He's trash then. KSI's not a
Dog shit.
boxer.
Jake would sleep. Jake would fucking sleep Logan. I'm just being
Yeah.
honest. Yeah, he would sleep his stupid ass. I don't like Logan. I like Jake. I don't like Logan. Um, but even objectively, Jake's a better fighter. It's not even fucking competitive. And I'm biased. I'm not gonna lie, but Logan can't fight for shit. He's dog shit. Yeah, the biggest fall off in boxing history. Oscar De La Hoya was a bad fall off because I remember his last fight against Pacquiao. Pacquiao beat the fuck out of him, dude. But Pacquiao was in his prime, to be fair. But I remember that fight. I was a kid watching that. He beat the fuck out of him. Like, retired his ass. That's how he beat the fuck out of out of De La Hoya. That was a bad fall from Grace. And he was a cash cow before Mayweather. Before Mayweather, De La Hoya was the biggest name in boxing. Um, that was a bad fall. Ali, in a way, was a bad fall. Seeing him kind of crumble, it wasn't even because of anything he did. It was his age. He kept fighting. You could see like the speed going away, the explosiveness. Kind of sad to see. That's a big fall off. Roy Jones, that's a bad one. I agree. Um, Mike Tyson, and it's not even his physical talent. I think his mental. I don't know if it was mental health or what. It just started to deteriorate. Against Douglas, against Holyfield. Sad, man. Sad to see all that talent go to waste. I still think he's a legend, but I think if he was committed, if he had like Ali or Floyd's ambition, he'd be the great. He'd be the best of all time, in my opinion. I think he was the most talented boxer of all time. That's my opinion. I never failed to miss most of the live. What the fuck? What's going on, Black Panther? What's going on, brother? Conor McGregor. He's not a boxer, but yeah, his fall is quite sad. I agree. He lost hunger. Conor McGregor lost hunger. But can we blame him? He made $100 million against Floyd. He probably made 8 figures against Khabib. 9 figures, 9 figures against Khabib. You can't blame the guy. I mean, I think power goes to your head, like the great Hagler, Marvin Hagler said. When you're sleeping in silk sheets, it's hard to fucking get up in the morning. It's hard to get up to go run those miles in the morning. So that's basically what happened to McGregor. Money, power, status, it brings comfort, and when you're comfortable, it's hard to voluntarily become uncomfortable and go fucking train at 5 in the morning. So McGregor fell from grace as far as being a champion. So yeah, his fall is quite sad as well. He's lost. He hasn't won a meaningful fight in fucking like almost a decade. Yeah, he beat fucking Cowboy. Cowboy was an old man, and that didn't really mean much to me. But he hasn't won a meaningful fight since like 2015, almost 10 years now. So that's sad to see. Yeah. Um, there have been fighters who got all their power in the world and didn't lose their drive. You're right. Mayweather, Ali, Jones. Well, Jones actually is a fuck up. He's an outlier. He's such an outlier that he's a screw up and he still was world champion. But he's an outlier, so he's not a good example. But yeah, Ali, Mayweather, Canelo, GSP, Silva. Well, actually, Silva did power didn't get to his head. Age got to him, if anything. So yeah, but you're right. There are examples of guys that don't lose their drive. That's the difference between the greats and a great. The difference between an all-time great and a great fighter is that an all-time great doesn't lose ambition, no matter how popular or how rich they become. Their drive is always there until they retire. McGregor does. That's not in him. McGregor doesn't have the drive after the fact. He had it before. He was a lion before. He had all the fire in the world when he was broke and living on welfare. But once he tasted luxury, tasted the lavish lifestyle, that went away. And the reality is the majority of people will experience the same thing. There's not very many guys, fighters that have that type of ambition to where like legacy overrides their comfort, their comfort. It's very very rare to see that in a fighter. That's why the all-time greats are few and far between. Floyd, Ali, GSP, even other athletes, Brady, fucking Jordan. Like those guys have rare. They're so rare that they're rare amongst the rarest, if that makes any sense. They're rare in the rarest of pools, right? Because to become a great, first of all, you have to have elite talent from a physical standpoint, and to be an all-time great, you have to have that and have an elite, ambitious mindset, which is rare even in that rare pool, if that makes any sense. That's how fucking rare you have to be, right? To be like the all-time historically great fighter or athlete. That's how driven you have to be. It's very rare to be that kind of individual, and there ain't very many of them. You know, that's why they're all-time greats: Floyd, Tyson, Jordan. So Adrian Broner was a crazy fall off. Adrian Broner, dude, it was sad to see that because I was in the midst of my boxing sort of I guess arc in my life when Broner was rising to fame. I remember he was supposed to be the next Floyd Mayweather. He was undefeated. He was a world champion. You know, he was very cocky, like Floyd. You know, he's trying to copy the blueprint. I get it. Floyd probably told him to do so. But then he met his match with Maidana. Maidana was a legacy killer. I think that's what they were calling him back in the day. My Marcus Maidana. He was like the legacy killer. And when he fought Broner, he humbled him, dropped him, schooled him, and ever since then, Broner has never been the same. Yeah, he's still a good fighter, but he's not elite, world class competition. Ever since then, it changed him. You know, it changed him forever. I think even from a mental standpoint, that kind of fall from grace, some people never recover from that. Ronda Rousey, Broner. There's some other examples out there, guys that fall from grace and never recover mentally. You know, because it's hard to take a loss like that when you're on the top of the world. You know, so um, it's a tough pill to swallow for athletes and people in general. When you fall that hard on your face, it's hard to recover. So yeah, Adrian Broner is a good example. I saw that fall for myself. I've seen him at the top, and I saw him fall from grace. You know, it's sad to see. So that was sad to see for sure. Just take a look at it, and yeah, in the Boruto chapter 71, Bug reveals that Damon has to be touching someone for his ability to activate. Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right. Yeah. So the Hanzo nerf of getting weaker once you lose conviction and drive happens in real life. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Confidence is extremely pivotal. I would say not even just in athletics, but any field of discipline. Confidence is the difference between being well class and being just a regular person. Absolutely, because there's a lot of talented people in the world that lack conviction, and they're never sort of illuminated to the world because they lack it. You know, they lack the conviction to act on their gifts. It happens all the time. I know gifted fighters. I know gifted people that lack the drive. They rather stay inside and put their feet up and fucking watch Netflix all day and live a normal life. You know, they don't have the fucking ambition to try and strive for, you know, greatness. And it could be a genetic thing. I'm sure it is. It's an environmental thing. Depends on your upbringing and many factors that are both internal and external. But yeah, loss of conviction and drive certainly happens, especially when you fall from grace and take, you know, a hard shot. You know, when you fall that hard from the top, like you're falling off a fucking building. You know, it hurts. So it certainly happens in real life. Um, and anime does display that quite nicely too. You know, so certainly. Have you seen Chandler Jones? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Chandler Jones, the brother of John Jones, great athlete. But yeah, I've seen some of the issues he's been going through. It's kind of strange. Maybe it's CTE. He's like Antonio Brown. Yeah, yeah. Antonio Brown's even worse, dude. That guy has some fucking demons. If you even just look at interviews from him when he was still in this with the Steelers, the guy was a regular person, class act, polite, professional. Now you look at him now, he looks like a completely different person. Aggressive, like unnecessarily aggressive, uh, disrespectful, slurs his words more. His vocabulary's gone down. Like it has to be fucking CTE, dude, or just all the trauma you took from taking hits to the fucking head. Like it's sad to see, man. That's fucking sad because Antonio Brown's an all-time great receiver, whether people want to admit it or not. I don't like Antonio Brown, but he's an all-time great receiver in his prime. One on one, he's one of the best I've ever seen. He went against Hall of Fame fucking corners and made him look like dog shit. You know, he made him look like dog shit. I remember his performance against Jacksonville in the playoffs. They had two all pro corners on his ass, and he fucking mossed both of them. Like that's how good he was. He just couldn't stop him. So it is sad to see him fall like that. It really is. JJK taught me so much about having conviction, going all out when I'm gambling on some. JJK is so appealing because it displays that sort of theme very well. Right? It displays guys that they have to do all it takes to win, right? Especially Yuji, right? Because Yuji was just this kid that was just some kid, right? Came, he had all this potential, had this tough sort of journey to progress through. Had a prodigy fucking sensei, and then that's kind of all ripped from him, right? With the Shibuya arc, his fucking friends dying before his fucking eyes, his fucking Nanami and all these guys dying before his eyes, and he stood tall. He stood tall and he rose to the occasion. We saw that against Mahito, and that was his conviction speaking there because Mahito was trying to break him. He was telling him, "You and me are more alike than you think," right? And then at first he's denying it. He's like, "No, I'm not like you." And at the end of the altercation, he tells him, "You know what? We are alike." He tells him, "No matter how many times you keep coming, I'll just kill you again and again. Like my ambition's here now." Right? That's kind of the testament of how important conviction is. And we see that with Gojo and Sukuna. That kind of inspired Yuji to let loose and let his ambition to drive him. He still has a humanity, right? And this is another thing I like about JJK. Gojo and Sakuda dichotomy. They both have pros and cons, right? Gojo doesn't really have the ambition that Sukuna has, but Sukuna lacks the humanity that Gojo has. Yuji has both. So that's what I like about the ideologies in JJK. Um, do you know any IRL examples of someone who was goaded but became a loser due to losing their drive and conviction? Connor. Connor's a good example. I wouldn't say he's a loser, but he definitely fell from grace. Another example. I know a lot of fighters, as well, and not even during their career, but after the fact, where they just fell apart. Um, they just fell apart. They lost their drive. Let's see, athletes as well fall from grace. A lot of guys, what happens is it's not even when they're during the midst of their career; it's after the fact. Like for example, this is a story I know because I knew a guy that knew Roberto Duran. If you guys, for the boxing fans that know who he is, he's one of the greatest of all time. Um, he was so talented, but the problem with Duran is he lacked an education because he was from Panama, right? He's from Panama, and he was so gifted. They call him the Hands of Stone, right? That's his fucking nickname for the hardcore fans. He beat guys like Leonard. I mean, he went to war with guys like fucking Hagler and Hearns, and he was a fucking monster. But his lack of drive made him fall, right? And in fact, as the guy told the story that I knew Duran, he grew up in Panama with him. He said the night he fought, I believe it was Hagler, he got high. Like he got fucking high before he fought one of the greatest boxers of all time, and he got fucked up because he lacked the drive and discipline to do the work that it takes to be a world champion. He has all the talent in the fucking world. The guy hits like a fucking truck, but because of his complacency, he fell, and then he went broke. After his career, he went broke. He just fell from grace. So yeah, there is instances where guys fall from grace because they lose that drive. It's the climb that gives the drive for most people, right? When you're in a state of suffering, you want to escape that state. But once you're no longer in a state of suffering, it's more of a discipline thing. There's a difference between desperation and discipline. You can make any person desperate, right? With enough suffering, you can't make any person disciplined because discipline requires you to engage in these tough acts, regardless of whether you're suffering or not. Right? That's the difference. The difference between desperation and discipline. And most people won't have discipline after a certain level of comfort. Right? That's why in a first world country, there's I don't want to talk shit, but there's more obesity problems, etc. Because they don't have to be disciplined. There's no incentive for it. In fact, in today's climate, I don't want to get political, but there is actual deterrence from being disciplined. People talking shit about you, people thinking you have a god complex, whatever. It's actually very interesting how it's counterproductive to be disciplined in a first world country in a lot of ways. More so external ways, but yeah, it's an interesting discussion. Uh, Joe Rogan. Shout out to Joe Rogan, man. Jay, have you heard of Muay Thai Visa? I haven't heard of that. I know what Muay Thai is. It's a very good discipline to learn, but I haven't heard of that specific thing now. Where's Batman at? I think he's busy right now though. But yeah, folks. Great questions, by the way. Great questions. I like engaging in like philosophical stuff sometimes. So, but yeah, like I said, there's a difference between desperation and discipline. If you look at it that way, it's actually very interesting. Do you know any IRL examples of someone who lost a fight but would have won if they weren't mentally nerfed? Oh yes, Mike Tyson against Buster Douglas. Mike Tyson was a fuck up at that point. He said that he was getting wasted in Japan. Probably came into that fight fucked up. Like the example I just gave, Roberto Duran got high on fucking coke before he fought fucking Hagler and got his ass whooped. He was definitely mentally nerfed. He was intoxicated.
He ain't built like John Jones.
Yeah. So, yeah, there people were asking me about like real life examples of guys that lose their drive, like Conor McGregor, for example, guys like that, and they
You
were
bottom
talking
line
about
is you just don't do fucking drugs.
yeah,
If you're doing
drugs is fucking
professional
stupid in
sports, it doesn't
general.
matter what the fuck you're doing. If you're going into something professional, you don't do substances. You're literally
Yeah, drugs in
hindering your
general isn't.
body, your mind, you
Yeah,
name it. Like it's just there's cons to it, and it's just not worth. Like if you want to be the best of the best at what you're doing, you shouldn't be doing that bullshit. You shouldn't be doing any bullshit. You know. Now, if you
yeah,
want to be content and just settle and be like mid or whatever, blah, blah, then whatever, you do you. But if you're trying to be the
yeah, exactly.
best, that shit ain't gonna work. You're gonna fucking underperform because it affects so many things. It's a domino effect.
Yeah, you want to be an all time great. You have to have like an
Yeah. You need to be
inexhaustible
the
ambition.
exception once again, like John Jones.
Yeah, exactly. You got to be like the outlier. Also, what's the thumbnail topic about the Spider-Man 2 game update? Oh, March 7th, they're going to drop an update for Spider-Man 2, and they're going to drop New Game Plus, and apparently they're going to drop new suits as well, like new Spider-Man
They
suits.
don't have a
I think
new
both.
game plus. What the?
Yeah, apparently they were going to drop it sooner, but they're having trouble at Insomniac. I don't know what the fuck was happening.
Wait, wait,
And they're
wait,
barely
wait.
dropping it, and
That's
yeah,
fucking crazy because
barely
they
going to
have it
drop
for
it today.
Miles, they have it for the other game. In the Arkham games, that was just a
Yeah,
given. So like, you're
that was a
telling
given.
me
Yeah,
in 20 fucking
barely.
23 they don't have a new game? What do you do if you beat the game then?
Yeah, I just have it sitting there. The only reason I haven't deleted it is because they're gonna drop it
Yeah,
on
yeah, yeah,
the
facts.
March
And
7th.
I'll do the same.
Well,
But
it's
like,
not fucking time though,
but
man.
what I'm curious
What?
about, like, when you beat the game, so what? You can only free roam now and just fight crime?
Yeah, like I 100%ed it.
Yeah,
But there's literally nothing to fucking do except like the random fucking
yeah, like crime
um
encounters.
like yeah, the random crown encounters.
That's
So
crazy,
I just been like
bro.
I haven't played it since I
At least
literally 100%ed
Yeah,
it.
at least you can like still free roam and shit, but that's
Yeah.
weird. What the fuck? Like,
I don't
bro,
know
like
why I
Arkham
know
Asylum had New Game Plus.
yeah. It
Like,
fucking
like immediately, like.
Yeah. The visa is like a traveling visa. Oh, that's what you mean. Yeah, I know what a visa is. A traveling visa. Yeah. I have friends that have competed in Thailand Muay Thai. I've never went to
My
Thailand Muay
quick
Thai. I've never.
question, because I don't care about this spoiler, but like, are you able to use the
Yeah.
symbiote suit at all times, or you eventually lose it?
Yeah, you could use it. They actually updated that. You could actually use it. Yeah, which is actually pretty dope. So they actually let you now. At first you couldn't, but now you can. I know for sure now. You could use the symbiote suit with Spider-Man, which is actually kind of dope. Uh, Um, but yeah, I've had friends that have gone to Thailand to compete in Muay Thai. I've never done Muay Thai. I started on MMA and and then I've done boxing for a long fucking time, like decade plus. Um, I know Noodle says I don't have experience, but just compare me to him is night and day. But yeah, boxing is my main like thing. But yeah, I respect Muay Thai though. It's definitely a good thing. Buster Douglas had a mental buff because his mom passed away. Yeah, he promised his mom he was gonna win that shit, bro. That's the ultimate fucking amp, bro. That's facts. Wasn't there a certain fighter who mentally amp himself before fights by imagining his opponent trash talking him and his family? Probably is. There probably is fighters that do that shit. There's guys that go into that shit like it's a war. You think a good example is probably Alex Pereira. That guy, dude. If you look at him when he's walking into the fucking octagon, dude, that motherfucker looks like he's gonna kill you. That guy puts himself in a different headspace when he fights. Like he's there for fucking war. Marvin Hagler, another guy. he used to have stories where, in general, even preparing for a fight, he would mentally amp himself. They say that he used to run in the fucking streets at like 3 in the morning, freezing fucking cold, and he's like screaming war in the streets while he was running, preparing for his next boxing bout. The guys like that are always amping themselves before fight and before fights. Guys like Hagler, like Pereira, guys like that are always fucking amped. They play that mental warfare game with themselves to amp themselves. So the mental part of the game is almost as important as the physical part for athletes. So good afternoon. What's going on, Maui Gaming Channel? Molly Gaming Channel. But yeah, folks, we'll go about 20 minutes or so. Unless someone donates, we'll go a little longer. I am enjoying the philosophical tangents for sure. Appreciate the questions and donations from all the goats as well. And by the way, I haven't reminded you folks, but if you haven't already, if you're watching this live or in general, the recording, make sure to hit the like button. It's greatly appreciated for sure. Appreciate that. But yeah, folks, any questions? Any questions here? Go about 15 or so. Great questions, though, by the way. Obviously, I'm a big combat sports fan. I'm probably as big as I am an anime fan, to be honest. So, if I'm being honest. Uh, yeah, any questions before we depart? But yeah, this is a great. Talking about combat sports, it's a great year for combat, man. UFC and boxing wise, a lot of great bouts coming. A lot of great bouts. UFC 300. Canelo apparently is going to fight Jamie Mungua for the hardcore fans. You guys know who that is. Apparently he's fighting him in May. Haney versus Garcia. A lot of good shit. Who you got? Page or Holland on the 299 card? That's a great question. Page for his organization, he's established. Holland has skills. So it's hard to really compare because obviously the pool competition in other organizations doesn't compare to the UFC. And the guys Holland has lost to have been like dogs, like fucking Kamza. I mean, the guy fucking is a monster. Can't really blame him for losing to Kamza. He lost really badly. He lost in like fucking 30 seconds, but the guy's a fucking animal. Um, I hope it's competitive. I would say Page certainly has more experience than Holland. Holland is quite gifted. They even have like similar physical attributes. They're both long and rangy. Um, it's gonna be a good fight. I would lean towards Page because of the experience. Because I would deduce he has a better striking as well because of the experience as well. More technical, more than likely as well with comparison to Holland. Holland's more green in that aspect. I'd probably say Page got it if I had to choose between those two. Page just has more experience. He's been more tested. Regardless of Holland being in the better organization, I think Pages is more tested in general. Um, do you agree with Machiavelli's argument that peaceful revolutionaries are likely to fall and fail, while violent ones are more likely to succeed? In certain ways, I agree. If you're talking from a purely like territorial standpoint, as far as like making change, peace typically doesn't do that. As far if you want to make forceful change and create a revolution, even from a historical standpoint, uh, you know, people in positions of power won't hear you out unless you're a threat to them, right? Because they have more power over you. So if you're a peaceful revolutionary, they're either going to kill you or they're just going to ignore you. But if you use violence, where you're threatening people in power's lives, then change is more likely. Compromise is more likely. So in a way, I agree. I agree in a practical standpoint. From a practical standpoint, from a pragmatic standpoint, I agree. From a moral standpoint, I don't, because I think going back to like the ideology of a vicious cycle, I think violence is just meant with more violence. I think resentment is built when you're violent towards a group of people. That's the way I look at it. So it's debatable. It's debatable. Short term, I would say it's probably better, more optimal. Long term, I think you're just gonna create more violence because you're gonna have people that resent you because of the violence. So someone asked, do you agree with the argument that peaceful revolutionaries are likely to fail while violent ones are more likely to succeed?
Uh,
That's a good question.
yeah, it's a very good question. You can kind of advocate for either
Yeah.
or, but
Yeah, that's what I said.
so
It's like,
yeah, like
yeah.
what was your thought process? I'm actually curious if you think
I
similar.
said, yeah, I said from a short-term standpoint, like in real time,
Yeah,
obviously violence and threatening people in power will lead to change because if
yep,
someone in power feels threatened, they're more likely to compromise.
facts.
But long term, you're going to create resentment if that's how you make change.
Yeah,
Like for example,
cycle of
if you
hatred and
force
shit,
change on a group. Exactly, yeah. So I was saying cycle of hate, like cyclical nature will continue. Like years from now,
or greedy for
generations later
power, or
may,
wanting to be better. Like look at North
yeah,
Korea.
exactly. Like generations later, those people will want to avenge their like ancestors
Yep,
for what you did to them, and then they're gonna fucking revolt on your ass. Like
yep,
so, it's like, I would say peaceful revolutions are probably better for long term.
facts.
Violence is probably better for short term. That's
Yeah, yeah,
probably
like
what
if
I'd
you
say.
want something right away, yeah, it's contingent upon the periodic like timetable basically. So it's like if
Yeah,
it's
exactly. Yeah.
short and you need to meet whatever, yeah, obviously sure, but then again, as you said, there's pros and cons to everything because if you do violence and it's in the long haul, then nah, you're gonna have problems in the future. Violence just incites more
Yeah.
conflict. It's as simple as that. You kind of learn that message very heavily in Naruto. So
Exactly.
and it's just how the real
It's
world
like
works as well. It's like the current
yeah,
wars that we have now, Afghanistan that we had for how long with them.
yeah.
So yeah.
It's even like in the United States, like they always advocate the peaceful transition of power, like
Always.
president from president.
Yeah.
And look what happened when Trump implied that the election was rigged. What did that cause? January 6th,
Yep.
right? And there's like all this shit
And
in
a
the
bunch
White
of
House. So that's
craziness.
what
Yeah,
happens.
exactly. And then
Yeah,
not only that, like another problem too. I don't know if you agree, but it also is contingent upon if you're actually more powerful than the people you're going against. Because at that point, it
exactly.
actually wouldn't even be short. You're still going to have a long term issue because if it's like the U.S. against like a fucking small little, I don't know, fucking country or village or whatever, you know what I mean, like something that's irrelevant. Obviously, we dominate whatever. There you go. For the short, it's great. But let's say it's like
Yeah,
Russia or I don't know another or China or whatever. That's gonna be a long war. That ain't being short.
yeah. That's gonna cause like a fucking probably a world war
Yeah,
after
but
that for
exactly.
sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like overall, like I'm be honest, peaceful long wise, it probably has way more pros. If I'm being honest with you, 'cause it's really
Yeah,
contingent.
there's a reason why the United States has stood for like 200 plus years because of peaceful
It's the reason
transition of
why
power. Like
Naruto
obviously,
also wanted to have fucking peace and not fight unless as a last resort.
yeah, like he wasn't forced until the fucking Suitsuki came, where he
Yeah.
couldn't deal with it anymore. Like the power's too
Yeah, there is
great
no
for him to
talk
deal
no
with.
jutsu because they don't care. They're very religious.
Yeah, they don't give a
There's
fuck about
no
you either.
or people like Madara. They don't give a fuck. So
Yeah, it's like in the real world, like peace usually is a better way. Obviously, it's not black and white,
yeah.
but in general, peace is the better way. That's how empires
Yeah,
and
Naruto
superpowers
realized
last.
that after getting talk no jutsu from Pain from Nagato. Once he
Yeah,
got like beaten up and like and kind of like bitched and like then like put in his place like on facts and shit and how reality works, which is literally based upon what we're basically talking about as well. He immediately finally matured in a mindset into where he realized, sure, I can go to fucking Pain's hideout and just kill him or whatever, but what would that really do? You know what I mean? What would that really
yeah, exactly.
accomplish and solve? And it literally everything we're talking about right now. So that's why he was even arguing with fucking Ino's dad and all those people, and he's like, yeah, but if I fucking kill him and whatever, it's just gonna do this and this and this and this. So no, let me talk to the guy, let me confirm something, yada yada yada. Because Naruto is
Yeah,
conflicted between the exact question that you're answering. Is violence good for short term, or is it good to do short term violence? Is that better, or to have peace for long term? So yeah, so
yeah, exactly. Yeah, folks, we're probably gonna wrap it up there. We've been about almost 4 hours. This
oh
is a
yeah,
great stream. It went from JJK to extremely philosophical, which I don't mind.
yeah.
So,
And then the fucking Walking Dead zombies.
the Walking Dead shit, we have to clip that shit. That shit was
Oh
actually
yeah,
pretty
yeah,
good.
yeah. I was thinking the
Um,
same thing.
yeah, shout out to Kendrick. That was a good question by him.
Yeah,
Yeah, folks, hope you guys enjoyed. Hopefully, we have the full squad. I'm trying to work on a couple guests as well for
sure.
you guys. More goats. Shout out to the ones I've been on.
Yep.
Swag Six, TG the Goat. Shout out to him.
I'll be honest, we're spoiling
Everyone.
you people. We've
Daigo.
been bringing back to back guests like in quick succession too. Like we're not even taking our
Yeah,
time or doing it as like a
yeah. We're
monthly
trying to
thing or
bring you guys.
multiple. Like we're being really nice.
Yeah, we're trying to bring all the ghosts for you this year. We've had quite a few of them on already. We got
Yeah.
a few left in mind. But yeah, we hope you folks enjoyed, and we'll see you next week, folks. Have a good one. Stay
Peace.
classy. Peace.